Yeah, my assistant's in fucking Orange County all day.
Damn.
It's fine though. Tav told him we had nothing to do because we really didn't. Sunday fun day, baby. Football. Post fight.
Football, no
How
jumper.
proud are you guys of me for staying sober through last night specifically?
Oh yeah, I stayed like mostly sober.
There
But
was-
no, I am proud of you. That says a lot for you.
It was so much. There was so much.
So much drugs going on.
There was so
Yeah.
much shit going on, man.
Like Vitali was definitely on some shit.
Vitali is the most obvious steroid abuser that I've ever seen in my life, bro. He looks like he's made of rock right now.
I love the kid. I absolutely love the kid. But last night he was
live?
on some shit.
We are live.
Cameras are on, boys.
He was running around. That's one of the interesting things about it is that, and I'm about to do a fucking tweet just telling everybody that we're doing this. Okay, there we are. We already got 1,100, so we're definitely active. Okay. Adding the link. Boom. Update my own social media. This is very advanced. Vitali was planning on running out to the stage and challenging Logan on stage, and then he couldn't get on stage, and I'm pretty sure he was trying to challenge KSI like outside the ring, and there was some video footage of that. Keem, what do you know about that?
I actually know nothing because I was sitting on the Sidemen side, the KSI side.
Right.
These guys were sitting like right next to all of it. So Banks has like a first-hand take of kind of really what went
I was
down.
in the same row as Mike. We did the podcast with.
Yeah.
Sack Mike, Logan.
Shout
Paul.
out Mike. But that's what sucks is that Mike doesn't have like a real nickname.
Dude, I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
He's like Mike Logan Paul's
His
friend.
last name's fucking weird too, so it's like
You're not saying that?
I actually don't even still to this day know how to really say it.
Oh yeah.
Well, we should give him a nickname right now.
I call him Mike Lovesack because one, he hates it. Two, that's really where he kind of came from. That's how he was introduced to the whole.
Mike is like proving that you can be a middle-aged, mediocre white guy and still come up in the YouTube game.
That's amazing.
I don't know that he's middle-aged, but for like YouTube, he's like old.
Oh yeah.
Mike is proving a concept that everyone knows. It's not how much talent you have, but it's who you know.
No. Listen, I have to back Mike. I think Mike is actually extremely talented. Are you serious? I think Mike's funny. Bro.
I like to fuck with
Have you
Mike. I
watched-
really do
I
like
know
to
you
fuck
do,
with
I know.
Mike.
You and Mike should be best friends, though. You guys will never be best friends, but they should be.
He's good, but Mike is the quintessential definition of a dude who's basically been able to build something for himself through basically just being a really good best buddy guy. Like
He's very good socially.
Yeah.
I don't think he like crosses that like dick sucker, dick rider, like dude, listen, stop.
Logan wants to go to the club, he's going to the club. Logan wants to work out, he's helping him work out. Logan wants to do business.
That's also part of his job.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's employed by that's his team.
But you can go a long way if you are that guy who's just always there to help facilitate what the celebrity wants to do.
He
I've
offers
seen it a
good. He
million
offers
times.
good help. He offers good advice. Even in my own life, I back Mike.
I will say this. He has a positive energy, right?
Yeah.
Like if he's there, like you're gonna smile, you're gonna joke around.
I see it with girls, bro. Like he
Yeah.
bags fucking hot girls, and like I know firsthand, like being socially like the right way when it comes to that stuff goes the furthest. You know what I mean? Especially in Hollywood, all these creepy fucking dudes. Like Mike is definitely a creepy fucking dude, but he's not like a creep. You know what I mean? Like, he makes people comfortable, and he's like whatever.
And when you're famous, you're a little bit more limited in what you can do socially. So having somebody like him who is not famous, so he can just do whatever. Like he can be the guy running around the club fetching hotties for you. I'm sure you've put him to work doing that.
Yeah, Mike's good at a few things, and that's definitely one of them. He would be so happy if he knew how much we were talking about him right now. So
Oh, he's gonna find out.
We should probably.
Yeah.
The night shift.
Yeah.
We
My
should.
ass.
Like, I love it, man. You guys.
I go over to meet up with you guys, and you're sawing through a safe because there's $20,000 and a bunch of jewelry, and I'm like, this is such weird ass Hollywood shit.
You came in at a weird time.
Yeah.
I lost the key to a safe.
And Rice Gum is just like an observer who's just sitting on the bed like.
He always.
This actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like 3 days ago.
Jesus.
He came to get his box.
My box. Isn't that weird? Okay, so I mean, this is big stuff to get into, but what does Logan do now?
I personally think that Logan's gonna be fine. Honestly, like we were just talking about this in the car.
Yeah.
Like I think that like people underestimate the fact the amount of respect that people are gonna give both of them for that. It's not easy to do what they did. It takes real balls to fucking get up in front of that many actual humans, and then obviously in the back of your head, you know that like millions and millions of people are watching it live, and a lot's riding on it. It's I don't know.
I disagree. Okay, I don't think he's going to be fine, right? I think this is going to be very similar to Deji, right? Deji fought Jake Paul. He lost, and he went from 3 million views every single video to 600K, right? And I think a similar thing's going to happen to Logan. But what I think Logan's going to do to counter that is he's going to try to come out with legitimate music and try to like put out actually non-cringe music.
He's that serious about his music?
Yeah,
dude, can I be the? Can I
he
just
went
say
to
it out
Sweden
loud?
or something.
Really?
The YouTuber people need to stop making music. Like they have to, man. Even some of my friends, like they need to stop.
If you do it as a joke, I'm okay with it.
it's just me too.
If it's a diss track
shit's different.
or it's a comedy driven,
that shit's fine. That's YouTube shit.
But don't you even feel like the ship has kind of sailed on that in the sense of
Yeah.
like how everybody was just doing vlogs and shit for a while, and now that feels kind of painfully lame unless you're bringing something a little bit cool to the table.
Yeah.
And it feels like that with the music. A couple years ago, Tana doing jokey rap songs was like, oh, this is fun. It's for her fan base. All of a sudden, that shit doesn't really read the same to me. It feels a little different
It's one of those
climate-wise
things
on
that-
YouTube.
Unless it has a real like theme to it or there's a real purpose for the song, it definitely drags on. You know, like you got to be few. They should just
Dollar
stop.
in the Woods.
Yeah, that's a fucking great song.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because for the culture, it's just a great
His
song.
biggest upload, he's got like 10 million views on it.
Does it
That's
really
right.
have 10 million views?
Yeah.
That's
I noticed that for some reason YouTube wants to recommend it to me like all the time.
That's a bullet in the chamber always for any
Right.
YouTuber, any semi-successful YouTuber though. If you make a song, everyone who knows your name is gonna want to at least listen to it once.
I was literally on Jimmy fucking Kimmel
For that song.
for that song. Wow. Yeah, it was strange. So what happened is obviously there was like a lot of memes and stuff that like, that I originally
You
did
put the chat up.
a freestyle with, Dollar in the Woods or whatever, and people made memes out of it. So then when I went to go make an actual song, I kind of referenced a bunch of memes that happened with me or whatever, right? It was a fun song. But what happened is Logan Paul in the Suicide Forest. So a meme came out with found a dead body in the woods, which they translated to my song. So that got it popping. And then Jimmy Kimmel, and it just kind of like fucking took off.
Right. I mean, okay, what is a question that needs to be addressed, and we could probably talk about this at length throughout this podcast. How much does this, like, to me, one of the main things that the fight does for Logan is that it puts significant events between him and the Suicide Forest thing, which is what he needs. He needs enough stuff in people's memory that the Suicide Forest feels like just something that happened a while back.
I actually disagree. Okay, I think if anyone is bringing up Suicide Forest, it's fucking Logan Paul. Dude, all his promotion for this fight was, I did this horrible thing. I had a lapse in judgment, and now I'm a better person. I learned from this. Dude, shut up. Nobody's talking about fucking Suicide Forest. You're the only one. He was milking it.
I do see how you would see that, and I've noticed them and their whole side bring it up and try to make light of it, which I do think is a good like angle to come from something like that. Like,
Yeah,
try
but
to, like,
I
make
know
it,
the angle. That's the problem.
I know, but you also have to understand he is a real human, and really horrible shit has happened to me, and I find myself talking about it and like gradually like leaning toward like making light of it and like trying to just like make it like not so bad, you know what I mean? So maybe there's some of that. Maybe he is milking it to an extent. I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past these guys. Like, they've done a lot of crazy, weird shit.
Logan could have very easily continued to have a nice, comfortable, cushy YouTube vlogger life, and he very may well have done so. But then he made the mistake, made that video, and then all of a sudden it just his personality, his character online kind of got tainted, where people just didn't want to see this fun-loving character that he
and
was
it was coming
before.
off the heels of all the Jake Paul, like that whole Jake Paul saga where he
They
was
were
doing-
already getting way too big for their own good at that point. They were blowing up so fast, and it was like constant bad, negative attention. So for him, it's like with the boxing thing, it's like, okay, let's create a heroic arc in Logan Paul's career. That's best case scenario. But if he gets a draw and then he loses, all of a sudden it's like it's not going to be a heroic arc. And what if he losing one time is one thing, losing 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden that shit is going to be really weird for his image.
I think it's more like internally. I think it's gonna fuck him up more internally. I don't know, man. I think like at the end of the day, no, I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about this. Dude, these guys made so much fucking money. Like more money than anybody thinks that they made. Whatever number you think both of them made as far as that fight goes, take that number and at least triple it.
I heard 8. They both made 8 mil.
It's at least, I would guess at least, my at least number would be like 10. Bro, so many people bought that fight. So many people watched that fight. So much went into that fight. And I understand the cost to run it all. Dude, like, that was fucking huge. And it was huge for like the YouTube internet culture landscape. Like this shit changes everything. I think they're both legends forever for it.
Yeah, from a
that's
boxing,
my genuine thing.
From a boxing standpoint, it's like if you just watch the fight, it was a draw. They both like, you know what I mean?
I watched it again today and it felt like
I don't agree with that.
You take penalties away, you take like all the shenanigans, it was a draw.
I don't agree.
It was very close.
Can I respond?
Logan did not outbox KSI, and KSI did not outbox Logan Paul. No, I think these are two very, very even fighters.
Can I explain?
They look pretty equal.
Can I fucking explain? Yeah. So I was sitting.
But KSI outsmarted Logan Paul. Like I said, KSI is mentally stronger than Logan Paul.
Listen. That's another thing. Real quick on the record, fucking say it. Say we were right. We were all in my room. Say it.
We told everyone KSI.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys both said that.
I fucking told you, bro.
But you didn't even seem like you thought that KSI was going, and when you wanted to root for him because that's your boy.
No. I didn't want to mush it. I didn't want to muck it. I said I stuck true the whole way through. I said I genuinely believe it's a 50-50, but I do believe the slight edge goes to KSI. I do think that KSI is going to win. Because that sleeper aspect, everyone, you know, in Hollywood, like everyone fucking slept on him. All these girls, club promoters, like the basic Hollywood dick riders, like they don't even know who the fuck JJ is.
Nope.
They don't know anything about boxing.
Yep.
Like, most of them don't know shit about boxing. I'm not claiming to know a ton about boxing, but I do know a thing or two about how a fight goes and how much energy like factors into that. Like I've seen fucking guys half the size of somebody else knock a motherfucker out because they had that energy because a dude grabbed his girl's ass and he was fucking mad, you know what I mean, and knocked a fucking, you know what I mean, a 6 foot fucking 250-pound dude out. That's just like the energy. KSI has that. He's an animal and a whole, like Logan is an animal. You look at him, he's a fucking animal. KSI's an animal on a whole different fucking, and the size too. People like put so much weight into the fact, no pun intended, put so much weight into the fact that Logan was so much bigger, but he really wasn't. They weighed in, he weighed 199 pounds.
It's not about that, it's the reach.
He looked a lot bigger than him.
Yeah.
Not when they were in the ring together. Did you see them stand next to each other in the ring, squaring up? They looked pretty fucking even. You know what I mean? Like stanced up and shit. Like they looked like JJ's a big boy.
I don't blame anyone for saying that Logan Paul was going to win. I really don't blame anyone because if you just look at them on paper, you look at the reach, you look at the height, you look at all this stuff. You know, I feel like, you know, Logan is probably a better traditional boxer, right? But KSI is you don't expect to see these haymakers come in like from
I will
left
say this.
and
I think
right,
this is going to do a lot more good for JJ than it's going to do bad for Logan, if that makes like KSI's king.
Because
you can't fucking argue
the ultimate goal, I think, from this is like if Logan or KSI could go on to become somewhat of a legit boxer that could fight non-YouTubers, that would be gigantic for their career trajectories. It just seems like that now is a realistic potential thing for JJ and not Logan, because Logan now still has to like prove himself within the YouTube arena. I
think we all fucking win though. Again, for the culture.
Do you think Vitaly has a chance against KSI or Logan? How do you think that would go out? Do we know much about his skills?
I don't know a whole lot. I
He's
know boxing,
clout chasing harder than anybody
boxing
involved
is a
in
very
this.
technical sport. Did you fucking see what happened?
What?
The drama.
Yeah, talk about it, because you were there.
Yeah, no, you guys hear about it? I don't know if I should talk about it.
Yeah. No, everybody's talked about it. Everybody's talked about
it. Internet and shit?
Yeah. People were saying Vitaly was.
Okay, so yeah, I was actually in the fucking row. First of all, Bradley Martin is a fucking animal. You want to talk about a fucking absolute fucking certified beast?
He should fight Logan.
Bradley Martin would fucking dismantle 99.99%.
I wonder how he is as a boxer, though. I wonder if he would really wash Logan.
Well, listen, I saw him throw a fucking clean right jab. at Vitaly and it connected, and I would not want to be hit by that. Yes.
There's footage of this?
Yeah.
So
Bradley Martin
who was
filmed.
right next to him? No, somebody was right next to him filming the whole thing. I fucking forget. I saw he wasn't with either of them, but somebody filmed the whole fucking thing. It's somewhere. I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
We should search that on YouTube just to see if it's there.
No, they're probably gonna. I don't know.
But let's show it up here and not show it on the stream because we'll probably get fucking age restricted or something. But if we could watch it, that would be amazing.
But Vitaly's energy yesterday, like I saw it. People were really uncomfortable around him. He was being fucking kind of crazy, and he just is crazy. Like, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
I fuck with Vitaly. I fucked with him for
Same.
a while, and I didn't feel
Actually,
any tension
same.
from him or any weird energy. But like Mike, like he like bumped into Pam and Greg and bullied his way through the fucking thing, and Mike was really mad at him. And then some other people were talking shit to him.
He was acting weird as hell. If you watch
then he
my
came back.
vlog, there's a clip of him ordering like a triple tequila shot at the bar, and he's very like, "Come on, man, just hook me up. Let's go." It's like
I'll give you $100. Take care of me all night.
I'll give you $100.
He pushed Bradley Martin's neck, and I think he was just fucking around. I don't know.
He pushed or punched?
He pushed. No. Vitaly like
pushed.
aggressively like grabbed like Bradley's neck and like fucking shoved it, and Bradley Martin just snapped like just straight instinct like tagged him, and he fucking kind of rocked him.
Wow.
It was fun.
I love that sound
hard time
effect. Can you
finding
do
it?
that again?
Huh?
The sound effect. I don't know if that translates to the viewers, but in these headphones, that snap, that sounded
I
good.
want to see that. I want to see Vitaly get his chin checked by Bradley Martin. That sounds incredible.
It was crazy.
That's great content.
But then they hugged each other.
Yeah.
But then they hugged each other, right?
After. It was one of those things like we've all been there. Like there's a dude who's way too drunk at a party. He's being way too grabby, way too aggressive, and someone just rocks him, and it's like, all right, homie, it's cool. Like you were being whacked, like whatever. It was kind of like that.
Where did you guys all go for the after party? Because I went home and got my butt eaten by a 19-year-old girl, and you guys went out and got crazy somewhere?
I didn't get crazy. I've been sober for 8 days.
Oh, right. Okay.
No drink November, so I didn't really get crazy. I played that fucking 4K GameCube till 8 a.m. with some homies.
But you are nutting.
Nutting?
Yeah.
I didn't nut last night.
But
I am absolutely no nut November. If you're
That's
you're
stupid.
into that, you're
That's fucking stupid. You're gonna
do
get
it.
ball
You're
cancer,
a
bro.
fucking psycho.
I'm not doing it.
You're a sicko.
You're gonna get nut cancer.
Hey, shout out to LOL.
That's the only Lowell, Mass. Fuck yeah! Shout out to Lowell, Mass.
I just seen it in the chat.
Really?
Lowell,
Hell yeah.
Massachusetts.
Lowell, Mass,
Also,
baby. Mill City.
I just want to say this too is that I'm back on Facebook.
Are you?
I guess I'm just bored because today we had a meeting. We're going hard on Facebook.
Make a
We're trying to
fucking
make our
TikTok.
content go up on there.
Make a TikTok.
Follow me, facebook.com/Adam22. Pow.
I'm thinking about making a TikTok. It's blowing up. What do you
I
guys
don't
think?
know what the fuck to
Dude,
put on
I don't
there.
know what I would put on it
everyone
either.
is
That's-
going over to TikTok because they think
can't
like
do
money's
shit.
gonna come in and everyone's gonna get paid. I don't think so.
No, this is the one that like actually as far
I don't know.
as growth goes, it is the fastest growing platform, and it's proven that people who are blowing up on TikTok, like the top tier TikTok people, are
They're using
are
TikTok
they're getting more
to blow
followers
up their
on
other social medias to then turn that into revenue.
Just
Yeah.
for the purpose of growth, TikTok's
How much time do we really fucking have? I mean, you have like 5,000 employees, so it's fine. You have like the whole Florida WeWork. For me, it's like, do I really want to hire an employee and just tell them like, find a way to make no jumper TikToks?
Well, it's a different audience over there too. I
Yeah.
mean, these are really, really young kids over at TikTok. Like it's shocking. Dude, a buddy of mine makes the worst content ever. I mean, it is just complete garbage. Over, I love you. Shout out to Over. But this
he's
dude,
doing well on TikTok.
oh, he's killing it. But this is his content, right? He goes up into like this little kid. I don't know if it must be his friend or cousin or something. This little kid's playing Fortnite, and he's like, "I'll give you these Yeezys if you get 9 kills in Fortnite," right?
Larry, can you get Justin Wang in them outside? Or Lou or whoever?
And then the kid gets 9 kills and he gives him the Yeezy. That's the fucking TikTok. And the thing has like 200,000 views.
Yeah.
Like,
TikTok's weird.
But at the end of the day, what is the fucking value of getting 200,000 views on TikTok? Like, yeah, you're building a platform and stuff, but I don't know, man.
the cost of time is a real thing, and mental health is important too.
And it's like, can you get an employee to do a good enough job of representing you on that social network that it feels in some way authentic. That's
Well,
like
there
a
are
tough
some
thing
funny.
to achieve.
Like I've seen some TikToks that I've laughed at, and like there is good content on TikTok.
Isn't it fucking crazy that 3 years ago everyone's just like fucking YouTube, fuck every other platform? Now with the way YouTube's been
fuck
fucking up,
YouTube, man.
YouTube's been fucking up so much that everybody is looking to go somewhere else. And like from the outside looking in,
low-key
people
think-
better pay
I
attention
think
to that.
Twitter is the most valuable one.
Oh,
think that's
thank
the most, I think
God.
that's the longest last. Like Twitter, like it's just perfect, man.
I don't know
fucking
what
love Twitter.
I don't know what I would do without Twitter.
As far as really connecting with people, like especially our peers and other people in like our industry, like Twitter's it. Twitter's my favorite. It's always been my favorite.
On
Yup.
Facebook, on Instagram, it feels more like you're just promoting stuff. Although,
I've completely abandoned Snapchat.
really, not I.
I'm there.
do.
I'm there.
Yeah.
Have you got a check yet?
No, I haven't. No,
See,
they're
that's what
going
I
to.
wanna
They
know.
want
They're
they
going
want to
to.
do
wanna know
something
what
with
that
me
looks
too, and I
like.
get an absurd amount of views, bro. For a while, I was breaking a million every fucking story, like 1, 2 fucking million every story, and like I just would prefer to put that energy and that effort into Instagram.
I
post a
do
lot
both.
on
I post a
the story.
Snapchat, I save it, I put it on Instagram. My Instagram story has way more, but
What
I
do you
just
get?
kinda do
Really?
both. Yeah.
Mine's completely reversed. If
More
I could
stuff.
switch-
Dude, my Snap
Oh.
gets way more views than even on. Well, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah.
Wow.
Do
That's
you,
crazy.
Do you get more opens on Snapchat or Instagram?
Yeah,
What's
probably
up?
Snapchat. Snapchat I'll get a couple 100,000, and
'Cause they push
Instagram
it
I'll
up.
get
How's it
like
going, man?
100,000. Justin Wang is
you
in the
doing?
fucking
Wow.
building. This
What's
is
up? Good to
crazy.
meet you, brother.
What's going
Our
on? Good
first
to see you.
time meeting him. This is a strong. You're a beefy guy. I like it, man. Look at this, Justin Wang. This is our
People
first
always
time
tell me
meeting.
I'm beefy. I don't feel beefy.
You know, you just meet YouTubers and you don't know what their body type is going to be like. You look like you could pick a car up that was like on top of a child or something.
I would
Also,
like
hello to all the other YouTubers who just came in that we haven't got a chance to. You want to tell us who these are exactly?
This is Nerd City.
In the red shirt.
The devil.
He looks different. No, oh, okay, that's the devil in the red
That's
shirt.
Lou.
And then we have Nerd City, right? Okay.
Rusty Gage is over here.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, good to meet you guys.
Okay,
Hey,
so
I just want to say
in-
you're a fucking legend.
Oh, thanks,
I
man.
fuck,
I
I fuck
appreciate
with
that.
this guy heavy.
I love history.
Right.
I absolutely love history. I will fucking hear about the history of anything. It doesn't matter. I get into it.
This guy
This
speaks
guy
to me.
does the history of the fucking internet, and as soon as I seen his content, I fell in love. Like,
Dude, I remember you hit me up, and it's like I was
A
like,
little closer.
I had like 1,000, not 1,000, like 10,000 subs, and you're like, yo, where the fuck have you been?
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
you were bitching the Mortal Kombat videos.
How
I
are you
remember
doing?
that.
I haven't checked in a while, but are you doing well?
Yeah, it's doing really well.
Amazing. That's
what's your
dope.
channel up to now?
Coming up on 500,000
Nice.
subs.
That's dope. I feel like
That's
you're a very
amazing.
underrated,
That's amazing. Yeah.
undersubbed YouTuber. You'll probably have a couple million.
You are.
for like
you
a
will.
year.
Just keep
Yeah, I
at it.
hope
You're
so.
one of those ones who will do it.
I mean,
Really,
I
really do.
didn't really understand. I always wondered, but I never really bothered to figure out whether Two Girls, One Cup was real. And now I know that it really is ice cream
Yeah.
or a
I
sherbet
don't
or
even
something. It's not poop.
I forgot if it was poo. I made the whole fucking video and I forgot.
No,
about
I
it.
remember because you said that like you found like a quote from like the dude who made the movie, and he said that sometimes he would use ice cream, and to me that explains the whole thing because those girls are gulping down that shit, and it doesn't look like,
Like
they.
shit.
It doesn't,
It doesn't even look like shit.
You know
I've
what?
seen other videos of girls eating shit on the internet. I hate to admit it, but I have, and it looks painful. Like they're not enjoying it. That's the thing about Two Girls, One Cup is that they're loving it.
Because it's chocolate ice cream.
Yes.
And who the fuck doesn't like chocolate ice
And
cream?
you can clean out your butt enough that it would not even taste anything like
Enemas
butt.
and shit, yeah.
Yeah.
There is thing is like there were these Brazilian companies who I feel like they were.
I feel like I'm watching a YouTube
Yeah,
video.
yeah, I'm giving it to
I
you
feel
live
like
now.
I'm watching a fucking. This is so trippy.
But yeah, there were a lot of Brazilian companies that were making stuff like this. There was one actually, like I was thinking about covering it for a bit, but I never got all the details together. There's this thing called swap.avi. And basically it was something awful forum users had commissioned one of these Brazilian companies to make a porn where the girls are like transferring shit into each other's assholes, one to the other, like a chain rule.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Just moving back and forth like
Yeah.
actual turd?
Commissioned by something.
I'm gonna
awful
throw
from
up.
One company like the one that made
There are a
Two Girls,
lot
One
of
Cup.
videos on his channel that I can't watch, right?
Yeah.
I just,
Jank 'em?
You were
I
like-
refuse,
The,
right?
the jar kept on making it out to the timeline. You're like, dude, if I see that cum jar again, I gotta unfollow you.
Yeah, dude, like, no. Yeah, no.
I have so much respect for the cum jar, dude.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
can't believe you
I
even
just-
got that on YouTube.
I just released my toy, right? And I'm reading through the replies, and fucking one of the replies, I swear to God, is I can't wait to put this in a jar.
Yeah.
I could feel it in my throat.
It's gonna.
I blocked that fucker, by the way.
Every single YouTube that comes out now, someone's taking the picture with the jar.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's if I ever wind up getting one, I'm 100% gonna sell Wang jars alongside them.
Yeah, that's
like because it's a no-brainer.
I find
It's
Justin
a little
Wang,
bit of a pun to a Wang jar.
Justin Wang is such an interesting idea for a YouTuber because it's like if you take some dude that's like in bands and stuff and doesn't live in LA and maybe has like a different sort of East Coast type sensibility, and then he also is just really into like weird internet
shit.
knowledge, and then he actually is able to talk on camera enough to make YouTube videos about this and to understand, to build an audience that wants to hear about shit that sort of like inherently should have a very small audience, because why the fuck does anyone need to know about this cum jar?
I've gotten less self-conscious over time too about like I used to think that I had to make a video on a topic that everyone was gonna know and whatnot, but then I'm like I had a few that did really well that were just like off the wall shit that like people just wanted to hear the story because it was there and not because they knew about it. Like,
Right.
I think urinal poop was like that.
What is that?
Yeah. So urinalpoop.com was a website where it was like it gave you instructions on the best techniques to get poop inside of a urinal, and then we would get like images from people all over the world sending poop they found they found in urinals.
Somebody shit in my urinal at a party one time.
No.
You gotta do it.
Yeah,
you gotta. I've never done it.
That
urinal
dirty
cups.
motherfucker, I still don't know who did it, but you are a dirt. And listen, we had a good group. Things were good.
It's probably Jake Paul.
And then the whole top floor started to smell like shit, and we made 905 clean it up.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
Now I know what
905
happened to him.
Good
You
guy.
fucking scarred him.
Yeah, that's why he's all fucked up sending out dick pics.
Limp dick
Listen, I
pics.
will always have love for you, Nino. I love you.
Yeah, it's a tough lesson
hope
to
you're
learn,
doing
man.
okay.
I guess. Don't
Yeah, I
send
feel
dick
bad.
pics.
I just got to do my job, Nino.
If you get famous on Instagram or YouTube, don't just start sending out random dick pics. I guess it's an important
Especially-
thing to learn.
Listen, unsolicited dick pics are never okay. 100 times out of 100 times,
Yeah.
never, ever, ever gonna be okay.
Yeah.
If a girl's with it and she wants to see your dick, don't send her a limp dick pic.
No,
I've
that's not
noticed those going around. Why would you do that? You
I don't know.
want to
noticed those go.
Yeah.
Nobody appreciates a soft dick.
because like half the
Nobody
girl-
likes
yeah.
a fucking soft dick. Nobody.
No.
You would
I
think
don't like a soft dick.
you would want to put your best first impression. So like
Right.
you want its dick at the best angle.
You
at,
want it
like-
to be throbbing.
You want to like pop it up Blue Chew or something just to get the extra firmness.
If
You wanna
anything,
be- you wanna
There
be
needs to be
lightheaded.
veins.
that's what you're
Yeah.
nervous about, is not making your dick look veiny and bulgy and full of blood enough.
Yeah.
So don't send a soft one. Like, what the fuck?
And half
Look,
of it was all balls.
It's kind of a
too.
power play though too.
Send
It's
her a
like,
ball
I don't care how big you think my
That's
dick
at
is.
least
Look how
funny.
floppy you want.
At least that's funny.
I don't even want to see a picture of a girl, of just her genitals. I don't want to see just your pussy. Send me a full body naked picture. At least
with
show
a finger in your ass.
Oh, that's
That's
out of this
money.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Gotta-
beautiful thing.
The aesthetic is everything.
How did you feel about your experience watching this YouTube fight? Your first YouTube fight, I'm assuming.
My first, honestly, this is like really terrible to admit, but this is the first boxing match I ever went to in my life.
What's wrong with that?
Me too,
I mean,
man.
That's a great like.
It's my third, and all of them were YouTubers. So
I went to a UFC
I
fight
guess, yeah,
one
that's the
time.
point.
Maybe my first boxing match.
That's why they did
realistically.
this. They wanted to collect new fans and new eyeballs. There's a lot. I feel like more people, like more often than not, would have been really the first time they'd been engaged and really cared about watching a
Yeah.
boxing
Yeah.
match.
No, that's
I
true.
mean, we don't give a fuck about the health of boxing, but realistically, I think the boxing community is looking at this like, oh wow, this is
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 good.
where it's at for us now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is
They'll
important.
always have that
guess.
celebrity boxing matches. They'll always have that.
Yeah.
That shit was cool, man.
Bad Baby tweeted out today. Bad Baby tweeted out today that she was hit up Jake and Logan, tagged them and said, "Yo, give me $1 million, and I will fight Whoa Vicky."
Bad Baby did that.
Yeah, she did that today. So I'm trying to find $1 million real quick because I'm trying to get that fight.
They can make an M each off that.
DAZN should probably give them.
No,
$1 million.
they should do that.
They could headline a fight. I think it would be good, and you could have a very, very good undercard underneath that.
But do you think that when you accept a boxing match as a fucking celebrity, because a lot, like all these times that this has happened in the past, when you see a celebrity go and do a fucking MMA fight or boxing match, it's basically like them saying, my career is over. The last way that I can monetize my existence is to basically put my life on the line.
Not in this new world.
It's
not
changing.
in this new world.
Because Logan and KSI are not,
they're not falling off.
They're not like at that stage, and they're not Dustin Diamond.
They had
you know?
real beef, which is why I got so they're on top, and they decided to do that.
Which is different than just being like a loser. Like when Fusi does it, and he's
people
not
are
at
really
the height of his career, it's different.
It is different.
It
when
is.
It's transparent
It is.
and organic, and the purpose is just for ticket sales and eyeballs and stuff. It becomes a little bit.
And I think Fuzi needs to get some fucking credit, dude, for not falling down. Like, did you see his fucking face? Like, I don't.
Destroyed.
I sat next to him during the whole fight. I fucking love Fusi, man. Like I really do love him.
He
dude.
has heart. Like, he's
he's
another one that actually he doesn't have skill in that
Misguided
ring,
a
but
few
he
times.
has heart.
We all fuck up, but he's taken. I feel like one too many L's recently. I'm really hoping for a win for him.
He's got a new series where he does the cribs. It's good. It's actually good.
It is good.
It's actually good. He did Logan's crib.
It's weird though, because the thing that made Fusi interesting was always just how unhinged he was, and then he might just be crying or just tripping out, and there's this mysterious addiction that we never really found what it was officially.
Yeah.
I saw Fusi and Vitali in the general vicinity of each other yesterday. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
they're
they were
actually
fine.
going.
Yeah, we were all in the same section.
I met Slim too, and I was just like, "Oh my god, dude, you're such a legend for what you did to Fusi." He just was so hyped. He's just like, "Thank you, man." Like that. I mean, just beating the shit out of Fusi. Who?
That's what I mean about a fight, dude. If you look at Slim, and I mean no disrespect by this, you look at them stand next to each other. You don't
like,
know either one of them.
Fuzi is
You
gonna
don't expect-
destroy
You don't
Slim.
expect. You don't expect that. You don't expect that outcome. So I don't know why people were sleeping on JJ. It's crazy.
JJ did great, man.
He showed him, man. They both.
He outsmarted him.
they
He
both
fucking
looked good, too.
outsmarted
They
him.
both looked good.
Do you think that it really feels like a loss for Logan though, because they are contesting it, and because
Listen,
allegedly the
Logan
2-point
last night.
loss?
I was with Logan.
Watch
last
the
night. He's
tape.
bummed, bro.
Watch the tape. He grabs him, holds him. You can't do that. Does a fucking uppercut on him. Punched him twice as he was going
I never
down.
even
You
got to
can't
explain.
do this shit.
Hold on, I never even got to explain. We just fucking argued about why it wasn't a draw, and I think KSI, without a doubt, won. I want to explain that. KSI took the first 3 rounds for sure. Like I watched the fight. Like KSI beat him the first 3 rounds. He had him against the ropes. He had him on his back feet the whole way through that. And where it shifted, the energy shifted, and Logan kind of started to overcome that. Is when he fucking. Like, JJ saw fucking stars, you know what I'm saying? He, like, fucking halfway knocked him out when he did that, when he, like...
Yeah. But you
fucking-
can't do that.
When he dragged him down, yet you're not allowed to do that. So it's like, if that had never happened, everyone's using that as, like, Logan doing that made Logan lose. But it really didn't, because he gave him the upper hand in the sense that he fucking rocked JJ with that hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And JJ had to sit over there, and he was, like, not the same after that. He wasn't...
And not only
He
that,
got fucking
but
rocked.
he got points for the takedown that he never should have gotten, right? He got 2 points for the takedown and lost 2 points for the illegal hit.
I haven't watched a bunch of...
But he never should have gotten the takedown because he held on to the back of his head where he couldn't back up and did an uppercut. Illegal. He never even should have got the takedown points.
I think that I haven't watched a whole bunch of videos and actual boxing analysts and professionals and stuff. I'd be interested to see what they have to say, because I'm sure they're all covering it.
That's what I'm hearing, is that there's a lot of like boxing professionals who think that them taking away 2 points for that is very out of line, and people saying that they haven't
Really?
seen 2 points
No,
taken
no.
away since Mike Tyson bit what's his name's ear.
The referee said that, like, in this match, right?
Well, either way,
there's
either
minor.
way, JJ won by 2 points, right? So even if they only took away 1,
I'm not sure, but it was a split decision, so it was definitely close.
The referee said in this match that there's warnings, there's misdemeanors, and there's like felonies in boxing. And what Logan did was a fucking felony. He's like, the other fighter is wounded. He's going down. You can't punch him when they're going down like that. You just cannot do that in the back of the head, right?
Right. I would like to see Logan as an MMA fighter more than as a boxer, because I feel like those fights are a lot more decisive quite often. Like in boxing, there's all these technical little things. Why was it only 6 rounds? Because all the fights
that's
before
bullshit.
it were 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Was that a legal thing?
That's why we'll actually never find out like who's the better boxer in this stuff, because it shouldn't be 6 rounds.
It's probably just what they negotiated because neither of them wanted to go that long. Because if you go that long, then it's a way higher chance that you're going to actually
I think
see
it's
a knockout
undeniable,
or
man.
something.
I thought KSI won the first fight. If it went another round, KSI had it. I really genuinely thought KSI won the first one, and he won the second fight. Like, KSI won. I think that's fair to say.
He definitely won.
Oh, I mean, he fucking
outsmarted
won.
him. Like, I don't know. I think Logan is a natural athlete. I think that, you know, his boxing was okay, but just JJ outsmarted him.
You know who I was sitting right behind?
Who?
Fucking Greg and Pam.
Wow.
Their parents. Like,
And so you thought about giving Greg a
directly-
noogie?
Did you see
Directly-
Greg in the
directly
fucking VIP?
Yeah, I talked to him.
I saw him there too.
What?
How'd that conversation go?
I was just telling. I'm just like, I fuck with you, man. Like, I like you. I watch you in the videos. I think it's tight how you were like making your kids work out really hard when you're a kid and shit. Like this shit. Again.
People loved this last time, bro. This little trick I do with the fucking chip bag, they loved it.
But yeah, he was a cool guy. I was like, I couldn't remember if he was divorced from the Pamster or not. But yeah, like fucking, what were we talking about? I forget.
Greg Paul.
Greg Paul, great,
Yeah.
great American. Do you think it makes any sense because Jake Paul is now acting like he wants to fight KSI? Is there any logic to that at all?
No, absolutely not. But no, there is, in a sense that I'm telling you right now, the fight that will bring in the most viewers and get the most excitement is Jake Paul versus KSI.
For sure.
There is not another fucking human, all right, on this planet that will bring in more views than Jake Paul, and this is why. One, Jake Paul still has that kid audience, and they will fucking get mom's credit card and buy the fight. Two, everyone above the age of 12 wants to see Jake Paul laid out on his fucking back. We want to see it happen, right? So I think that's the biggest fight. There's no other fight that you could put together that would be
viewership and
bigger.
selling the fight goes, I agree fully with
Uh,
you. As far as
it's the only
JJ
option.
and his where he goes next with all this, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. As far as Logan goes, it makes no sense. Like that's a lose.
JJ should never box
it's a
again.
lose for Logan.
He should never box again.
You
You really think?
He took out Logan Paul.
He
Defeated Logan Paul. He self-made multi-millionaire. You never box again. You did it.
If we're basing his next opponent on fame, where the fuck does he go up from here
There
in terms
is no.
of YouTubers?
There is no one.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Jake Paul
James
is even
Charles.
on his level, because he's not. Jake Paul has fallen irrelevant, but he's famous in this. He has.
You never miss a chance to take that shot, huh?
It's true. Look at his numbers. I mean, fucking get Social Blade out. Even though YouTube fucked that
barely
up.
works anymore.
Yeah. Fuck YouTube
Oh
for
shit,
that
we
one.
got we got creepy
Fuck
Mike.
them.
Oh, Mike said y'all are scumbags for not running it back with me for the recap.
Jesus
Mike,
Christ.
Mike, get your dirty ass
He
over here
just
right now.
got done telling everybody that you weren't a clout chaser, and look at this shit.
Mike, I just fucking rode your dick live for 30 minutes.
Let's see if we can get Mike's stupid fucking opinion.
Yo, what's good, you fuckbag?
You're live on No Jumper, you piece of shit. What's going on?
What's good, you scumbag fucks?
Well,
What's good?
hey, you're not here, so we're talking about you. That's just how this goes.
Because I'm consoling my poor friend, bro, after his defeat.
What's his state like? How's he doing?
He's chilling, bro. He's
Okay.
chilling.
Well-
He's absolutely fine. We went out last night, head held high.
I heard it was boring. I heard it was a week.
Party with Banks, party with some girls. He got his dick wet, dude. He's living life.
He got his dick wet, so he busted a nut, even though he was holding it in for a while, allegedly.
Yeah, bro. He's
Did you
chilling.
ask him what
He's
it
chilling.
looked like? What did it look like?
What'd you say?
Was it a lot? Yo, I went 2 weeks without busting a nut one time involuntarily, and I
waterfall?
Spider-Man
Bro,
fucking
he
shot
went
like.
nuts.
No, I'm serious. It's a real thing.
Web.
They like get the cup in your hand and like fling
It was fucking crazy.
These motherfuckers are the most disgusting
Mike,
people I
get your bitch
know.
ass down
You're visibly
here.
uncomfortable, Keith.
Yeah, Mike. So you can't come here.
How long are y'all gonna be on for? And do you have Coronas and chips or no?
Probably all
We have
night.
the chips,
we
but
have
I'm
Doritos.
sober.
You're gonna have to bring Coronas. We could possibly put in a Postmates order.
asked if we had chips.
Justin Wang is here.
We got chips, Mike.
Wow,
We got
that's a
all
lot of
kinds
chips.
chips.
So
You got
that's
chips,
what
baby.
life is like. We did Justin Bieber last night. Now it's Justin Wang.
Just going through all the
Is
Justins.
that what's popping?
I want to see Justin Bieber's Wang.
Yes.
No, you don't, dude.
Yes, I do.
What do you guys
Is
talking
it
Mike
about?
said that
I
like
just-
he's
I just-
seen
I
it.
just put a tweet
It's
out.
grotesque.
I just put a tweet out squashing the beef between me and the Sidemen.
Oh yeah, you just put out a tweet trying to squash the beef. Why would anyone?
I mean, listen, bro. Like, I don't even know the guys. I don't know KSI, but when Banks and everybody at Faze Clan tells me that they're the homies and that they're cool people, like, I don't want to have some shit with these people I've never even met because of a fight that's now over.
Right.
Don't fall for it. Mike's job is to make like Logan cool with everyone and to save his career. Don't fall for it. This is all PR stunt. A big PR stunt. Do not fall for
I
it.
love Keem and Mike's dynamic. It's so funny.
Keem, let's be honest, bro. Does the kid need his career saved? They paid him XX millions of dollars.
It's not about money. It's about views. It's about
Bro,
views.
No, Keem, in your little world, it's about views. In the big
No.
world, it's
In
about
my
that.
big fucking world with my big fucking views, it's about views.
But your views ain't big right now, dog.
They're pretty big.
No, they're not. But you haven't broken 2 million in a while, dude.
Oh, 1.7. Ooh, that's bad.
I'm just.
You get more
really-
views on Snap.
This is the lamest conversation I've heard in a while.
Those views up, bro.
You guys.
Well,
are
listen,
both-
your boy is about to have a fight, right? Well, he just had this fight, right? So you had all this promotion, all this hype, and KSI just crushed him on the numbers over and over again.
You crossed him on the numbers, you said?
Yeah, on the views, Oh,
what, on the pre-fight show?
just everything that goes out, KSI's getting more views.
Yeah, I mean, yo, I don't think anybody's trying to say that's not true. I mean, well,
Okay.
that said, like Logan's got videos out in the past couple months that have, look at his last video. He's got 7-10 million views, 12. Like his videos have been getting a lot of views too.
Mike, let me ask you this: where does Logan go from here? Do you think he's realistically going to fight again, and who could he end up fighting?
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to speak for him. I don't think, but I don't think he'll be mad. I don't personally think he steps in the ring again. He's saying that if the right exhibition fight comes and the bag is right, which will happen, he'll do it again. But honestly, dude, like, here's what happened last night. Logan had multiple opportunities to finish KSI last night. Round after that uppercut, call it dirty, call it whatever you want. KSI was finished. Anybody could have walked in the ring, put 15 poundings to him, put him in the corner, and put him to sleep. Would anybody here argue that?
I was just fucking dying.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, Mike, that it's stupid for KSI or Logan to ever fight again. You guys did what you did.
I agree. KSI could get a huge bag now. Like KSI could get a huge bag. He's the winner.
Not worth it.
I don't. Well, he could probably pull like 10 L's, bro. I'm not even kidding.
But wasn't this about? Logan talked about this like he really wanted to make this the rest of his life. Like when he got done with this fight, he was going to keep training and he was going to make this like the centerpiece of his whole life. What happened to that? Do you think that realistically was pre-fight cap? Was that ever really the plan?
It was never cap, but I think that there's a big difference between the training that goes into fighting and all the sparring that happens and going into the ring with the intention of killing your opponent. And I think last night he had a realization about himself that he doesn't want to hurt somebody. He just doesn't want to do that. Like I said.
Listen to the PR man work.
I don't think anybody will argue this. After that uppercut, and that was the most ferocious punch of the fight, not the holding one, but the one before it, the first uppercut.
Okay.
After all that happened, JJ was stumbling around the ring. I'm screaming from the ring, finish him, put him in the fucking ground.
Mortal Kombat.
His legs were not even working. He was done. All he had to do was wall bag him, punch him until he went down to the ground. And I asked Logan this morning, I said, yo, if I was standing in front of you with my hands behind my back, and all you had to do was put me down like a fucking dog, would you be able to do it? And he said, I don't think so. It's not something I want to do. His brother, Jake, has that switch. Jake has that switch.
Let's talk about Jake, Mike. Do you think that Jake completely fucked himself by saying that boxing is rigged, all the sports are rigged? Like, who is going to put fucking Jake Paul up for a fight after saying that shit?
Jake had a lot of emotions running last night.
And cocaine?
No cocaine.
Why the
but
fuck was
had
he saying this shit?
He had a lot of emotions. His brother, had just lost the fight of, what Jake believed was, incredibly important to his career. And, he had a lot of emotions going, and he was saying a lot of things that, we know the fight wasn't rigged. At least I do. Logan knows that. Like, we know the fight was not rigged. There was no rigging. we were back and forth on whether or not the 2 points were fair. The last time 2 points were taken off or something was when Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear off, or maybe not the last time, but that was the same point deduction. And so it's like, I think Jake just let his emotions get the best of him, and he said some shit that he shouldn't have.
Logan too. I mean, obviously he's punching a guy in the back of the head as he goes down.
He didn't get DQ'd. He didn't lose. He didn't fucking. They continued to fight when he bit his ear off.
Yeah, after. Real quick, Mike. The biggest fight that can happen next on the internet, right? The absolute biggest fight is JJ and Jake Paul. Do you disagree?
I think it's the biggest, but I don't know if it's the one we're gonna get. And I really want to see. I want to see Jake and Gib, dude. That's what I want to
see. That too.
I want to see that really bad, and I just be interested to see how that goes down, because, like I said, the big thing, dude, with the fighting is when you start to taste blood. And like a dog, when a dog tastes blood, they know they're onto something, and that's when that killer instinct kicks in. And Logan just doesn't do that kind of shit. He likes.
Jake does it. I mean, we saw him versus Deji, right? He was tasting his own blood.
I just don't think you need to have the killer instinct to punch somebody in the face when you're in a boxing ring.
Adam, you do, because it's not to punch him in the face. It's that's how you don't lose a fight. Logan went in the fight last night trying not to lose. KSI went into the fight trying to kill his opponent, which is how you have to be. Shannon Briggs is a savage. Shannon Briggs carries that mentality through every part of his life. He carries it in the ring and off the ring. When you talk shit to Shannon Briggs on the street, he will put you in the fucking ground. He doesn't care what the penalty is. He's a psychopath, dude.
Shannon Briggs versus Vitali. There we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Wow.
No, bro. Vitali's out of
No
his
drug
fucking-
test for either one. No drug test.
Yeah, did they get drug tested? That's something I was wondering. Is there any possibility that they could have done steroids and gotten away with it?
No, absolutely not. They were drug tested according to the same rules that professional boxers are.
That's cool. But realistically, what does Logan Paul do from here?
Music. He's gonna do music.
He's got music bagged, and by the way, it's good music. He worked with very, very, very good producers on it with Avicii's team, and he was in Sweden locked up in the studio for a month and a half making music, and it's good music. But there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff he can do. He can go back to daily content. Like there's a lot of things he can do, and we love fucking Impulsive, and we love. That whole vibe. There's a million different ways this can go. Jake said on air last night, me and him just got an offer for an MTV show. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. And so like there's a lot of shit going on. Like there's a lot of stuff that can happen, and so it's pretty hard to say. But I don't think it's gonna be more fighting though.
Interesting. I was looking forward to Logan's like rebirth as a fighter, but I guess that's not really gonna happen.
Maybe. Oh, I got him right here.
Oh.
He just walked out. He's in his underwear.
You like that, huh?
No, don't actually. But I'm used to seeing it. Adam22, Keemstar, Banks, all on air right now on No Jumper.
Talking about
no
you.
love to Justin Wang.
Talking about you.
I was waiting for him. He forgot what my fucking name is.
He's a fucking scumbag.
He's petting his dog. Any thoughts? Do you want to talk to anybody right now?
I mean, I don't know. I'm in my underwear. I just came out to see what you're doing.
I think he was taking a nap or something.
Yo.
Bro. I'm sure there's going to be enough opportunities for press.
I want to comment from Logan about what Jake said about it being rigged. I want to comment directly from him.
I don't.
Leave the fucking kid alone.
No, I don't think it's rigged.
Thank you, Logan. That was Logan. Thank you. There we go.
No, yeah, I don't think
It
it's
obviously wasn't rigged.
How was last
I
night's
just
nut?
want it. I want it on air.
How was the nut last night?
Yo, my God, I want to know that, please.
rigged.
Logan,
How big it was.
Logan.
How many ropes?
How big was it for real? Spider-Man shit?
Guys.
Because I know. Did it fucking shoot super far too? Was it like just crazy?
It put a on the wall.
Yes, dude.
Oh, Jesus.
Mike was there.
It landed on Mike's face. That's why Mike has a black eye right now.
Banks got to witness me all fired up last night for the first
Oh
time.
yeah. Yeah. Mike's a real one.
Bad.
Someone was talking shit to Evan, and Mike was really about to fucking knock him out.
Ooh.
So all of a sudden, the fight's about to start, and I hear the guy behind me go, "Hey, Peter Dinklage, sit down."
Oh shit.
To Evan.
He
Our
freaked
roommate,
the
Evan. I
fuck
turn around, I go, "What the fuck did you just say?" And he goes, "I didn't say nothing." I go, "What the fuck did you just say?" I go, "I'll fucking kill you in this fucking Coliseum right now. End your fucking life, dude." And then, he started shit with the security teams, and his whole squad got booted. They all got removed.
They were calling all the security guys pussies.
Damn.
It's kinda
People
funny.
call me Peter Dinklage all the time.
No, they call you Peter Dinkler.
Ooh.
That should be your porn name.
I'm down.
Peter Dinkler.
Yeah,
I know a porn star named Trey Schlongs.
That's
Do
amazing.
you really? I know a porn star named Emily Willis.
Me too. I know her even better after last night.
Oh!
That's my girlfriend, Adam. What's wrong with you?
I know. I was having a hard time even hanging out with her because I didn't want to give her too much intel about how you feel about her, you know?
Yeah, right. Yo. Well, how long are you fuckers gonna be on for?
Probably a long time. We haven't even got
We're
started.
just chilling.
Yeah.
Banks brought like 15 different
No, I
flavors
didn't.
of chips.
This
I
fine
feel like
young
we're missing
gentleman
the
went wrong.
Coronas.
Oh, wait, who
Grab
brought
him and come over.
Dude, every time I'm on a live stream, Joe Rogan dies.
They
You notice
always
that?
want to convince you that Joe Rogan, Lil Pump, Lil Xan, they're all dead.
I can't believe how many times Joe Rogan has died. It's
Sometimes
unreal.
they actually fool me, and I'll
Can't-
actually Google it.
Can we get a rip Joe Rogan in the chat?
You're gonna
Joe
regret
Rogan
saying
is
that.
never gonna die.
Yo, Mike, holler at me if you want to come through. All right.
All right, brother.
Appreciate
See
you,
guys.
G.
Peace out, you sick fuck.
I should have told him he needs a new nickname.
He does. He needs an actual nickname.
It's cool that he heard the beginning part where we were basically just like tearing apart his entire life. That was fun.
I knew he'd hear it.
I stayed up and put on my iPhone vlog from last night, and it still has not been reviewed from YouTube. Let me get a RIP Joe Rogan in the chat if you know what that's all about.
Look, I want to show you Mike's name in my phone.
Mike Logan Paul.
What did we put him in the title?
His name in my phone is
Logan
literally
Paul's
Mike
friend?
Logan Paul.
Yeah. Did we? No,
Faze
Mike
Banks?
from Impulsive.
Mike from Impulsive, that's what it was.
Mike from Logan Paul's ballsack. You think they'll ever have a falling out and do some like dramatic breakup shit?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Nah, Mike would never.
They understand each other. You're fucking.
Mike would never. He would never.
Yeah, but everybody, you know, there's a lot of falling outs. You ever have like a big beef with somebody online?
Dude, I think Mike's gonna be
I
one of those.
haven't-
Oh, sorry, go on.
I've had a few people like, I guess more recently, kind of be like, "Hey, like you should have like talked to me before I made this video," but I haven't really done anything that really like steps on anybody's shit. Oh, there were the Maddox videos.
He was pissed about those?
I mean, I never really like interacted with him much. He just like automatically like blocked anybody who followed Dick Masterson after they had their falling out.
Okay.
But he did, I guess, like talk to me about the videos when I saw him at VidCon. But it wasn't anything like too serious.
Yeah. That's what you need. You're not a real YouTuber until you have like a massive blowout.
Have you ever had a
beef.
falling out with a YouTuber?
Not that I can think of.
But doesn't it feel like ancient fucking history when you think about like the Keemstar beefs and shit?
That's just who.
Like you
Keemstar
can
is.
barely even remember. Like why the fuck would anyone care if Grade A, Under A, whatever the fuck his name was, said some shit about
That's
you?
what
It just
is,
seems
bro. It's
so
the,
irrelevant.
It's the cancel culture. People just love that shit. People
now
love to-
everybody's been
People love
canceled.
to fuck somebody's life up.
What would it take to get you into the ring though, Keem?
Oh, dude, I don't know. It's
It's
not
not-
money. It's really not money. That wouldn't do it.
After watching what happened to Fusi, I mean that made me so much more turned off to it. Like holy shit, I don't want to have anything even close to that.
Banks
happen
has
to
an
me.
interesting take, right? Like boxing is not a fucking street fight. It's not the same thing. It's not like I hate you, I want to fucking beat you up. It's just so different, right? It's like chess, right? And you, I don't think you can. Like he went in there and said, Logan needed to be a killer. I don't think it's that, dude. I think it's a lot of fucking mental. Like
Bro,
I'm gonna do
energy
this, I'm
before
gonna do
everything
that.
else.
You know?
I don't know. It takes a lot too. Dude.
But-
Those motherfuckers trained every day for months.
I just don't understand how
crazy.
how can you be in the ring? It's your job to come here and knock this fucking fool out. There's everything relies on it. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in the ring and to have just injured him and to have a clear opening and not take that opening. Like to me, that I can't even imagine that as an excuse. Like he doesn't have the killer instinct enough to finish things there. It's just like that's the name of the game there.
Yeah. There's no. I mean, this is just bullshit from Mike. Like, what is he saying? What the fuck is he saying? Oh, Logan doesn't have the killer instinct to win a boxing
And
match.
Jake does now.
Like, what the fuck?
What does that mean? Like Jake is like now they're trying to paint Jake as if he was this like street fighter thug. Like he's always been the bad one.
Yes,
of the family.
guys. Logan Paul trained for fucking 2 years, did 2 boxing matches to let JJ win. Yeah, that's what he was doing because he doesn't have the killer instinct. Yeah.
It's a lose-lose for Logan if Jake and him fight, though. If Jake somehow beats KSI, then
Then if Jake were to somehow beat KSI, fucking
that mean for
Logan
Logan?
would look like the biggest herb ever. Like he would look so bad.
But people keep saying that Logan claimed he was sick.
Oh,
Did you hear that quote?
No, I never heard him say
Okay,
that.
let's
I
hear
never
about
heard him
this.
say
Okay, Logan was sick. Okay, it was rigged. The 2 points didn't count.
KSI was hanging out with the ref.
KSI was hanging out with the ref. Fucking Logan doesn't have the killer instinct. How many fucking excuses can we fucking hear? Take your
Listen,
goddamn
at the end
L.
of the day, it's a human body versus a human body. The people who are fucking officiating these things have been doing this for a lot longer than we have. They have a way better understanding of the sport. There obviously is no bias or fucking fixing going on. KSI beat Logan. That's it. Like that's just it.
It just is what it is.
That is what it is.
and-
They both should be. I think they should both be super proud of themselves.
And
They're
I
fucking-
think, and I really believe that KSI gave way more respect to boxing than Logan Paul ever did. Logan Paul was being a clown out there, and I'm not meaning that in a mean way. I mean, he was being a showboat, right? He was putting on a show. He was fucking KSI was just focused on fucking being a good boxer, and he deserved it.
Logan
he deserved
did a better job of marketing himself as someone who was getting ready for a fight.
Agreed from the outside looking in, but if we look at Social Blade, KSI,
Right,
wins
yeah.
in the views.
But KSI just is a more popular person, which is kind of shocking because he's the black guy, so you'd think that he would appeal to less people as the white guy, and he's from England, which you'd think would appeal to the English people. But Logan is such an enemy to so many people. Like it's underrated how
Shannon
many
Briggs,
people look
chill.
down on him. No, but it's true. There's so many people that really dislike Logan, and there's not really a good reason to dislike KSI.
Yeah.
No, there isn't a good reason. I mean, JJ's a good dude.
If you want to dislike Logan Paul, there's a very easy couple of reasons to latch onto. With KSI, if you don't want to like him, you probably just would ignore him if you didn't like him. So it's easy to see how KSI's fan base is so invigorated for this kind of shit.
Well, here's one thing about UK YouTube, okay? UK YouTube, everybody has each other's back. Everybody helps each other grow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tight-knit group where on fucking American YouTube, like we're all in fucking street gangs out there. Like, fucking, that's what it really be like that. Like, remember the days of fucking Team 10 versus Clout House? I mean, it just is what it is.
KSI is a hero of England, and Logan Paul is definitely not the hero of America in the same way.
He's very all-American, though.
Yeah,
Blonde
to the people who like that.
Definitely.
He's definitely the MAGA candidate.
I just...
Hey, can we
is
talk
mo-
about the fight before them? Why did it low-key kind of look like a junior KSI versus
That
Logan
weird-ass
Paul?
white kid with the blonde hair and shit, yeah.
Yeah,
fu-
it
he was-
looked like
he was-
kind of like the default versions of them or
Yeah,
something. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like the level 1 versions of them.
Have you guys been seeing these slapping contests on
No, I mean,
Yo,
those
they're
are
so
so because that
fucking
white
beast.
dude
So
was
good.
That shit.
He was fucking, those were fighters.
Yeah.
Those were real
But what
fighters.
about the dude with all the tattoos and the weird facial piercings and
Yeah.
shit, and he just gets clobbered by this monster? When I'm watching this shit, at first I'm not sure how hard they're really allowed to hit each other because a lot of times people are just slapping the cheek, but then all of a sudden you have a dude come through and just completely destroy their jaw.
Here's one thing. From a Drama Alert standpoint, I know based on my research, Logan Paul really did fucking slap and knock the fuck out of that kid.
Yeah.
Like that big guy. That's 100% real.
Oh, okay.
They tried to spin it like it was fake and he was
no,
paid
that
to go
was
down.
real.
No, that was real.
That was real.
Didn't the guy he slapped come out with something like a while later, but like trying to deny it or some shit?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
he came out with a ton of excuses,
was
and
a-
then
there
Logan
was a bunch of
listened
weird
to
shit
those
with that.
excuses and used them for this fight. You know.
Okay.
I love you.
How do you not make excuses about? Well, I mean, could you avoid it if you were
Dude,
Logan?
this is the mistake all these social media fucking kids make is you can't make excuses. You just have to be real about shit. People really do appreciate that.
Like,
Yeah.
what
Like,
are-
they appreciate honesty. Like, when you lose a fight, you get up and you go, wow.
Well, we heard Logan right now, and he was like, "It's not Rick.
Yeah.
He's better now. He's better now."
No,
but in
well,
the heat of moment,
it's unfair to pin all this shit on Logan because it's a lot of fucking other people saying
True,
shit. Like,
true.
It's his team and it's Jake and it's like, dude, have you guys heard Logan make one excuse? I know, I mean, even in
He did say that he
Shannon-
thought he should have won.
They put him on the spot. They put him on the spot with the mic, and they asked him, "Do you really think you slipped? Like, or do you think that was a knockdown?" He goes, "Yeah, no, I think I slipped, or whatever." And like he was looking over at his corner because they're telling him, "You fucking slipped. You slipped. Don't worry about it. You slipped." Like that's that's his team. That's his family. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna trust what they're fucking saying.
Shannon Briggs was the worst thing that ever happened to Logan Paul's team.
Really?
All right. He might have helped him with training. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes. I'm not a boxing expert, right? But like his Shannon Briggs shenanigans throughout this whole thing really made Logan look really bad.
I think he wanted the limelight a little bit too much. That's kind of what he came across as to me.
Like I respect him as a fighter, and you know
absolutely.
he was a world champion, right? Like hats off to him. But like there was a lot of fucking shenanigans going on.
During the lead up, there was a point where Logan was talking in one of his videos, and he was like, you know, if I don't, you know, if this boxing thing doesn't work out for me, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back to making corny vlogs, which is kind of like an interesting way to frame it because, you know, you're someone who got famous off of vlogging and everybody knows you as a vlogger. And realistically, that's probably what your fans want from you the most. And now he's in a position where that seems like a way more logical career choice for him at this point is to get back into doing like very regular content.
Logan's got to take that
all
break.
depends what he
He's
cares
got to go through that like you can't fucking walk away from something this big that you lost without depression, right? He's gonna, and I'm not even saying like actual depression, but like the
gonna be
sadness
down,
or
bro. He was
whatever.
down. I saw him last
Being
night.
down. You got to go through that time period of being down, and then you got to build yourself back up, like he's done on fucking what's the Vine and fucking YouTube. He's just gonna have to fucking grind. That's
Listen,
all this
Logan
is.
is a fucking low-key little internet genius. Like
Right.
he has some genius in him. He fully understands the way this shit works. I think he'll be all right.
But okay, how about this? He started impulsive. I'm going to say that it maybe did not blow up the way that he thought that it was going to.
Well, it's hard to like the podcast game's different.
And
Sit
he's
down.
been very preoccupied with the fight, so I'll give him that. But it just feels like maybe he thought that that was going to be something he was more passionate about and that was going to get bigger guests and stuff. And I don't know if he would necessarily agree with that, but from me as somebody who's been watching
I think
it,
they've done a good job.
Yeah, I think they're actually doing all right.
yeah, I mean, the views are decent, but it just felt like they didn't really. It feels like they've kind of run through most of the clear guests, and I think he definitely gets a pass for chilling for the past few months, getting ready for the fight. But I'm interested to see what goes on with Impulsive from here, I guess is the way of saying it. Because it's like, if he decides to go hard with that, then that could be.
In any podcast, when someone's sitting there and they have notes and they have topics that they want to go over and stuff like that, it just doesn't I can't get into it. Other people might be able to. I can't. I like a podcast like this where there's like no script, you know, like, and people are just shooting the shit.
Listen, they made it back. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
They both won. Listen, they both won.
I think it's insane that we're talking about Logan so much. We should be talking about fucking KSI, who is now on top of the motherfucking world.
People
like,
want you to call
He's the
him.
king.
who?
People want you to call him.
There's honestly, you could try. He's in fucking
I'm
Vegas
gonna
right now
try.
being a sicko with all his boys as he should.
I'll text
I hope
him.
they go get a fucking hotel room and destroy it.
How hard does
for
he
your fucking boy?
How
I'm just
hard
kidding.
does he party? Like him partying after a fight. Like what's that going to look like?
I would hope that he just goes fucking bananas, but I don't know.
But how bananas does he go?
I haven't really partied.
Is
with
he
him.
doing nose drugs?
No, I would hope not.
You have to get drug tested after the fight too.
I don't think so.
If you do coke after the fight, do you get in trouble?
What is with cocaine? Cocaine's trash.
Seen people doing it last night.
Yeah, there was probably a bunch of people doing it last night.
I mean, we live in Hollywood,
In
pretty
Hollywood,
much.
it's
So,
fucking everywhere.
Justin, you do any recreational drugs?
Mostly just alcohol, to be honest. Like because I was here and I'm not usually here, I did a bunch of weed this past week. But like, if I do like, I've always known that like, I do any amount, I just can't fucking function. But I guess I overestimated even like what my shitty little like terrible weed tolerance was. So I was basically just like out
Blasted.
of it for like
Blasted.
the first 2
Strong
days I was
weed
here.
out here.
Yeah.
Strong.
It
Dude,
is really
it's not
strong.
your grandpa's weed, dude. I can't do it
Yeah.
either. I get like super fucking paranoid, right? And then I'm good. But I don't want to go through that paranoid like the
I like
first
it.
thing.
I was just on. You see me on that live stream?
No.
I just like start answering questions that she's not asking. She's like how you doing? Or she didn't say how you doing, but I'm just like, I'm doing good. How you doing? I'm like, it's so fucking awkward. I was just smoking.
Wait, that's awesome. Wait, where was
Oh,
this?
It's
I saw
on
that
my
clip
Twitter
here.
and my Instagram.
Oh,
I'm
That shit was
shit.
fucking funny.
Yeah, I'm just kind of fucking. I didn't know what the fuck to say. I was freaked out by that lady. I couldn't believe that I was actually on the live stream in that moment.
I didn't get interviewed by them. The Hollywood Life like grabbed me and then we were
Bro,
fucking gone.
TMZ hit me, fucking pulled up on me 4 different times.
Really?
Two different camera
Oh,
guys,
because they
yeah.
were at Logan's thing.
But they just hit you up all the time. They're like, let me pull up and just ask you about
No,
some
I
shit.
mean, just recently with the Vegas shit and all that, they've been fucking on my dick, kinda.
Really?
Yeah, I fuck with the one guy though.
How's that feel? Hey, can I ask you about your meeting Drake story so you can tell it on air since I know you're not going to bring it up on your own?
I guess we can get into the
Now he
Drake
has
story.
to tell it.
I'm
I gotta
fucking
piss real
happy
quick.
to tell it.
I still have not met
You've
Drake.
heard the story, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
I've
matter.
already heard it.
All right, so we went to this super like clout party. Like it wasn't like Illuminati in the sense of like rich white people, but like as far as like the entertainment world and like Hollywood goes, it was about as like fucking closed door as it gets. I met Kylie that night. She's good friends with Stas. I met a bunch of people. Chris Brown was there. A bunch of people like that, right? So I'm standing in the bathroom line, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours into the party. I'm with David Dobrik's squad, Mike standing right there. And Drake walks down the stairs. I didn't know he was there. I was like, what the fuck? That's Drake? That's crazy. Just kind of kept it to myself. He walks past the bathroom line, glances over at the line. And mind you, I've never met him. I've never even halfway bullshit met him. Like, yo, you got to meet so-and-so. Oh, cool, good to meet you. Like neither of you give a fuck about meeting each other type shit.
Right.
Never so much as anything like that. He walks past the bathroom line, glances over, keeps walking, and then like double takes back, looks at me, smiles, daps me up, hugs me up, talked to him for a second, and he walked away. And everybody's like, what the fuck? You're homies with Drake like that? And I was like,
Welcome to-
absolutely fucking not. I'm not. I don't know. He recognized my face, and he's in like the esports world.
Oh.
He's invested into a team. I know.
He's your op.
I don't know if Drake's my op. I don't even know if Nade Shot or that is my. I don't know who the fuck our op is.
Do you think
Like,
he was thinking that? Like, this is my enemy.
I thought.
Fuck
I
Faze.
think maybe nah. He showed love. It was good energy. Like I wish Mike was here right now. It was fucking.
Yo,
it was pretty
how
cool.
funny is it that his story about meeting Drake is so similar to fucking Fuzzy Tubes? Yo, he came down, we looked at each other.
No, that was actually, but mine's real though.
I know, but
Fuzi, I love you. I love you. But no, it was it was good. I think the thoughts that were going through his head were probably like,
Banks, I fucking love you.
it was probably.
I
it
love
wasn't-
Banks.
It wasn't like that at all.
I love banks.
He's probably
Yo,
he's probably
Fuzi-
considering the fact that he made the wrong investment though.
Fuzi, you're probably watching this. Honestly, like, dude, you went crazy or whatever that was, right? But it was the best summer ever, and you made the best content on all of fucking YouTube last summer.
I remember having to tell my girlfriend, I'm like, I know that you feel like this is just regular shit and that it's okay. It's not normal. This is a special time, and we need to do everything we can to take advantage of the insanity that's going on right now because
Yeah.
there's something in the air.
You guys
like,
are such bad.
I
Keemstar running
understand-
around with a documentary crew.
Dude, yeah. Dude,
Our production team.
In
yeah,
LA.
yeah, we did good. Thank you.
Keemstar in
Yeah, of
LA
course,
with a
of course.
production crew.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. The documentary was
Remember
I
the
was
thumbnail incident? He wouldn't trust me, dude. I'm like, dude, just do it this way. He's like, no. And then you
no,
you're all
you're
stressed
low
out.
key a genius at YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
You are a fucking genius. But I was out the other day, and this fucking kid come up to me, goes, I don't know your name, but the Fuzi documentary, you're a legend. That's all he knew from me is the
That's
Fuzi
crazy.
documentary. Yeah.
That's your legacy.
I hope so. I hope so. No, but Fuzi
hope
is
that's not
obviously embarrassed and da-da-da-da, and I just want to say, like, hats off to him. He made the greatest content that year, regardless.
Fuzi is a good dude.
Yeah.
I fuck with him.
But where does Fusi go from here, especially after he lost his fight, you know?
Listen, I think a lot of us should start to pay more respect to like the OG motherfuckers, because we're all gonna be there one day. Most of us, 99% of us, are gonna fall off.
Got the Roman Atwood follow.
And there's gonna be new people. There's kids
Met
right
him
now.
last night.
There's kids right now who are fucking jerking off in Ohio or fucking Boston or in
We don't need
Buffalo,
any more people from Ohio.
who are
or masturbators in
who
general.
2 years from now are gonna be the biggest stars on the internet, and they don't even know it yet. You know what I'm saying? So like, we should do a better job at like helping our fucking.
But it's not going to be fucking boring ass cis
OG.
white guys like us. It's going to be the Lily Singhs and the Emma Chamberlains and the progressive.
You're literally talking about some Illuminati shit. Like, oh, we got to give respect to each other. We need partnerships. We need to hold on to our power.
No, I'm saying
I say
it's
let
like
the
a
young
respect-
kids
it's a
come up. There's
respectful-
some of these old motherfuckers that need to be knocked out.
But
I'm just saying.
you feed off of new content from new content creators, so for you it is
You're fucking
advantageous.
biased.
Yo, stop exposing me.
There's
Come
a
on.
lot of people to be nice to each other.
If there's 10 new Tanas and they're all doing crazy dramatic shit and everybody's commenting and talking about 10 more Jake Pauls, that's the thing, is that somehow the YouTube world can't really sustain 10 poppin' Jake Pauls at a time. People can only pay attention to so many wild figures at once, right?
I met Tana for the first time
And I
in person
filmed it.
last night, and you filmed it. And can we please play that fucking tape? Because I didn't notice it at the time, but the scream she made twice is the most unbearable sound I've ever heard. Like,
I can't even do it how high pitched it was.
If you find that on Adam's Twitter, please play it.
Justin Wayne,
guys,
I feel bad because
text-
you're not as like fucking verbose as all of these assholes.
A lot of these people, like, I don't follow that closely, so I'm like, shit. There's like no way for me to intelligently comment on like Faze.
Real quick, for everybody saying call KSI, I just text him. He's like literally on a plane. He hasn't even responded to my text yet. So
if you
I'm
don't
not just gonna
understand
call him.
Faze, I don't understand you, because that you are into so many weirder things. Like Faze is way more mainstream than the cum jar.
It's kind of like how like you ever.
Brian
Is there
Peppers.
any like really famous movie that like
tons, yeah.
you like just didn't watch and it's like
Star
a big
Wars.
hole? You never watched Star Wars?
It's fucking
It's like
weird.
that. Like it's. I have like all this obscure fucking like cum jar knowledge and shit like that, but then it'll be like, oh, this YouTuber with like 10 million subscribers, never heard of him.
But have you ever
Never
tried
watched
to
the video.
store your jizz like at any capacity?
on.
Oh, wait,
I mean-
here's the video right here.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, you got to listen to the fucking
500,000
scream.
views. That's how much people care about this. Are we going to switch the view in OBS as well? Cool. And make sure you don't
That
click
was the
ar-
first time you ever met her?
Don't click
It's the first
around
time
on
I've ever
Twitter
met
on
her.
camera at all.
We've
because
talked on
Twitter
the phone
has
many
porn.
times, but like,
Twitter does it.
Who said that?
hear that shit? Like, what is
Oh my
that?
god.
That's how she sounded when Banks was hitting it.
She's fucking calling dolphins. She sound like that when you hit it?
No.
She didn't make that fucking dolphin
I had my
screech.
fucking hand over her mouth. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Tana, I love you. You know that's funny. That's funny. This was 3 years ago. I'm sorry.
I wonder how her.
By the way, she
time,
was
Adam.
very pleasant. She was lovely.
Banks,
no,
she's
she
a
was cool.
married woman.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus fucking
All right,
Christ.
get out of
I
there.
just
It's
like-
like this sound. If you ever played this game,
What
Siren,
is that? Look at her face. Look at her face when
Please
she
don't
does
play
the
it again.
scream.
Please don't play it again.
One more time.
No, one more time. Please.
Her fucking eyebrows do the fucking V from Vendetta.
If you've ever played this game Siren, at the end there's a part where like the Japanese villagers are eating an alien as it screams, and that's what it
That's what it
fucking
sounds
sounds like while they're
Oh,
eating
we
it.
should call Deji. Text Deji.
Oh my God.
I don't think I have Deji's phone number.
I do, but
Deji's out here clout chasing. He put out his
I
little
wanna text
3-minute
him.
video talking about it.
I didn't see that.
Okay, listen.
He like never uploads anymore, and he puts out a fucking video. My bro won.
Yeah. Can we talk about that? Because in the face-to-face, Logan said, he goes, look, here's the DM. Your brother, Deji, gave me a fucking DM me wishing me good luck on the fight. All right? So if Deji's doing that to Logan saying good luck on the fight, and then KSI wins and he's like saying out to the public, oh, I knew you were going to win. I love you. I made you so proud. I mean, is that some fake shit or what?
He's playing both sides of the fence, huh?
It's your fucking brother. It's your brother. You don't tell your brother's opponent good luck on the fight.
Yeah, I don't know if I back that from Deji, to be honest.
But
Just
Deji,
people-
I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest. I've never spoken on this before, but Deji has had so much shady, disloyal behavior to his brother that just on the bare minimum of being someone's brother should not have happened. There's a lot of shit
Yeah.
Deji's done that was just distasteful.
But
to
then
me.
his brother wins and he milks it. Oh,
The
yeah.
moral
Like
of the
he.
story is YouTube drives brothers apart. Jake and Logan have had beef. It's just, I don't know. It's weird to mix family and like views and.
It's really strange to me that, like, you know, he can't just put out a tweet saying, oh, I'm so proud. Good job, JJ. Why does it have to be in a monetized form on your fucking YouTube channel?
Like,
I don't know.
But I mean, if you're Deji, it's like, what is he really making videos about aside from like basically talking about his brother? You know? Damn, I feel mean. I never wanted to be someone who's talking down on Deji, but I'm just kind of trying to give an accurate...
I like the kid, but like, dude, what? Just stop.
I haven't spent a whole lot of time on YouTube. This summer was all about fucking Faze and having fun.
You getting your dick wet because you're single now and you're just dragging your ball sack through every fucking hoe in Hollywood? No, you getting premium booty though.
Oh, you saw your ex at the... How'd that go?
It was cool. We're cool. I love Alyssa.
She was wearing vintage Dior.
Was she?
I only know that because she spelled something on it and she exclaimed like, "This is vintage Dior." My girlfriend just mentioned it. She's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Nah, she was cool. She's with all the girls, Chantel and shit. Nah, it's cool.
Chantel, like, it's just a girl named Chantel, and it's
I
not
love
Chantel Jeffries.
Well, is it Chantel
normal
Jeffries?
normal.
Yo, you guys
chicks,
want to hear
man.
a funny Chantel story? It's not about Chantel Jeffries, but the same weekend in Vegas that I fucked up the hotel room, and I kind of want to use this to talk about that
let's
a little
talk
bit.
about
Whoa,
that.
whoa, but that weekend in Vegas, I should have known. I shouldn't have went. I fucking don't ask me why. Woke up that morning and everyone's like, "Yo, fuck it, we're gonna go." It was Art of the Wild. A bunch of people from Hollywood, like our whole circle of friends, a bunch of girls. Everybody was going, and I was gonna sit it out, but FOMO got the best of me, and I woke up and they're like, "Yo, we booked you a ticket. You have to go." So I was like, "Okay."
What is Call of the Wilds or whatever?
Art of the Wild. I don't know. It's just some fucking like little like festival thing that the Wynn and Encore has.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. It's a cool little event. It's an excuse for people in Hollywood to go.
Okay.
Get fucked up and go to Vegas. So they booked Spirit. That was number one.
Ugh.
Trash.
I'm above that. I'm sorry.
Trash. And I get on the fucking plane, and I'm like 6 mimosas deep because I'm pre-gaming for Vegas, and I went to breakfast with Mike that morning and just decided to get fucking rocked on mimosas before my flight, before I had to travel all day. Not all day, it's an hour flight.
You have a drinking problem?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Do you think I have a drinking problem?
No, I'm just...
I really genuinely
He just
don't.
joined AA.
No,
Anyone who's slamming mimosas with Mike in the morning,
that's fucking fun. That's common.
that just sounds like
Honestly,
alcoholic shit.
No, that's fun. It was right before Vegas. I was about to send it into the fucking...
You've seen his hotel room. He doesn't have a drinking problem. Yeah.
I mean, when you go to Vegas, you're
I'm
excused.
sober right now for 8 days and I feel great.
No, he is.
And it's easy.
I've been with him like behind the scenes, and there's been tons of alcohol
Me
around. He
saying
hasn't
that
drank.
out loud, I'm sober for 8 days, sounds like I have a drinking
Yes,
problem.
yes,
But
it does.
I decided to just take November off.
Well, it's hard to be
'Cause of the whole
single.
Vegas thing.
It's hard to be single and famous and rich and not have a drinking problem because you want to hang out with girls every night and they want to drink.
So exactly, when I was in that 2-year relationship with Alyssa, I probably got drunk fucking 20, 30 times in 2 years. Like I was a home, but when I have a girlfriend, I'm a homebody. I don't fucking go out. There's no real reason to go out.
That's where I'm at, but I know if I was single all of a sudden, then all of a sudden I'm gonna have to be getting drunk so I can eat booty drunk.
That's what I'm saying. You know how it is out here. Like it's just like it's part of the fucking whole social game. I like to fucking have fun.
You turned Hollywood.
No, I
Fast.
fucking didn't. Don't
Fast.
ever say some weird shit like that again.
You kind of run this shit right now, though.
What do you mean?
But you're
trying to run
You're
Hollywood.
so
Stop,
Hollywood
I
that
don't
you
run
still
Hollywood.
dress like super regular. That you just
Yeah.
wear like vintage band tees and the Boston hat. That's like that's like Obama saying folks.
Yes.
It's like you trying to like appeal to the
Folks.
common people and be like, look, I'm just like you. I got
really
the same hat.
I really am though. I really am.
I don't even have a
fun.
Faze
This is
hat.
fun. You guys are shitting on me.
I don't have a
Do you guys want to
Faze
hear the
hat.
fucking story about
Yeah,
me
yeah,
getting
Sure,
kicked off the
sure,
fucking plane?
Chantel.
So
That's what shit on you sometimes.
we're on the flight, and right off the rip, this lady doesn't like us. We tried to get some girls who were on the flight that we knew to like move close to us. The flight's like half empty. I see her name tag is Chantel, and I'm kind of drunk, and I call her over and I go, "Hey, what's your last name?" And she says it, and I go, "Oh, I would have thought it would have been Jeffries." And like the people I was with half laughed at that. It wasn't even a funny joke, but they kind of laughed, and she thought we were shitting on her. So she kind of gave me like some weird energy, and I tried to bring it back. I was like, "Yo, chill, like we're chilling. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit drunk right now." And I was in the fucking exit rows because I'm long, and I don't want to sit in the regular shitty seats. And she goes, "Oh, you're kind of drunk right now? Well, then I can't let you sit there." And just really pulled that card, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "Are you being serious right now?" It wasn't that serious. I was like, "Are you for real?" She's like, "Yeah," moves my seat, and I was like, "Okay." And now my friends at this point are like, "Yo, please don't get kicked off the plane. Just sit the fuck down and just chill, like until we lift off."
They
So
thought there
I'm-
was a chance you were gonna snap.
so I'm sitting very tight, not
He's
talking.
waiting.
And I was in my head, I was like, yo, as soon as this fucking flight takes off, I'm gonna fucking make myself throw up in the aisle. I'm gonna go fucking drop a fat shit in the bathroom and not
The door
flush
open.
it. I'm gonna hit the little light 25 times and ask for fucking a million different weird things. And I'm just gonna make this bitch's life miserable for an hour. And I'm behaving myself. I'm on my phone. It's loud, the plane noise, the ambient noise. I'm on my phone. I click a song. Somebody sent me a song. I click to play it. I can't even fucking hear it from this distance. I'm holding the phone. So I put it right up to my ear. This bitch fucking all the way at the front of the plane. Nobody complained, obviously, about the noise. Comes up, and now I'm fucking over this bitch. You know what I mean? She's clearly being a cunt, being weird. And she pulls up on me. I don't even look at her or acknowledge her. She says something. I ignore it. She says something again. I go, what? She says it again. I still don't hear. And I go, what? And she goes, oh, okay. Goes up to the front of the plane. Now we're wheeling backwards. We're like pulling out. The fucking plane is moving, right? She makes a call to the fucking pilot. The pilot comes on over the intercom and goes, sorry, folks, we're gonna have to bring this back up to the gate. We have an unruly passenger on board. He is refusing to comply with instructions from the attendants. We're gonna have to kick him off the flight. This is gonna delay our trip 30, 40 minutes. Everyone starts freaking the fuck out. Everyone's yelling at her. They all knew it was like it was clear she was being a bitch.
Right.
And then at that point I was like, all right, fuck it. So I stand up, I start world starring it. I'm surprised nobody recorded it, whatever.
It
But,
didn't become a big thing because I didn't hear about this, right?
No, it wasn't a big thing at all. This didn't hit the media at all.
What did you say when you stood up?
I was just like, are you kidding me? I was like, is this lady kidding? And like some dude next to me, he's like, yo, is this fucking for real? They were all asking her, like, for real? And I pulled the old, like, put the camera out and put it anywhere or whatever. But I made her feel uncomfortable.
Oh, you didn't post it?
No.
I'm surprised somebody else didn't film it. I would have filmed it. I would have sent it to you.
I'm surprised you didn't go the angle with you got
wish,
kicked
you
off.
fucking wish, dude. You fucking wish.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the angle that you got kicked off the plane for speaking Arabic. Because that worked with Adam Salah.
Salah.
Yep, and Slim.
I got kicked off for no reason. Everybody I was with, I was like, I like checked myself. I'm like, yo, like.
Did you just book another
Did I
flight?
not see some? Well, then I try to. And then I'm like, all right, yo, fuck Spirit. We're gonna go on a jet sweep, book a private plane. Like, fuck it, we're gonna go from fucking 0 to 100, and like, we're not letting this fuck up our vibe.
Yep.
That didn't work out. There weren't any private planes available. We had to go all the way to LAX. We were at Burbank. It turned into a fucking like 4-hour travel day.
Ugh.
I debated in my head. I was like, yo, I don't even know if I should fucking. The worst part was too. You know when you just make a flight. Like, if you've ever seen someone just make a flight, we just made this flight. So we came on the plane hyped up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we genuinely thought we weren't going to make this flight. We were like, fuck, like, we're going to have to book another flight, whatever. And we just made it. We were excited. Vegas is going to be dope. Bitch kicked me off. And then that weekend, the hotel thing happened.
You were triggered, pissed off from the plane incident, basically?
The hotel thing had nothing to do with being mad. It wasn't like I didn't do that in a fit of rage. I was happy. Like we were just sending it.
Right.
Yeah.
You had naked women in the hotel room?
No, there was actually no females present when we fucked up the room.
You were having sex with your friends?
Can you talk about are you allowed to publicly talk about the consequences? Because I think that's the most interesting part.
No, listen, it's been resolved with the hotel and casino. I'm 86 for life. I'm banned forever.
From which hotel?
Encore and Win, which is completely fine. Honestly, it sucks because it really is like the best one in Vegas. It's one of the best ones.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it sucks. But I'm 86 forever. It cost a lot of fucking money. I'm not going to talk about how much money it cost.
Damn it, that's the part I wanted to hear.
I'm not
I mean, I know, but
truthfully, to be honest, I don't know the total amount. That's what's so scary because it happened kind of a minute ago and they're still like
And they can tell you that they're charging you whatever,
listen,
right?
Listen. We're
It's
friends.
a $30,000 hotel room. Why not?
Like you said, 5,000 employees. We got people. We've been talking to them from the beginning. What's funny was like the aftermath, right? Like the immediate aftermath. Like I was like coming down from like sending it and fucking just being crazy, and like I kind of just realized what the fuck I did, especially with the window. The window was broke, so I was like, oh my god, like what do I do? Like how can I finesse myself out of this situation? Like what can I actually do right now? And I was with like 5 of my homies.
he went out and got duct tape.
No, listen, I actually, this is real. I was like low key starting to panic, and I was like, when it really hit me, like what I fucking did, I looked at my friends and I was like, yo, I got an idea. Like, you guys have to beat the fuck out of me and just leave me in this hotel room and bounce. And just fuck me up unconscious and just leave
That's
me
a good fucking
right?
plan.
And I was going to just be like, yo, I
That
don't
is
know
a
what
good
happened.
plan.
I was going to go for it. but they didn't want to be dragged in.
They're gonna look at the footage
No,
from
dude.
the hallway.
They're going to see who went into the room.
Time out. There's no fucking cameras in hotel room hallways. It's against the law to put hotel.
Yeah, there is.
Bro,
See them all the time.
No, bro.
Yeah, there is.
What's
No,
his
there
name? The
isn't,
basketball
bro.
player who got caught fucking some
Well,
girl
that's
after
why.
the club out here and
That's
shit,
why,
right?
though, because the camp. I don't know. I don't.
No,
think
no,
all-
there is
Think about how
because
many
they got the
politicians and
shooter.
famous
Remember the
people would
shooter
be-
in Vegas? They got him the security footage in the
Well,
hallways.
security footage in like the public hallways, not in room like residential hallways.
I feel
You know
like in
what I'm saying?
Vegas, the security's so good that they might even be able to tell
Nah,
just
Vegas
based
is
on
a
who's
different
getting on the
level.
elevator
No,
and
so
shit.
why I know I'm banned in '86? Like I couldn't even walk in and like it's not about me booking a room. Like, dude, they have the facial recognition because all the gambling and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, they'll fucking see my like. So, I'll walk. They told me like the people who are in Vegas and a bunch of my friends who spend a lot of time in Vegas. They told me it would take 15 minutes for them to. A group of security guards to approach me.
You also been wearing the same hat every day for the last 10
Facts.
years. They're making it easy on them.
True.
I have like 50 of them.
And you're like
Amongst
7
you.
feet tall, so.
Yeah. It's,
You open
But,
your
like, even
closet,
when-
it's just all the same
one
thing
I-
over and over.
One thing I was thinking about though, like how old do I have to get for them to like not be able to recognize me anymore?
Well, you could probably
think
get a
I'll be
nose
good in,
job.
like 10 years?
Get a nose job. Boom, you're back.
No, I mean,
Or should I just
I'm pretty
change my-
sure
change
from
my whole-
this is how I would do it, right? Vegas is trying to get into esports. You own the
Yeah.
biggest esports org in the fucking world. This is just going to be politics. This is going to be like, you
Wouldn't
know.
it be fucking happy?
This is a story of the rich get special favors. You're going to get a special favor. You're rich and famous.
1%.
Time out.
Well, I'm not rich.
No. That's not what I was gonna say. I am fucking rich. That's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is that's not always the case, dude. Like, let's talk about the Jarvis thing for a second. Like, a lot of people were arguing like he shouldn't get special treatment because he's fucking famous or whatever.
There's going to be a lot of people watching that have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay,
Let's give a
whatever,
little backstory.
whatever.
So,
gonna go
Jarvis
take a
is
piss.
Jarvis is a Fortnite
Bro, that
YouTuber.
shit was huge. Everyone knows about that.
Not everyone.
Bro, what do you mean?
If you
TMZ pulled
don't
up-
know anything about this Jarvis getting banned in Fortnite, type of one in the chat. There's gonna see some
It was
ones.
huge, kid.
Not
That shit
everyone
was
knows.
huge.
You should give us some
you
backstory.
know
I'm
about
just saying.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
he was
everybody's
using
heard about it. It was a big fucking thing.
he was like cheating on Fortnite, but for like not to win,
Parody,
but
yeah.
to like to do like a
Like,
parody.
just to make a
Parodying
video.
content, and he didn't hide it. Like he showed himself cheating on the game. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
lots
Like,
of ones. But go ahead.
Yeah, they're fucking trolling. Like, listen,
Keep trolling, boys.
Jarvis was cheating. He was cheating. He was. I mean, before any of this came out, he was openly admitting to cheating. He showed himself cheating on the game, and he was making videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Got banned, lifetime ban. And the only reason why I even brought this up, the only point I was trying to make was, in his case, being famous and being a fucking figure, like, fucks him. Because if anybody else were to cheat on the
Other
game,
people have done it and they haven't got banned.
okay, but even they do the exact same thing Jarvis does. They get lifetime banned. You can't fucking stop somebody from playing Fortnite anonymously.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
You don't need to. Your fucking identification is not connected and linked to your fucking Fortnite account. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, there's no way to actually lay the hammer down on that. But for Jarvis, like, he's a public figure, so everybody's watching what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he actually can't. So fucking little Jimmy, 12-year-old Jimmy, who fucking actually cheats on the game and actually does it to fucking beat kids and all that, he gets a lifetime ban and he laughs at it. I've been lifetime banned on games 10 years ago, and I laugh at it. I make a new account. Oh, I'm banned? All right, let me go make a new email. It takes 10 minutes, and I'm back on the game.
But is he going to be able to make a new account and just play
No.
on stream
No,
as
he
him?
can't make
No.
content. Any account that he ever makes or tries
Yo.
to play on, they're just gonna ban it.
Should we call? Do you want to call Bradley Martin about the
yeah.
Vegas thing? I'm gonna hit him up right now.
Why do you say
Not
Vegas?
Vegas. Not Vegas.
I say it that way?
It has nothing to do with
Yeah, I
Vegas.
know. I don't know why I said Vegas though. But
Vegas.
I say it that way. I don't know. It's weird.
Algorithm is the other word that you say wrong.
Wait,
You
how does
always
it
say
say
algorithm. It says algorithm. He acts like there's no fucking L.
I have an accent that no one else in the world
It's
has.
just saying it
Accents
wrong.
don't make you
No
just say
one-
words wrong altogether.
Hey, what's up? I'm on No Jumper right now, and we were just talking about the thing with Vitali.
Oh shit!
Do you want to talk about it or not?
You're on No Jumper right now.
We're
we're
live.
live.
We've
You're
already
live,
talked
bro.
about
You're
it.
live.
We've
You're
already
live.
talked about it,
People wanna
but
hear it.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Is it live?
Yeah.
yeah, we're live right now. You're like people
Oh,
can
so
hear
I-
you right
so,
now.
Hey, it's Adam. I said what up?
What up, G?
I should have texted you first and warned you before I called. I'm sorry.
That's all good. What's good?
No, we're just like, what happened, right? Because like we heard a couple eyewitnesses talk about what happened between you and him, and we're just wondering on your take, like what went down.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think he was hyped. He was just hyped because it was the end of the fight. And I think he was trying to get on the stage or something like that, to do some fatality shit.
Yeah, he wanted to challenge Logan.
I don't know. I just know he wanted to get on the stage to do some shit. I know he had like his sweater on, like with his brand and all that stuff. I probably challenged Logan, and then I think he was like Snapchatting, yo, KSI's a bitch, fight me next. And then I was right behind him, so I was jokingly be like, what about me? Fight me. And then he turned around and got like real, like that's when that happened. He got real like kind of just too high energy.
Interesting.
And the thing is, he's my boy, but yeah, it was just weird because he stepped up. As you saw in the video, like the dude stepped up and like just
Wait, there's a
beat
video?
me in the neck.
There's a video?
Yeah, there's a video.
Where is the video online?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was about to post this shit tomorrow, but I was just lazy. I didn't want to have to edit.
Oh, we want to see the video so bad. Like I was sitting on the other side. I didn't see it. Banks saw it though, and some other
I
people.
was right there. Bradley, you're a fucking animal.
Beast.
Yo, Banks is there too?
Yeah, he's here too.
Oh, it's lit. Let's go.
What's up, baby?
Yeah, no, I'll
Bradley, would you ever consider doing a fight like what Logan and KSI did last night?
well, I would love to, but like I'm 260 up, so it's like there's not really a lot of.
You could fight Briggs.
I mean, isn't he a retired fucking UFC fighter?
No, Shannon Briggs.
Oh no! Oh, the fight the old dude?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, I don't know. I want to fight. I don't know. I'd like to. Honestly, I'll probably lose some weight trying to fight these guys.
Nah, you spent all those years building up all that fucking muscle, bro. You can't just let go of that shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I got a lot. I guess I can't just.
I got a lot.
It takes a lot of maintenance to keep that much fucking
He is
muscle on your
fucking-
frame,
he is
man.
Diesel. Yo, how dry were those taquitos last night? Fucking trash. Staples Center.
Which one? Oh, the taquitos?
God, they were so bad. How
They were
bad?
dry as fuck.
But yo,
Yo,
what?
wait, so are you guys on Melrose right now? I mean, are you at his spot right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're at the
yeah,
other
yeah.
spot. I can text you the address if you want to pull up.
I like slept the whole fucking day.
Yo, but isn't it weird how those
rolled out of
taquitos,
bed,
like, we all go to 7-Eleven and we don't order the shitty fucking taquitos, but then all of a sudden you're in a room where they're free and you just eat them. But when you're at 7-Eleven, they're like $1. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't understand
I've
why
ordered
we're
those
all
shitty
eating them.
taquitos plenty of times.
Yeah.
By the way,
they're
the
just
ones
different.
at 7-Eleven were better than the ones at the Staples Center.
Probably, I agree,
back
yeah.
that. I back
Yeah,
that
set up
fully.
a fight.
Shitty
Yo, set up a
7-Eleven
fight.
food's not bad.
Figure out who I-
Yo, we're gonna work
They're
on
not
it.
that
We're gonna
bad.
work on it. Roll by if you want.
Fuck, I live in the valley. I'm like fucking a whole.
Oh, yeah, that's-
day out
Oh,
right now.
shit.
How long you guys gonna be there for?
I about to like 6.
Yeah, probably like an hour, 30 minutes, something like that.
6:30.
Oh no, fuck. I'll send you this. I'll send you this clip though.
Yo, we'll brainstorm here and we'll figure out a good opponent.
Yeah, man. Think about it.
All right, see, man.
DJ Academics.
Yo, I was so lazy, like with that, dude. I need to
Like,
work
this is
out, bro.
Bradley.
Holding that phone that long.
Oh, your arm started? I thought you've been in the gym and you lose weight to fit into your
Nah,
suit.
all I did is diet. That's it. Like I just did diet.
dieting was
Thanks to him, dude.
the
Like you
IF
helped
shit
out with
works.
that.
Dieting is
kind of
most.
Intermittent
so-
fasting, bro. That's what it is.
Okay,
Listen,
yeah.
it's calories in versus calories out. I wish Bradley was still on the phone because he'll fucking tell you that. And I'm not like a
No
fucking fit-
carbs, and I eat within 4 hours of the day. That's
like a
it.
window.
Okay, and that's like the window where it's like
Yeah.
all you're eating for the day has to be
From like
within
2
those 4
p.m.
hours.
I've gotten up to like fucking fat kid status a couple times. I would do like 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. There's really only so much you can eat, and I would try to keep myself below like 1,500 calories.
But I did hit my goal,
and the shit
right?
melts
Yeah.
off. Bro.
So, and KSI won the fight. So last night I went out and had a fucking giant stack of pancakes. And it
Fuck
was
yeah.
the greatest thing ever, bro.
you deserve
Thing
it.
is,
Bro.
if
That
it's
was a win for you.
It's a once in a while thing. If it's not part of like a broader lifestyle change, it'll still be on the
Are
same track.
pancakes not the best food on the
They're not.
fucking
They're
planet?
not. We can get into this right now. They're not.
Yo,
French
fried
toast-
chicken,
French toast is
burgers.
better, waffles are better.
Okay. French
Carbonara.
toast are.
It's the worst out of the three, by far.
Falafel.
If you like,
I mean, I
if you
definitely
really
pick
like
falafel
pancakes,
over
you're a
all
fucking
that.
weirdo. That's how I feel.
Pancakes with real maple syrup. Have you ever had the wheat pancakes with real maple syrup? Oh, dude.
You're so white trash.
I fucking love it.
The best pancakes.
Waffles.
I'm
are
going to
those,
be Mary and Tana next.
Those shitty Crisco pancakes that are all like burnt around the edges and whatnot. Those are the only really pancakes that I think.
The ones that are pre-filled with the fucking little pancakes on the McDonald's.
You like those?
Oh, those ones.
When's the last
It's like
time
one of my-
everybody
Those
here
are
ate
the
McDonald's?
worst
It's one of my guilty
pancakes.
pleasures.
When's the last time you went to McDonald's?
Shit, right before I started this diet. That's my favorite restaurant. I love that shit.
Mickey D's, I don't know. A couple weeks ago, it's a good one.
Dude, the
It's a good
sausage
one to
egg
hit.
McMuffin, it's like a $2 or $1. I don't even know.
Breakfast
It's
is
like,
like
the
a totally
best
different
Yo,
thing.
it's a
restaurant.
really good Postmates option when you have a shit ton of hungry people at like fucking 3 in the morning. Like,
When you're ordering Postmates
it
for
gets there in
fucking 20
15
people.
minutes and it's fucking cheap.
But that's what's so baffling about the fucking Cloud House is that you're really hanging out there with like 20 fucking people.
Yeah. And then there's another house 2 houses down.
You have your own house that's separate from the Cloud House that
From-
is more
no.
chill.
No, my house is the Cloud House, and then 2 houses down is the Faze house. It's strictly only Faze guys that live in there.
Okay, and so you
Then
sit.
my house is like the Nelk Boys, Rice. Who else has been
Oh,
staying there? What?
I got the video.
He's been staying there.
I don't know what to do with it.
Can we just watch it real quick?
Yeah. This is.
Whoa,
let
no,
me do
I need
this.
to-
Should I? How do I?
You want to email it?
I
to,
want the fans to see it. I don't want the fans to get fucked over.
Is it? It's not a real fight like that.
No,
I
no,
should be
dude,
worried
dude,
about
dude,
showing, right?
You're gonna witness him.
Let's
get
watch it
rocked, but
first. Let's watch it
Let's
first.
Previewing it for you guys. That good?
Ooh, yo, no, it's not. This video's not that good because it's not in frame, but you can tell.
It looks good.
You can tell.
I'm saving the video, and
I mean,
then
you can
who do I
clearly
send
tell
it
what
to?
happened.
What's the email?
It's exactly the way I described it too.
I'll type it in if you
Pushes
want.
his
one
neck. I
minute.
told you, bro. That shit was crazy. Can you see me in the frame? That's a good clip.
Bradley Martin beating up fucking Vitali is like a fucking wet
Figure out how
dream.
to email it or whatever.
Whoa! I just saw the swing real quick.
You,
That was
you
intense.
have beef with Vitaly?
No, I just feel like Bradley beating him up would be. It's
Vitaly's
just-
one of the fucking funniest people.
Yeah,
I've ever met.
Vitali's a good dude. I
He
like
is a good guy.
Vitali.
He is a good dude.
And you know what? He's fucking broken a lot of barriers on the internet. Let's be real.
like T.I.'s daughter's Hyman.
I can always get behind
True.
a villain too on like a
Would-
YouTube
would-
channel.
How?
Like he's a villain for the right
When your
reasons.
daughter's
He's
18,
never
are you
done
going to be
anything
going to the gynecologist, like inquiring about her hymen, like T?
No, no,
Never.
No, I don't even want to have this conversation. No.
Isn't that the weirdest thing ever?
Dude, like, bro, I saw that and I don't fucking know.
So
dude.
what?
Ti, he.
Wait, what
I'll let
happened?
him explain it.
Basically,
I don't know what
he
you're
said that he still goes to the gynecologist with his daughter every year after
To
her birthday.
have her inspected to see
ha-
if she's a virgin.
To have the doctor inspect and make sure she still has her hymen, even though like you can lose your hymen from various other
Yeah,
sports
tampon-
activities, stuff
tampon
like
and
that.
shit, too.
And I mean, now the argument everybody's having is like, this is invasive. This is weird shit to be doing to an adult. And I guess it would be one thing if she was 16. She's 18.
Oh
Listen,
shit,
Yeah, she's an
she's
adult.
18.
I think-
Listen,
right?
it's still a fucking huge invasion of privacy
Yeah.
to even do that to them at any age. That's weird.
The weird thing about it, though, and I think it's interesting that this conversation is now happening because of this, is basically like when you're a dad, how do you continue to have this conversation about like what is appropriate or what's okay sexually in the modern age where we all want to be open-minded and stuff? I mean, Keem's the only one with a daughter, and he clearly doesn't want to talk about it from his
No.
perspective. But I think it's interesting because T.I. clearly has crossed the line and advocated doing
Here's
something
the
that is.
thing. Here's the thing. A father like should not be involved in those conversations or discussions at all. Like fucking dads should have that conversations with sons. Mothers
What
should
if you
have
don't-
those
what if-
conversations with
single
daughters.
dads out
What
there,
if they
though.
don't have a mom?
In that scenario, you have to. But I'm saying like,
Listen, I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm gonna break it down to my daughter like this. If I have a daughter, I'm gonna tell her this. Listen, you're a girl, and that makes you different from boys, obviously. And in the social sense, dudes will fuck anything, anywhere, anytime. Men are dogs, and they love pussy, and they will say anything to you to receive your vagina.
But the biggest
should pay
hoes,
attention.
this is getting really fucking
the
weird.
biggest
pay
hoes
attention
that we
to
know
receive
probably
your-
are,
I
a
wouldn't
lot of
say
them
like
probably had a dad who
I
said
wouldn't say-
something like that to them, though.
I
The
wouldn't
biggest
say it like
hoes
that.
we know.
I wouldn't say it like that. But I would say, listen, no, this is actually some profound shit. I would say, pay attention
You
to
said
what
it
they're
like it was
saying
an
to you.
Amazon delivery to
I would
receive
just
your
not want my daughter to
vagina.
be a slut. I would tell her to be careful. I would tell her to make him wrap that dirty dick up. I'd tell her, pay attention to more what he says to you when you don't let him have sex with you.
But
That's
what if she
probably- that's probably
graduates
closer to how he actually feels?
She
about
graduates high school and she tells you she wants to start a private snap.
Oh no.
There's nothing you can do to stop her.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
These are the things that happen. This is what T.I.'s worried about.
I don't know. But those are the ones, the overprotective, overbearing. Those are the ones that the girls break through and then they're free. And
You
they
forever
fucking,
hear that. How many girls do you
No,
know that
that's
were
the
like,
one.
"Oh, I'm a huge slut, but I went to Catholic school, and that's what made me into a slut."
I mean,
That's-
it is
you hear
a-
it all the time.
It is a weird scenario. Like, I mean, you do like basically porn and shit. It doesn't affect you, but some other people like they do that, and then they're kind of cut off from everything else because of that. You know.
That's real.
Anyhow, let's play this.
Do we have this pulled up on OBS so they can see it? Cool. Filming a GoPro. Look at that. Whoa. Whoa.
Yep.
Look at. Wow.
He's not fucking around. Look at his face.
Bradley
like that's
looks
not a joke.
Serious. Look at the way he puts his hands around his neck. What's that supposed to do? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the dude. Yo, that's
The
the
fake
dude who
Jake Paul
actually
right
has
there.
it. Yo, try to get his footage. That's his name's John something. He does like camera work for them.
He's a fake Jake Paul.
He's in Team 10.
I know. He just looks so much like Jake Paul. That it's like I thought it was Jake Paul when he walked in with Tanner.
That kid.
That looks like
Dude, you guys
Cole.
wanna hear a funny story about that
Is
kid?
Cole over?
Yo, listen.
Dude, he's fucking canceled. Fuck that clown. Oh, son of a bitch.
That kid pulled up to my house a long time ago with like a clout gang rap on his car.
Ooh, classy.
And he was like, I admire the ambition though, because he fucking found a way to get involved in shit, and he's got a job now and shit.
Oh, we could call Vitali. We could call Vitali.
I'm interested to hear what he has to. He's probably gonna be like, yo, I was being a dick. Like he's probably.
Yeah, I'll text
He
him.
probably knows.
We gotta ask him, how do you feel about Bradley Martin beating you up? That's what we all want to know.
That was hectic, man. But they dapped up after they're supposed to be homies. Like, you know what I mean? The Nelk Boy crew, like, they fucking, you know what I mean? Vitaly, they've been fucking with Vitaly for a minute.
Vitaly has such a weird website where he doesn't actually fuck the girls, but they're like nude pranks.
I met one of them the other night at a
pranks
club.
like what?
Yeah.
He makes like naked girls eat worms and shit.
Shut up.
I met one who just shot the day before at a nightclub.
Was it Maddie?
No, I don't, dude.
Her Instagram name is just @Maddie, and that's the girl that he had with him yesterday.
You know how many
It was-
Maddies and Jesses and fucking.
But she's
What
wearing the
happened to
shirt.
his girlfriend?
Vitaly
Maddie
had
is
one?
the name, by the way.
Yeah, the
That's
blonde
name.
haired girl. That was his girlfriend, right?
No.
know.
I don't know.
Oh.
What about when him and Fusi went to Colombia and were fucking prostitutes or whatever that crazy ass beef they had was all about?
Shit. Yeah.
We never really figured
Look,
out that.
People are sickos.
I believe everything, not everything, but most of what Vitali said about that situation. Like Vitali was like, yeah, Fuzi was fucking hookers too. Like, what are you saying?
But do you believe that Fusi's addiction that he's always talked about is prostitutes?
Yeah.
Well, shout out to him though, because I think that's nice and healthy.
Yeah,
mean-
I do.
Prostitutes or pussy?
I think it was probably prostitutes.
Addicted to. You could be addicted to prostitutes.
That's what it kinda
I
seemed
find
like.
it very, very strange when someone is like famous, you know, young, and they're buying prostitutes. Like that just seems.
But I understand how he
strange.
gets there because it's like you all of a sudden find yourself in a situation where it's almost impossible for you to start like real human connections with women, and then all of a sudden it's like you have this crazy sex drive. For somebody like him, it's like the easiness of the transaction. I feel like if that was his addiction, I understand.
Just because you're rich and famous doesn't give you the automatic ability to like you said, connect with a girl and make them want to fuck you.
Austin does a great job. McBride.
McBride.
What do you think his
McBroom?
deal is? You think he likes fucking prostitutes, or you think that he just?
Nah.
I don't know.
It's
Just
IG
pulling
models.
pussy, right?
It's IG models.
But what's that like? What are those conversations like? Like, is he getting them to sign a fucking NDA before he even starts DMing them? How does he meet the girls? That's what I want to know.
What is the latest on all that shit? I really have not been paying
There's
attention.
there's some private stuff, but it's private. But like for the public stuff, everyone already knows everything.
Well, everything,
But
what's
there isn't a girl actually accusing him of rape, right?
Well, the girl did come on the record and say that shit did not happen.
I will. This is what I heard. Okay. Last night, someone came up to me at the VIP party and said, "This is bullshit. It's not real. Those girls are lying. Those girls, you don't have to do whatever." Right. Another person came up to me at the VIP party and said, "The story is real. They actually were raped. This did happen." So it's who knows? No one was in the fucking room. No one fucking knows. You know, obviously, you know, people are going to say like, well, why are these random Instagram models on a boat with Austin in the first place? Like, what is the angle here, right?
Right.
So, I mean.
So do you believe that they have a fake relationship and that they're just like, at this point, basically two hot people that have had some kids together and they're faking a
they
relationship
have
for
made
YouTube?
so much money,
Exactly.
and they're so like, why?
I will say
it's
this.
dumb to get a
I will
divorce. It's
say
done
this,
to
I will
break
say this,
up.
If I was in that deep and I came to the realization with my partner that we weren't like in love anymore, and I really don't want to fuck with you forever, and you don't want to fuck with me forever. But we got this crazy fucking thing that we just built, so let's just keep that rolling. I think I would do the same thing. I don't know if that's
film
the case.
a couple videos a
I'm saying
week.
for me,
You do these ridiculous brand deals, all this crazy shit. Your social media is insane. It's because like if you erase her from the situation, then he's just a regular guy who's kind of going out and partying and meeting chicks.
Yeah. Well, if it's easy to jump to the money thing, like, oh, they're making so much money, they have to stay together. We also have to remember there's 2 kids involved. Maybe it's stay together for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of different
it's really
angles.
deep. Like that's
right?
really a deep thing.
Or maybe they are still together. Maybe he really cares about her and she cares about him, but he also wants to just fuck a bunch of random girls on the side. And
Like Jake Paul?
And she's kind of okay with it. Well, Jake and Tanner are fucking.
No, I'm talking about Jake and every other girl before.
That just happened. Like that's a very dude thing. Like that could be a thing too. Like we don't know. I don't even really know. I don't know. I'm just saying if I had built what they had built, I'd want to preserve that and continue with that. Why the fuck not?
Why,
If we can make it work, you know what I mean? Like that's the fucking that's the T.
We're not going to talk to Vitaly?
I text him. If he texts back, yeah.
That would be a really
Hit the
incredible one.
bathroom.
Justin, you going to take a shit?
You know, did KSI miss a fucking golden opportunity last night? He could have fucking called out Justin Bieber.
Oh my God.
He could have. It would have been the fucking headline around the world.
Do you really think Justin Bieber would do that?
No, but
no,
it's a news angle, right?
I
Justin
think
Bieber
JJ
came out and said that he would fucking fight Tom Cruise. Okay,
JJ
Justin Bieber's been going on Instagram over and over again saying Logan's gonna win, Logan's gonna win. Dude, JJ should have pulled that card last night. He should have. He should have challenged Justin Bieber.
That would have been good.
I love that you call him Justin Bieber.
I have to say Bieber because people like, haha, Bieber.
When they were interviewing me on the thing, I thought about saying Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself just to
Oh,
do
shit.
a meme. But then I was just like, I just didn't have it in me. But whenever you go to these kind of things, like, is there part of you that's just thinking like, how do I go
I will
viral here?
attend your funeral. I will attend your funeral.
You will.
Yeah, I'll be there.
How do I go viral here?
Will you stream it live?
Yeah, actually. If I die early, I want it to be like fucking stream lived everywhere. I want everybody
That's
to
on the
bootleg
record,
it
it's
too.
happening.
On the
I want
record,
everyone
yeah.
to
If I
bootleg
die
it.
early, yeah.
Would you rather die old when nobody cares about you or young when you're still popular?
I don't want my death to be a spectacle.
sure. But if I die when I'm young, I want it to be a fucking spectacle. I want it to be a fucking circus.
For the record, too, I want my shit to be if I die young, I want it to be a full-blown party.
I want people fucking outside on the
I want
street
my homies to throw the craziest party. that's
selling
ever been.
T-shirts
Can I get a
and
Red Bull?
popcorn.
You guys want Red Bulls?
Yeah, that
Or
would be
G Fuel?
I'll
Red
have
Bull
some G
or
Fuel.
G Fuel.
Yeah.
Hey, can I get the gallon of water too while we're at it? These chips are making me thirsty.
Yo, can we bring
asked him
Nerd
for
City
chips,
on a
so
little bit to
Let's
talk
do it.
about
yeah.
YouTube?
Let's get Nerd City on here.
Can we talk about?
Oh, fuck it. Who don't care?
Yeah, can we just talk? Because recently there's some shit coming up with YouTube that nobody knows about, right? And it's called this COPA thing, right? And so
Well, let's let him sit down.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
knows
yeah.
all about it. I don't know
Yeah.
shit about any of this stuff.
I want to hear a little bit about it.
We're gonna drink Red Bull and we're gonna get methed out. Yo, this is. Oh my God, look, this is clearly leaking. You gotta throw that in the sink. Take it. Somebody.
I don't like Red Bull.
Can I have
It's
one?
leaking everywhere.
Can I have that?
Lou, just take it and put it in the sink.
Can I crack this one?
Yeah, you got it.
Do you have any G Fuel?
Oh yeah, and I need another.
I only drink
Yo,
the
Lou,
healthy
take that.
energy
It's pouring
drink
out.
option. Code Keem.
Just throw it in the sink. And can I get another one? And can I get a Red Bull? How did the water have a fucking hole in it? And how was it not already leaking all over my office?
Call Justin. Yo, you got Justin's number,
You
right?
have Justin Bieber's number?
Yeah, you
I actually do.
Yeah, call him. Let's get his take.
I'm not calling him.
Text him,
I'm
see
not
if he wants
homies
to come
with-
on.
I'm not homies with him.
Do you think Justin Bieber, like, they paid his rate for him to show up?
No. He hates the Mayweathers. Absolutely hates the
you.
Mayweathers. There's beef.
Can I get a Red Bull too?
And that's who trained JJ.
Just knowing how the Pauls are, like, I wouldn't put it past them to be like, give him $250,000 to show up and then make 2 Instagram posts.
Now, you know what? I was with Mike while he was on the phone with Logan when Justin Bieber made that hard post about the fight and like posted Logan, and Logan was tripping. Like you could tell it was like out of nowhere. I think it's organic. I think it's authentic.
Well, what does that say to YouTube's credit then? That like if Justin Bieber is using the Pauls for relevancy, that's pretty cool for the platform, then.
Bro, YouTube. Everybody who spends a significant time on the internet like pays attention to this
they watch
this
us.
community that we built. Like,
it hasn't always been that way.
Like the Drake story that I told. Like he fucking. A while back, like when all that Jake and fucking Team 10 shit was happening with me, he would call Chantel and be like, yo, like, cause they're homies. He'd be like, yo, what's good with this like Jake Paul dude and this Faze Banks dude? Like, what's going? Like, they keep up to date with it. They like,
of
they
course,
pay attention to
and
it.
100%, Drake knew about this FouseyTube thing. He had
Of
to
course
have,
he did.
right?
Just
And of
watch
course
that
he
from
was
afar.
like just
His people probably told him like, yo, you don't want to be anywhere near this.
exactly.
Don't comment. Don't do. You're just. Fucking
Everybody who knows Drake says that Drake knows about everything. Like he knows about the little controversies and the little weird artists
Well,
that say something
he
about
slipped
him.
into the ninja thing before that was a big thing, and like
Yep.
kind of made that kind of attach his name to that. Drake's a smart dude, clearly.
He's the king of getting in at the right moment, early enough to like
Yo,
help brand
I've seen it
moments.
time-
Drake
again.
shouted out Friday Fortnite, my Fortnite tournament. Like that was just fucking awesome.
I've seen it time and time again with artists too. I know you know what I'm talking about. Like the upcoming like guys, like he'll come in right before they really blow the fuck up and put them on a song.
And he'll buy lyrics off
and
of it.
and he'll and he'll push it through and like. You know what I mean? It's a good look for him because it looks like he's breaking motherfuckers. Like,
We've had. Sorry to cut you off. I want
that's
to change
cool.
gears now
Does
that
he
we got
follow you
nerds
on
sitting
Instagram?
here.
Drake?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Follows
You know who
me.
followed me today? Juice World.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
speaking of Juice World,
Didn't
I'm
know
so
that.
glad you left that clip up. Right? I don't know. I don't know
Ooh, here we go. Right back to YouTube.
Yeah,
What
that's some
clip?
good shit.
What clip?
There was a clip of him talking to
Susan.
and we actually ended up cutting it out of the video, I believe. But then I think we also like sent it to people and shit so we could spread
I got
it.
one.
Because Juice WRLD's team was pissed about the fact that we had that footage of him talking to Susan, and she said, she's like, "Oh yeah, how many subscribers you got? Oh, we got to help you get your subscribers number up." And people took it to be like this nefarious thing where she might be like helping to cheat the system, which I took it as like bullshit banter, to be honest. But
I don't know. To me, that's the first time it was documented. What I feel like we've all known is that some people are getting picked as the winners and losers on YouTube.
It's
and
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can argue that. They're clearly biased. And
Yeah.
They clearly lean toward a side, and it's kind of unfortunate.
And
but-
I've seen it in person before. No one was recording it, but I was at VidCon. I was standing next to a former Viner. You know, during that invasion where they were coming in, and basically YouTube
The
like
invasion.
YouTube saw them like free agents that they could grab for cheap. You know, like
Yeah.
let's keep them happy, let's throw traffic and money at them, make sure that this is their new job. At least that's how it looked. And I was standing next to a former Viner, and a YouTube executive came out of a locked side door. I mean, this sounds like a ghost story.
No, I
they
believe
popped out of a side door, came up, and I was standing close enough to him that I could hear it. Handed him a card that had YouTube on it. And he goes, "We're big fans of yours. If you ever need any money, you know, ever need anything, just please call me. We're huge fans of you at the office. Let me know. We can do whatever you want." And he dipped out immediately. And that was basically what Susan did to Juice WRLD. And no one other than Juice WRLD liked seeing that conversation.
Right.
Because what that implies is like we're not all playing the same game. Some people are getting a boost.
But we know that there are people who are being given money by YouTube to start channels at times strategically, and probably like big organizations as well. Like they did it early on in a limited fashion, and there was like, oh, we're going to give these 100 channels like budgets to create channels, and almost none of them did jack shit with it, which is kind of like an early
Phil
example.
DeFranco did. He made some moves.
He was one of the early ones who got the funds.
Yeah. He got some funds to open SourceFed, and then so what he did is he blew up SourceFed and then sold it to Discovery. And then when his contract was running up, allegedly, let me say allegedly in case I get one part of the story wrong. It's been a while since I looked at it. And when his contract was up, right, because he didn't own his own channel, he started this campaign. Like he went on H3 and he was like, "Hey, I just want to make sure if I'm not on my own channel and I start a new channel, will you guys like go ahead and sub to it, right?" So he was starting this thing where like his channel was going to die without him there, and then he fucking negotiated to buy his own channel back for Discovery, making a huge fucking profit.
So he like tanked it and then bought it when it was.
Yeah, he fucked everyone else because we're not. How is it? It's going to be hard in the future for us to sell channels now, you know. Which you can't sell a channel. How you have to do it is this, right? You have to create a business that owns the channel, and then you have to sell the business. That's the only legal way to do it. You can't actually sell a channel.
But then you can like completely change the name of the channel and the content and everything.
Yeah.
Happens all the time, probably. Which is kind of shocking.
Do you think that Will Smith's YouTube channel has boosted his ability to get movies again? Like, I feel like he's headlining blockbusters again right after all those memes about how irritating he was in YouTube Rewind. It's like, is he relevant enough from that, like getting memed on that
Will
they were
Smith's
like,
a legend for
He's a legend. It's so
But
hard.
he was
like it's
fading though.
It's,
you know?
He's a good.
it's
he's a
hard
pretty
to
good
make
actor,
that fucking. It's hard to ever say Will Smith is fading, right? I think it's a hard argument to make. I think, you know, with YouTube paying all these celebrities and stuff to make a YouTube channel is just dumb. What they should be doing is paying the people that are already here and been here forever that are still doing well, and then make it very public, right? So like it attracts more people to come and grind, you know?
That's the question, though, is like, well, but the thing
Voice
with
crack.
Will Smith would do great on YouTube no matter what.
Yeah.
But I do think that then once he starts doing good, and I do believe that they probably also went super out of their way to make his shit blow up. Like, they're not going to just let Will Smith come out and just put shit out and not go viral. Like, they're going to fucking drive traffic to that because it's as easy to them as flipping a switch, you know? Yeah. And
Well, the angle is get the celebrities on there and then go to the advertisers. Look, we got Will Smith. You're really gonna pull out from advertising on
Fuck
YouTube.
the
So they're
advertiser. I feel like they're all so behind. Like as far as mainstream shit, what's okay to attach your brand to? Like this shit's changing fast. YouTube and the internet. This is the mainstream. Like it is becoming the mainstream. And 10 years from now, like the internet, we're all gonna be living in the fucking internet. Never mind just like partially living in the internet. It's like, I don't know.
I want to do a series that really breaks down like how effective influencer marketing is.
It's the only way to go. It's
Yeah.
the best. It's the hardest, especially like on platforms like YouTube. It's so intimate and it's so real.
how much you think Shane Dawson can get from like the Honey browser or whatever?
A
One of his
fucking
Now?
dumb amount of money. A
just
dumb
in
amount.
general.
maybe $1 million. He made $30 million
Good for
fucking
fucking him.
dollars.
Good for him.
Congrats, Shane.
Shane,
Shane's a great
triple
guy.
OG.
I fucking love
30
him.
million off what?
Off his
The
makeup.
Wow. Off just this
At
recent
least,
drop.
Yeah.
Recent
bro,
drop
at
was 30
least.
Yeah,
my
30 mil.
God.
That's my rough estimate. Those aren't
Dude,
hard
dude,
fucking.
dude.
That's not like Shane told me that.
Bro,
That's my estimate of
Yo,
watching
listen,
the doc.
listen.
And
From somebody who has experience in like really good days. And when I say that, I mean like you do like the Faze championship was a good fucking day for me. You know what I mean? It was a multi-million-dollar day for me. And for my team or whatever. When the Nelk boys do their merch, they fucking kill it. You know what I mean? They have really good days. And I know what those days look like financially. I can only imagine like the fucking Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star shit. Like I can only imagine what kind of day that looked like.
if I'm off on my number,
that's-
it's only going to be 10 mil. So it's either going to be 20 or it's
Does
going to be
anybody
40.
still to
I'm
this
only
day,
10 mil
to
off.
this day while we're on that whole makeup like community, fucking glam community subject, does anybody know how much Tati Westbrook made on those vitamins? How much money she
That
made?
pissed him off so much.
It made me really fucking
Is she
mad.
uploading again or is she still going?
No, she came out with a beauty line.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming out with my own beauty line
Are you
soon.
really?
Yeah,
I was going to
really
ask
am.
you about that.
I
Was
really
that
am.
was that a troll or what?
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. No, it's dead serious. Yeah.
That's good luck with that.
I mean, you starting one makes about as much sense as Shane Dawson doing it, right? Because I didn't watch any of those videos, but he doesn't wear makeup, right?
Well, look, Shane Dawson did TanaCon, right? Huge success, big fan. So I made the FouseyTube documentary. He came out with a beauty line, huge success, and now I'm coming out with my own beauty line. Like,
You're just following
really,
the footsteps?
I'm following the footsteps of Shane Dawson. He is like a leader in many senses on YouTube, and he's
Shane
paving
Dawson.
the way for other people, you know? And
Your audience is probably like 80% male, right?
yeah, and they're gonna
His
buy this
probably-
makeup. They're gonna
their
buy this
girlfriend?
makeup.
I think you might single-handedly kill YouTuber palates forever.
No, it's going to be amazing what I come out with, and I cannot wait for everyone to see it. It's Keem Cosmetics with a K.
Everybody wants to talk about Faze Rain.
Oh, Rain. I did see a few comments about that. Rain's doing better.
Much better.
He had a little bit of a. Listen, I've had my fucking my moments too, where just like you're overwhelmed. People's lives, like, dude. Rain is someone specifically. Rain is someone who's been living his entire life on the internet since he was like 16 years old, and even before that, like his whole fucking life was still the internet. He played video games all day, so he's been sharing at pretty much like every major part of his life and his entire vibe, his whole adult life, and he's living in Toronto with his family. He's got a girlfriend, and he's just kind of in a transitional period right now, and a lot of just like outside things, like non-internet related things have happened to him recently that have like really just kind of fucking taken a toll on him.
Why can't kids smoke weed, right? Their brains are not developed. I think it's the same thing with fucking child actors and fucking kids on the internet. Like, just like
Rain's fine though. Like I've hung out with Rain the past like few months, like a handful of times. He doesn't live here, so it's like the World Cup thing, right? And then we all went to the Hamptons for a little while together. Some little like work summit thing, and like he's fucking together, you know what I mean? He's fucking still
I've
Rain.
talked to him.
He's still Rain. Like it's still like I'm talking to the same fucking dude, and like he's cool.
He's battling. I'll tell you the truth. He's battling some depression, and that just happens to the fucking best of us.
You get caught in this cycle, like, and you get. I've been in this place many times. Like you get in this mode where like it's hard to just fucking like face the day. Like you're dragging ass, and like that stuff you're like, why do I feel like this way? And it makes you feel worse. It's a vicious.
And I see a lot of people take like Rain's outburst or whatever on Twitter like so serious. No, it's not that serious. You wouldn't take anything when Fuzi was going through his shit serious, or when you were going through your shit.
Exactly.
The internet needs to chill and say, okay, he's like, obviously there's a fucking breakdown that's happening, and this is not serious.
Life is not just fucking. It's not just a straight fucking
roller
line,
coaster,
you know what I mean?
highs and
like
lows.
Like, and people are gonna make mistakes. People are gonna fuck up. People are gonna not feel great, and they're gonna all express that in a different way, and I'll take that on in a different way.
But do you think there's something specific about being a YouTuber where you spend all these years when you're younger or earlier in the platform where you just want this so bad? You just want to have these numbers, and you want to make this money and sell shit and be comfortable. And then you sort of get there, but then you also realize like, oh, now you have this lifestyle for yourself where you're basically just constantly doing this bullshit.
That's not even unique to YouTube. That's life for a lot of fucking people. Like,
look.
Like, hold on real quick. Like, almost in any way you could go in life, like, you want something. You think that you want something. You want the big house and the big car. How many times? I mean, it's so cliche, but like, you think you want all this shit, and at the end of the day, like, so many people get there, and they might have spent fucking 40 years of their life grinding to get there, and then they're there, and it's not as great as they fucking as they thought it would be. And at the end of the day, it's really all about just being happy. Like, focus on being fucking happy every day. Focus on being happy as much as you can. Don't fuck with anybody else's happiness, and protect yourself. That's what everyone's focus should be.
I feel bad for the good guy YouTubers that get nothing but love, right? Because like you get nothing but love. You have huge success. What are your goals now? Like, what are you trying to accomplish now? Like, you know what I mean?
Also the people who fall the
I
hardest.
need hate. I need people to fucking hate me. I need
people fall the
people
hardest,
to
though.
want me to fucking lose. I need it. Like, without it, my fucking car is running out of gas. That is my fuel.
It's very human to make mistakes. Like, everyone does. Everyone does in like this cancel culture shit. Like, I mean, if you fucking rape a girl or do some really slimy, shady shit, like, yeah, fuck you, like, go away. Like, nobody wants you to have any sort of success or whatever. But these like trivial mistakes that people make, like, as long as the person fucking responds in the right way and tries to fix that shit and like tries to be a better human every day, like, I don't know. I think it's fucking weird. It's super weird. It gets the best of a lot of people.
I mean, but there's something about you just sort of grinding away on YouTube that, like, and that's the whole thing about it too, is that everybody sort of starts to realize, oh, your spot's not secure, and in reality, it's like your views are probably going to start falling off if you just keep doing this. And there's like the realization as a YouTuber, and it's kind of like that specific effect that makes people fucking not be able to handle it, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine not being a YouTuber. You know what I mean?
There are certain YouTubers,
one day,
and you guys are friends with these people who, when they face that you know, okay, my views are starting to slump a little bit. They're willing to take the hate from everyone outside of their core fan base to drive media attention.
Right.
You know, they'll do something to piss everybody off. So it's like you can see that Tana and Rice Gum and the Pauls, they've all made that decision where like, I'm going to do something so outrageous that any passerby will hate this, but my people will get it's a joke. And like, I don't know, are you saying you live with that every day? Like, I'm okay with people, I want a lot of people to hate what I'm doing?
No, what I'm saying is like, I want people betting on me to fail so I can win, you know?
Well, as far as content,
winning
it's a really
winning when everybody wants you to win isn't a fucking win. Winning when fucking people want you to lose, that's a fucking win. That means something, you know?
I think it's a really deep. There's so many ways to like come at that question, and it's all unique to the person. I think that like my number one rule is like, if the content you're making makes someone feel bad, then fuck them. Like, if you're not hurting anybody, like, fuck them. I have respect for people who can do that as long as they're happy with themselves. Like, I think a lot of them do these things short-sighted for the short-term like gain of the views and stuff, and then they're like, man, everybody fucking hates me, and they probably feel like shit about that, like, to an extent. But if they don't, like, if someone doesn't like me, fuck them. Like, honestly, fuck them. Like, I'll put out and I'll be who I am, and the people that fuck with that energy, you're welcome to fucking join me, and the people that don't, whatever.
Yeah, where is the fucking content from you?
To fuck over other people for the purpose of like stirring shit up, that's whack. That's unacceptable.
But why do you not have to upload anything? You don't have to upload, and your fan base doesn't go anywhere. Keem, you and I clearly feel the other way.
I don't know.
If we don't upload for a couple weeks, we're going to start becoming irrelevant.
I actually don't give a fuck. Like, I actually don't give a fuck to be relevant. I truly don't. I don't care. It's not my life's work or my goal by any means. I do enjoy, like, I do get a sense of purpose, and like I do get genuine happiness from like a kid being like, homie, like, I fucking really do love the human you are, and I love watching your videos. When I get those kinds of comments, or I see somebody in the street and
that's great.
They give me that, like, it does make me want to make videos. And I do have fun making videos sometimes, whatever. And I'll go on these little sprees, and then some whack shit will happen, like the Tfue shit, and I was in the middle of a breakup with Alyssa. I don't want to fucking give that energy to people, and I don't, like, I'm not waking up the next day wanting to make a video. So yeah, I'm probably gonna just take another fucking fat break, and when I come back, if you fuck with me, then come fuck with me. If you don't, that's fine too. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think people appreciate that though. I'm not like, I don't wake up and want to make a video for the purpose of making a video.
I wake up every day just thinking I want to make shit and I want to keep this thing going. And that it's like, I know that if I slow down and don't put anything out for a couple of weeks, it's like I still have whatever level of notoriety and success that I have to whatever extent. But it's like, I'm going to see the lull in my analytics. I'm going to see the lull in my bank account. It's like I am every day so motivated to keep making new stuff, and it's just interesting to me that, but I guess you feel it because you're doing stuff on other fronts business wise.
Yeah,
for us it's kind of primarily
he's
the content.
never wanted to be a fucking YouTuber.
Never from day one.
Like, okay, he's in this Faze house over in England. What the fuck am I saying? New York, right?
Yeah. I was the only one who didn't upload.
He's the most, no offense to anyone else in there, they're the good entertainers, but he's the only one that doesn't fucking upload, and he's the most entertaining, most interesting person.
But see, we all lived together, and we would all be in each other's videos, and like, I would prefer to like put that in someone else's video, and if I had an idea, I would prefer to give it to them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You're a fucking good dude.
Thank you.
You're the real vlog squad.
You're a team dude, and you take care of the team.
What he just said, like, I find it impossible for myself to be motivated by any sort of personal thing. Like, I can't do things just for myself. Like, it really drives me to have a team. Like, when I have, like, say us four wanted to like start something together, you know what I mean? Like, and I really fucked with all you guys on a personal level, and I wanted to like get lunch with you guys every day and just kick it with you guys, and you guys are my friends, and I also valued what you could bring to a team. Like, you're smart in this area, and that starts to get me going, and then I want to contribute because I don't want to let you guys down or fucking slack on you guys, and like that team aspect of it drives me. The personal shit, not so much. I don't know. That's always kind of been how I am. And I'm really not bullshitting when I say like happiness is my, like, trying to be happy is my only driver. Money really even isn't, like, to an extent it has to be, like, but like I just want to be happy every day, and if making a YouTube video drives the happiness level in a down. If it trends down, then fuck that. Then fuck it.
Can we talk more about the YouTube stuff? Sorry.
What YouTube stuff?
Yeah, he got caught off.
yeah,
I just want to know about it.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What's happening with this next Adpocalypse?
But this is with the kids' videos?
Yeah, well, I guess we're seeing the results of
It's going to affect us too, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
we're seeing the results of the settlement between the FTC and YouTube, because they agreed that YouTube's going to need to take certain steps in the future to, to make sure that children aren't being targeted by
weirdos.
Well, you made an excellent video showing that fucking Jake Paul was literally breaking all kinds of FCC laws and stuff.
Yeah. So when I was researching the legality of his advertising, one of the things I kept finding out like over and over was that networks take it very seriously who the stated demographic is for their shows, and they'll even they'll make sworn statements that lean higher towards what the targeted demographic is for like Power Rangers or something like that.
Right.
They'll say this is intended for ages 13 and up,
You
because
can have a Bud Light commercial in a Power Rangers fucking movie.
Right.
Well, there are stricter rules for once you say that I'm making this content for 12 and under, and it's a self-reporting system from what I understand. So every children's show, the network has to say whether the demographic is for 13 and under or 12 and under, and so they'll usually skew higher, even though they know that some of their viewership is a lot younger. They might know that from who's buying the toys and from Nielsen ratings and things like that, but they'll always pretend this is meant for someone older. So one of the things that really I chuckled at was to see that Jake Paul was admitting that I'm making content for 8-year-olds, because he's just put himself in a category of content that has very strict regulations. So I wasn't saying at the time that Jake Paul was breaking existing laws that would cover YouTube.
But if there were laws.
Yeah, and that you should look at, because I've seen a few spaces come up online where they were in this gray area, this Wild West, and everybody felt safe, like cryptocurrency. Everybody was sure that Bitcoin had cracked the banking system, and like we're now unregulatable. Like this money is all dark money, and regulators basically just had to take an interest, and they started regulating your on-ramps into Bitcoin. So the money you take from the bank and you try to buy Bitcoin with, they have the banks looking out for that. And then also coming up with your own stock markets and doing what do they call that when you raise when you're raising equity for a launch of a stock? What is that called? Drawing a blank on
I
that.
forget, but I know roughly what you're talking about.
Rounds.
But it's only
round one, round
basically
two.
what you're saying is only a matter of time until regulation is put into place on YouTube
What are
videos
you
that
guys'
is far
opinion?
more effective and actually gets done what they want to do.
Can we jump to the end? Like, what could potentially happen to YouTube in 2020?
Well, just so
Let's get to the juicy drama
The point I was
part.
trying to get to was that look at applicable laws. Like even if they don't cover you yet, or they haven't been tested in court to apply to this new medium, look at what the close laws are, because those are probably going to be the ones that clamp down on you. Like if
I saw a video. This woman said that not just child YouTubers that make kid-friendly content, right? But us normal YouTubers could be fined $42,000
I've been seeing
if
that
kids watch our shit. Is that true?
How do you guys feel about just the general idea of regulating the internet? Because I don't think it's a possible thing, and I don't think that we should look through the same lens that we've always looked through, because the access to information and just we're all a click away from watching some really gnarly shit. You know what I mean? We're all one click away, a couple button presses away from watching a girl eat
it's just
shit
difficult to
out of another
monetize
girl's
those
ass.
things, because
No, I know it is. I know it is with the advertisements and stuff. I get that.
But let's be real, it's a lot harder to see some gnarly shit now, whereas on the internet 10 years ago, if you wanted to see some really disgusting illegal shit,
Justin
it wasn't
Wang,
that
that's your
hard.
cue.
Justin Wang knows all about that shit. But nowadays, all that stuff has kind of been pushed into the dark web, and if you really look at the software that they have to detect child porn and all this stuff that they don't want on the internet, they're getting really good at keeping that shit off the internet, and it's only a matter of time before the censors and the regulators take that same mentality and basically turn it to YouTube and say, okay, we're gonna actually effectively monitor
or the
kids.
internet as a whole?
Yeah. So
yeah,
okay,
I really did not want to invite regulation into YouTube. I hate having more laws, and So if we have to, submit our stuff to a standards and practices at YouTube eventually, that's a really dark scenario.
Yeah.
I don't want that, So
That's
part of
trash.
what I was doing with calling out Jake Paul was I was trying to appeal to him like, hey, scale this back a little bit. Like, this is so far off of what's legal
Right.
on television that don't ruin this for everybody, including yourself, and I don't know that he ever has. And now YouTube and the FTC are going to force him to. And him saying, like, he's going to have to make a hard pivot into saying that my content is now for 13 and up. Guess what? I'm rated R. Like, he's going to have to start saying things like that and not saying, I'm making content for 8-year-olds.
I think they both tried to make that move, Logan
Like
and
transition
him.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Logan's doing a really good job with that.
Well, that's the
by
really
the way.
weird
Logan was
part.
Surrounding
smarter
himself
about it from the beginning.
really
he
smart
said
about it.
that I'm
Logan's fucking smart. with
He's
that
like
shit.
21 and up is who I want to watch my content. He knew that wasn't
And
his
he
demo.
put Mike
but-
right next to him. And Mike's fucking gnarly. They're doing the podcast with no filter podcast and shit. I think Logan's doing a pretty good job at transition.
But that's the weird thing about being
Jake's not.
Jake Paul trying to be like a kid YouTuber, and when you've got Ryan plays with toys or whatever, all of a sudden Jake Paul starts to seem like an adult. So at some point, Jake Paul's content is going to have to get more mature, more adult.
Yeah.
And that is, we have no clue
Jake
that he's
does all
going to be
those-
able to maintain that sort of audience.
How fucking funny was it when him and Deji were going back and forth, and he was calling Deji the P word?
What P
He's
word?
like, you're a P word. He wouldn't say pussy because he makes kids content, so he kept saying, you're the P word. Like, it's just so fucking corny.
Well, Jake does all those little tricks to like get views real quick and stuff, in the little things like the thumbnail tricks and the title tricks.
I'm
that,
marrying Tana.
That appeal to and will attract the audience of like 12-year-old
collaborating
kids.
with family channels and pretending to babysit these famous babies. Like he's
Yeah,
done that
exactly.
with any
You're
famous.
gonna attract younger kids.
Mini
Yeah.
Jake Paul.
So you
like,
can't have both. You can't have both.
how
those
is
things.
fucking
Mini
weird.
Jake
To a-
Paul anything but a way for him to get
Yeah,
To appeal to
more
an older
kids
audience,
watching?
you have
Dude.
to actually make quality content, and you have to focus more heavier on that. And like, you can't do both.
The worst thing that Jake Paul ever did in targeting kids is he uploaded a fucking music video around Christmas time. And like the lyrics of the song was buy that merch, buy that fucking merch. And he was dressed up as Santa and shit.
The lyrics of
Like,
that,
that's
the lyrics of that
fucking-
song violated pester power laws in the UK. Like you're not allowed to tell children to tell their parents to buy you something. That's specifically illegal. And
Yeah,
he did that
like-
in that song.
Wait,
Go
wait.
tell your mama you
Repeat.
better buy it all. It's called pester power. It means like don't tell your audience if they're young to pester their parents. Like
you're not allowed to do
no,
that?
not in the
Dude,
UK.
can we
not in the
play?
EU.
Can we play that for a little bit? Like, you need to hear. Like, it probably.
I have to bounce in like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's fine.
same. I gotta get going.
For copyright's sake, we should probably not, right? Since
Oh,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
stay
that's fine,
live
that's
For
fine.
afterwards.
sanity's sake, I mean, geez, that's the buy that merch song.
No, but
I've heard that
I
too many
want
times.
people to fucking look that up and hear it because it's like so fucking wrong.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, it was
That,
just
that bothered the YouTube community pretty deeply.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people made videos about that, like trying to self-regulate a bit, being like, "Hey, we reject this kind of thing."
a
Like,
lot
this
of
is
that
too
kind of stuff
exploitive.
is it's taking things so far, and like Rice and Jake doing the ads for the fucking gambling website is similar shit, where it's like they're asking for it. Like, of course, eventually this kind of stuff was going to happen, but they're taking it to the farthest extreme, and they're really big names who are doing stuff that clearly at some point is
Yeah.
going to have to become against the rules.
I'm kind of free, like do whatever the fuck you want type of vibe, but like that fucking giveaway thing that they did where you had to follow all these accounts, and like half the accounts there was like
Yeah.
Swisher Sweet and like
oh yeah,
that's
That was a thing.
actually fully not cool.
yeah,
Like,
I know
that's
the
fucking that's
I know the
were alcohol,
details on
right?
that.
Like
What are the
Heineken and
details?
like you're to enter in this $1 million giveaway
Yeah.
when half of the eyeballs that are looking at this post are
Because
12,
what they do is
13-year-old kids.
they tell all these different brands like, oh, hey, give us $10,000 and we'll make you get a fuckload of followers. And then they tell
Like a
all their
pyramid
fans,
scheme type
hey,
thing.
follow all of these accounts, and then one of you is gonna win $10,000.
Yeah, Jake and
Meanwhile,
Tanner
they got
were-
$10,000 from fucking 30 brands,
and
so they make
one
a
of them
shitload
was
of money.
Swisher Sweets.
Yeah,
Like,
that
you
was a
know?
weird
like
decision.
alcohol
for them.
brands and stuff. That is fucking weird.
Because, and you know what's
That's
funny
fully
too
weird.
is that on the other end, my girlfriend, somebody was going to her like, "Oh, give us $5,000 or $10,000 so you can be part of this giveaway. You're gonna get hundreds of thousands of followers."
Everyone's trying to recreate that and do it. It's a big fucking scheme. That shit's
Yeah,
so
don't
weird.
do it.
And yo,
no,
those aren't real
some of the
followers,
companies
bro.
went. I know for a fact that some of the companies went to Jake Paul and Tana or whoever. I think it was Jake, right? He was the one that ran it, and Tana just helped out. They went to them wanting their money back because they were promised to get like at least 200,000. I'm just making up that number. I don't know what it was. They were promised a certain amount of followers, and Jake didn't even fucking deliver.
Really?
Yeah.
They probably did get followers, but let's be real. Those are the
It wasn't
least,
the amount that they paid
and
for.
those are the least interested followers that you could possibly
No,
get.
you
They're
don't
not gonna
want
be
fake
liking,
followers.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
gonna
want
fuck up
that.
your
No,
ratio, your
it's bad.
percentage of
It's
likes.
not good. It's not good.
I mean, best case scenario, I guess, is that if you are somebody who is like highly targeted to Jake Paul's demographic, that they might end up following you and liking you. But
Yeah, if
God,
you
what
were-
a stupid, weird way to get to that.
If you were Tanner Fox, maybe it would have been a
Right,
smart
right.
move.
If you're Tanner
right?
Fox, it would kind of make sense. Yeah.
Now that they've pulled public likes away, sponsors aren't going to be able to verify the engagement you're getting.
Well, the back end, you can
Back
fucking
end.
still show them.
That shit pisses me off so much because
They want all that shit anyway.
all the
anyway.
time I'll get a DM from somebody that's got 1 million followers and I'll look at their page and they got 200 likes on all their photos and I immediately write them off because clearly, even though you got 1 million followers,
don't remove the fucking likes, and I'll tell you why you don't need to remove the likes is because and Twitter's gonna do the same thing. They're talking about removing likes and retweets and all that shit, right? To show that you won't be able to see the number. You can still do
I
it, but
feel
you
like
won't be
this
able to
is
see
gonna be
the
one of those things where they reverse the decision on that. Pretty
Yeah,
quickly.
because look,
Honestly.
social media is a fucking video game, and everyone's trying to get the high score by getting the most subs, the most likes. People are motivated to put content out there to get that positive feedback, like back.
Maybe
you
you'll-
take that away.
Maybe
like,
you'll post more on Instagram. Like, would you post a couple of times a day to Instagram instead of
we want
once every
that?
couple
Do
of
we
days?
want that?
They want that. They definitely want that. And that's why, think about it. Most people, their Instagram account, they're only going to post a photo when they're like they look really cool. They got a cool new outfit. They're with somebody popular, etc. So they can get a lot of likes. Now you can't see the likes. So people are going to maybe be more
if I'm
motivated
on your
to just post like
Instagram
crazy.
and I notice that you post 6 pictures of yourself today, I'm probably gonna hit the unfollow.
I agree, but it's
You
going
know.
to change everything because
Yeah.
all of a sudden there won't be like an automatic reason to
I
not do
genuinely
that,
think
which
they're
is
gonna
worrying
reverse
about the
it.
likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this movement that's happening in big tech now where it seems like they're trying to increase quality of life of all the people who have got addicted to these apps. Like they're starting to get a conscience
For
about
that
it.
reason, I do think it's a good move. The game aspect of it is gonna fuck that all up, but they're like none of us are fucking 12, 13-year-old kids.
You heard the point that he made, though, right?
What?
The botters, the people that bought their shit, they're going to be hidden. Like, you're not going to be able to see the likes and know that they're a fraud.
But okay, think about
Well, on
how
the back
weird.
end you will be
Think
able
about
to.
how weird Instagram
Analytics
is.
will still be a
The
thing.
way Instagram incentivizes it is that I have way more reason to post a photo with Banks than I have reason to post a photo with Keem, then I have reason to post a photo with Justin, and that is just strictly based on who's going to get the most likes. And people are super conscious of that, and that's weird because that's not natural. Like I love my
Natural
mom.
to me. That's how I value
I love
everyone.
my mom more than I love you, Banks. I'm sorry. But if I post a photo with my mom, I'm probably going to get like 20, 30, 40,000 likes. If I post a photo with you, I'm going to get 150,000 likes. That's weird. That's the way that Instagram incentivizes us in weird ways, but I feel like them taking the likes away is going to be weird
I can
because
only-
That
you're not going to
seems
be able
so
to
natural to me. That
detect-
seems not weird.
detect who yeah, right. In a way, we've all accepted it as normal.
Right.
Yo, I even remember in high school and stuff, if I posted something on Facebook and it didn't get a lot of likes, I felt low-key kind of bad about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like it's a social, like, a social gauge that I don't think needs to exist. Especially
you've
with normal,
turned me.
No, with
I
normal
agree.
people, you know,
I
like little
agree.
kids.
I
can only
agree. I
imagine
agree.
like some of the
I've changed my
conversation and like
mind.
the bullying and stuff that goes on with like kids and like because kids are like not popping in their little group. You know what I mean? Fucking Derek gets fucking 60, 70 likes every picture, but fucking Henry only gets 2.
But you know what?
Henry's
The
whack.
argument is
You know what I mean? Like,
information.
because
because
we all
I want the information. If I did a painting on the wall and 1,000 people saw that painting and liked it, I would rather know that 1,000 people liked it rather than 100. And that is what you kind of get on social media. But just how valuable is that information?
So we've talked about some of the unintended consequences of them taking the likes away. Might be that people will post things that they know will not get that much clout. And we've talked about their public reason for why they're doing this. It might be to improve the kids' lives and reduce bullying. But everything comes down to money. Do you think that this really comes down to Twitter and Instagram and maybe eventually YouTube looking at the untapped market of influencers and integrations and trying to like weaken the influencer slowly, you know? So
Maybe.
Don't you think they probably look at this like, wow, what an enormous pie that we're getting no slice out of?
They definitely think of that to a certain extent, and but to what extent is that really going to change things? Because I feel like they're still going to be able to develop tools to really be able to tell how much play your posts are getting.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I mean, I wonder just how close this gets them to that future reality in which brand deals make more sense to do through Instagram than through the individual content creator.
What's the scariest thing is all the information they have on us. They have everything.
That's
They
wild.
know where
That's-
you are
that's
at
the
all
creepiest
times.
thing. I don't even
Bro,
wanna
and they're going to take all that information, every data point, wherever you've ever been, what your daily schedule is. They're going to take all that information, everything you've ever said on the internet. They're going to put it in a quantum fucking computer, and they're going to have so much goddamn data that they're going to, through probability, through math, when a quantum computer, they're going to be able to predict the fucking future and rule the fucking earth. That's why we need to make a quantum computer right now and start our own social media site and get everyone's data.
I'm so stoked. This just became the Joe Rogan podcast. So
Or we're
in a
gonna die.
simulation.
That stuff gives me serious anxiety. And on
Someone
that
is
note-
going to rule this earth with that, and they're gonna have everything, and we're all going to be dead.
Maybe they already did, and that's what this is. You're a simulation, and they've simulated
I'm out.
based off of everything.
No, but on that note, seriously, I think I gotta go.
Yeah, where you
Yeah,
going?
same.
I'm going to get food with some homies. I'm going to meet up with Tav and just fucking actually try to do some shit today.
Translation.
I
I'm gonna have
wrote-
sex with supermodels. That's what I assume you're
At
doing
some
all the
point-
time.
At some point. I'll
Licking
work,
tits.
I'll work that into
I bet
the
you
day.
lick boobs on the daily.
I like ass. I like to eat ass. It's 2019. You gotta get in there.
You need to go to the doctor.
I love you guys, yo. It's always fun. It's always
You're
fun.
leaving too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to eat too.
Justin, you want to get back in here?
Good to see you, man.
Yep.
Hop on, guys. Thanks for having us. It's always
No,
fun.
no doubt.
Yo, we're
Didn't even
starting
know
up
Banks
Mom's
was coming.
Basement. We're starting Mom's Basement again. You
It's
gotta
coming
come
back.
We're gonna do it very a lot more. We'll talk about it.
That's
off air,
one
but
big
we gotta
thing
bring
that a
you back
lot of
on.
people were asking about in the comments was
Yeah,
when
for
Mom's
sure.
Basement was
All
going
right,
to come
peace
back.
out,
That's so
guys. Thanks for
cool.
having us.
Nah,
Good to meet
much
both of you
love.
guys.
Appreciate you, Faze.
You want me to rotate to the other side of the table? So
No, we
it's
can
not
just-
like we're on a date.
Let's just plop Justin in over here.
All right, cool.
I have just a pile of empty bags of chips and stuff over here. Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh, okay.
See, I
Josh,
took a
you
bite.
brought those snacks? Why did you have those snacks? You already wanted to munch?
I thought these were gonna be the pickle chips, but then I took a bite out of it and it was lemon. Like, you ever bite into something and have it just be a complete different flavor from what you're expecting, and it's like a sweet flavor
Yeah.
when you're expecting fucking pickles?
You ever eat a meal in the strip club and it's dark as fuck, so you don't really know what it tastes
Just
like because
last
you
night.
can't see
Yeah.
something, then you can't really taste it.
Less than 24 hours ago, we just did that.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, like, we
$300
got like a
worth of
fucking
snacks.
smorgasbord at that fucking strip club.
What strip club do you guys go to?
Dames
Dames
and
and
games?
games, yeah.
Okay, my LA strip club knowledge is just actually dog shit.
Mm.
Somebody just suggested in the chat, you think you're the new Leafy?
The new Leafy.
No. No, I hope he's not.
No? Not willing to take that? Boom.
No,
Look at that.
I don't get it.
A little less
Why-
background noise. I don't know, because you're just a guy on the internet making
Yeah, I'm
videos
a
about
guy.
shit.
You know who made videos? Leafy made videos. You make videos.
Therefore, Wang.
Justin, did you feel a little bit overwhelmed in that chat? Because when you're up against Keemstar and Faze Bangs, it can be kind of hard to get a word in.
It was a mix of that, and then it's like also you guys are just like talking about a lot of people who I don't know who the fuck they are.
We're deep.
So I'm like, shit. Like you're getting into that mode when you're on a podcast thing. You're like, I feel like I need to say something now, but I know nothing to say about what's going on right now. But then the thing you blurt out winds up being shitty.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you got three guys here. I'm just gonna like.
And
lean back.
you in your head are kind of like, oh, the viewers are all thinking about the fact that I haven't said anything in 10 minutes. When in
Yeah.
reality, the viewers at home probably are not like, oh, I gotta know what this guy knows about this.
What's funny is you got the screen up too with like the chat there. So I'm like, are they talking about me not talking about things?
It's just anxiety disorder
Yeah,
waiting
dude,
to happen. So how did you and Nerd become buds?
I don't know. I feel like we just like met. Really, it was Wavy Websurf who kind of pulled me into the fold with like the greater YouTube commentary community, and then through him, I wound up meeting all these guys like The Right Opinion, Nerd, Willie Mac Show.
Were you already doing YouTube before you sort of started to become aware of the existence of the commentary community, which is kind of this like vague overall describer for like a lot of different channels that maybe
Yeah.
don't really consider themselves to be part of that?
Absolutely, like they're like very obviously. I have like a lot of blind spots when it comes to specifically YouTube knowledge. So it would be little things where it's like, well, I just want to make shitty gaming videos. Like the first video on my channel is me playing the shitty Adams Family game for NES and doing the world's worst fucking Let's Play. And I was like, oh, this is what you do on YouTube, so I'm gonna be doing this. But then little by little, you start seeing more shit, and you realize like, oh, like people will just listen to me talk about shit without playing some fucking busted ass video game.
I mean, you guys have very different like you push stuff out at very different rates. Like you're somebody who's really
yeah.
trying to make a video every couple days, right?
Yeah, in
And
general, I
you're
looked at,
totally
like-
good with storing up that load for a few months, right?
I'm not totally good with that. It just seems to be the way it plays out. You know, I'll tell myself I'm gonna get this video done in 10 days. Okay, I'm gonna do research for 2 or 3 days. I'm gonna write on the 4th day, and then I'm gonna shoot on the 5th day, and then I'm gonna edit this thing in 5 days. And then the editing usually ends up taking a month. You know, like it'll stretch out. I'll just, you know, we'll think of someone who's like the perfect person to loop in for a collab, and then we're waiting on them to deliver their part of the content, and you know,
it's just two very different ways of looking at YouTube, because you, like, I've always been the kind of person that wanted to pump out a fuckload of content all the time. But then there's a lot of YouTubers who realistically, when you look at their channel, they're getting like 1 million+ views on each upload, but they're carefully curating their releases, that they're not going to put out something knowing that it's going to do 300K, you know?
I feel like with you specifically, though, I feel like you kind of I remember something specifically you were telling me about at VidCon, where you were talking about some idea you had and you got like very far along in it, but it just wasn't like up to what you wanted the channel to be. So I think like a part of like why it takes you so long to put out content is like a lot of like uncertainty and whatnot too. Or like maybe just like having like much higher standards for yourself than the average YouTuber.
Sometimes I'll shoot and edit way more than I needed. Like the Daddy of 5 trilogy was meant to be 1 video, and it accidentally would have been a 2-hour video. And then the fact that Philip DeFranco like came out, dropped the story about, hey, this channel is abusive, I had to kind of just go with what I had edited already. So I did like part 1, and that was 45 minutes, and then I finished editing the rest, and it was part 2 and 3. So I'll overshoot and over edit. Same thing happened with Sniper Wolf and Jake Paul. Those videos had a part 2 to them because there was extra shit I didn't talk about. Like with Jake Paul, it just played out perfectly that Shane Dawson called him out on that in the end of the series. So we were able to, and then Jake denied that he knew he was advertising to kids. So we were able to be like, oh, I've got this chapter that's already nearly done that was sitting around where we prove that you gave a speech on how to advertise to children. And it was called like marketing to children using Instagram or something. So it's like, we were able to roll with that relatively quickly because it was already done.
Pause 1 second. I just want to tell the people at home that once I'm done talking with these gentlemen, which let's say maybe we're going to give it an hour, then I'm going to be listening to your song donation. So if you want to donate, the link is down below, streamlabs.com/nojumper. I'm going to be going in the other room, listening to your music, all that stuff, but we're going to be hanging out, talking for a while longer. Okay.
I have always wanted to tell you how much I like that series where you go over the crappy, what do you call it, cringy
like SoundCloud rappers. I gotta get on it. That's my goal this week, is to literally maybe get some Adderall and just get in my office and make a fuckload of those videos, because I dread it. Like, do you have that with the content where there's parts of creating content that you just fucking dread and you just put it off so much that it just takes forever? Like those kind of videos, it's like, I know it's good because people like to gawk at weird rap videos, but it's just so hard for me to actually sit my ass down and go, because I have hundreds or maybe thousands of videos liked that could fit in, but I then have to rewatch them and then take notes about like funny things about them.
So it's like whittling down an enormous list and curating it into the top 5. Well, with the Cringe Hall of Fame, I mean, like, I remember who those people are forever. There's the So-So antisocial guy.
Yeah.
He's great. That song is like low-key pretty good.
And he's shown up like at multiple different like meet and greets that I've done stuff. So it's like, that's the weird part, is just meeting these people. But they're always, even if I've completely dissed them, they've always been super cool. But I mean, at the same time, I'm just waiting for somebody to like show up and want to kill me. Because
I love that song. Like, who hasn't been there where someone's like, yo, do you want to come to the party? And you're like,
no. So
I just never heard that vocalized like that. So I love that. And then I liked how you broke down the guy with the backwoods in the Denny's, and you were like, you're like, I like shocking people and I like crazy behavior, but I just feel like I'm empathizing more with the waitress in this situation. You know, like, I kind of agree with her that you really shouldn't be doing this. You can't do this in a Denny's, sir.
Don't do this in a Denny's. You're gonna really, like, nobody else in there wants to smell your blunt, you asshole.
And you picked up on that he was like lighting his joint and his hands were shaking.
He's shaking.
You're like, he's not even like a confident prankster.
But then you know what's weird is when I do go through those videos and I start like figuring out how I'm gonna make this compilation, it's like, you need one totally ridiculous, insane looking face tattoo type person for the thumbnail. and then the other 9 minutes of it or whatever can be like much less interesting. You just need that one freak show for the thumbnail.
The Takashi copycat looking guy.
And that's why there was some kid from the Ukraine or Russia or some shit or somewhere, Netherlands maybe, and a gang tattooed on his face. And I made this whole video making fun of him, and then it comes out that he was actually like somehow implicated in like a fucking gang rape.
Holy shit.
I'm like, geez, I really missed the ball by not knowing about that.
You know what I thought was really awesome? I watched your Guar interview.
And I mentioned you.
Yeah. That, like, to me, it's, like, really cool when you pull, like, metal bands, like, things that aren't your usual wheelhouse on. And I was, like, really stoked to see that. Like, it seemed like I didn't know what amount of people watching this knew who Guar was or cared about them, but, like, it seemed like they got a really positive reaction from doing that. It was awesome.
For me, too, it's like I really didn't know that much about Guar besides who they were up until the night before I did that interview. And I literally sat there and watched Guar shit for like 2-3 hours, took notes, and that was the interview. And they were like super hyped.
Time.
They were like, yo, that was such a great interview, like such good questions, blah blah blah. And it's just weird to think that like the average person or like a lot of interviewers don't really take the time to do that. And for me, that's what the whole podcast thing came from, is from going on those wormholes of like, oh, what about Guar? I'm gonna fucking look up Guar shit for a couple hours, and then it kind of became like, damn, I'm like amassing all this information. I want to actually talk to a lot of these people, which it feels like that's kind of where a lot of your shit comes from.
Well, you're lucky, dude. Most podcasts, you have to like read a book or at least skim through a whole book.
Yeah.
That's terrible. No, I've read books for podcasts, but it's not nearly as fun. Yeah. So, Justin.
Yeah.
At this point, how do you get your ideas for your videos? Or like, how does something seem like it qualifies, especially since you must have really covered the majority of the things that you think are worth covering, right?
There's a few that I think like are like the big episodes. Like I knew the Max Headroom one, which was if anyone doesn't know what that was, it was a guy who hacked into a TV station and had some like weird ass graphic pop up in the middle of the broadcast. That one I knew was gonna be a big one. Brian Peppers I knew was gonna be a big one. But then it's like there's a lot of the ones that I just remember, like, just from being, like, so fucking online all the fucking time that, like, some of these stories I'll do videos on were just, like, things that I remember happening. And then I'm like, you know what, that might be a good video, and I'll go back and look it up. I actually have a whole list, though, of topics to make videos on, and sometimes the day comes and it's like, oh, well, this feels like the video I want to make now. So that's that process.
Do you really love that process of making the videos? Because I feel like a lot of times there's YouTubers who love making the videos, and there's YouTubers who sort of like dread the process, but then they like the actual release.
What it is for me, and I've realized I got to get a lot better about this. I'll dread the process a little bit when I get started up, when I'm like scripting it out on my phone. And like just setting out the camera and the lighting, and I hate my lighting every fucking video, and it's always different because I'm never happy with it. But once I get rolling with the process, it's just like that first step of getting into the mood to do something, and then I get hyped on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too, where I'll like dread that process of getting ready for an interview, but then once I actually get into it and I actually have found myself sitting there for a half hour listening to some shit, I'm like, it actually starts feeling right, and I actually start, being prepared for it.
I think I remember now the answer to your question you asked earlier, like how did we meet? How did we become familiar with each other? It was because people who watched him watched me. So like we kept getting grouped in tweets of people recommending my favorite channels, and be like, I like Wang and I like Nerd City. And when that happens, I'll check out who the similar channel is, and oftentimes I'll like them too.
Yeah.
So like I think I got turned on to Wang's content when he was at like maybe 30,000 subs a while back. But it's such a good series idea, Tales from the Internet, you know?
Right.
Because like we need that service of like a good-natured documentation of early internet stories.
There's a few channels like that too. Like it feels like that in general is kind of like a growing genre now.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever happened to somebody.
Yeah, like you had like I think Gamer from Mars was doing that before us a little bit.
Do you feel like you're stepping on toes ever since you're covering a lot of the same content?
What's interesting is like so far I haven't had it happen where like because there's a bunch of channels doing this, like me, Wavy Web Surf, Internet Historian. So far, I don't think any of us have happened to do the same topic. I feel like that's something that's going to happen sooner or later, and I'm actually really curious to see how that plays out. because it might hurt us, but it might also like help boost the videos together somehow in the
You'll probably
algorithm.
have different takes on it. Like Internet Historian is more memey, and you have like heavy research. Like you're combing through old forums and bulletin boards and stuff like that to find like who said what first, and those other guys don't take as much of like the heavy research angle.
Yeah.
They'll kind of like recap some things that are more publicly available, and you'll do like the deep dive.
There are what's funny is like that series. When I started Tales from the Internet, I had made. I mean, you can see this if you look at the first few videos in it. I originally that was like my attempt at doing like a reaction video series, and then it kind of became like a bunch of more videos where I feel like the first one that was like really like an organization of like the kind of more of a deep dive going through forums and stuff. I think it was the Taylor Swift video, which was really the video that propped up that whole series.
Taylor Swift, which one was that specifically?
About whether she was like anonymously posting on 4chan.
Yeah,
right.
There are all kinds of details collected about Taylor Swift potentially being a low-key 4chan user, like naming her cat after something that someone in the 4chan thread responded to. I
It's
mean,
like
there's
it's the QAnon of pop.
Taylor Swift is QAnon.
It's interesting because there's a certain extent to which when you're developing your audience, to which they are either savvy or they're not. And your audience basically has to be willing to click on things that they don't know what it is, or they don't really have much of a reason to. Like for my audience, it's like, I know that if 6ix9ine gets out tomorrow and gets shot, then I can make a video about it and get millions and millions of views. Easy. Because I know the things that they specifically want. You very specifically are feeding your audience things that they don't know that they want.
Yeah, like that's something that was like, it was like really a difficult thing to get over that hump too, and kind of like just getting confident on like, I realized at a certain point that I could cover the topics that weren't going to be high traffic topics, because a lot of people just want to watch how I'm going to go into it. And actually it kind of goes into like the idea of like how I build my channel compared to how other people do, because the kind of stuff I do, you can't really have like a trending hot topic that you're going to go into. Most like the Tool album was like an exception to that, where people on Reddit stayed up all night and like met in Vegas to leak the fucking new Tool album. But for the most part, it's just like you're not going to hit an algorithmic trend like that. But at the same time, because it's all evergreen content and a video I make is like it's as good today as it is like 10 years from now, that means that people will find you and go through the whole back catalog, and then the YouTube algorithm loves that too.
And we oftentimes get caught up in thinking of our content as being very like spur of the moment. Like, Keemstar is 100% on that. Like his videos have a ton of relevance the first 24 hours that they're out, and then a year later, it's just like a weird historical document that almost nobody's going to want to look at. Whereas like the videos you're creating, and I would like to think that a lot of the stuff I'm doing is it's stuff that literally is there as like a archive. Like you're going to find this when you Google things. Like might not be a ton of people searching for 2 Girls, 1 Cup, but you're really going out of your way to be the definitive source of information on this one weird thing.
You know you've got a good series when your viewers are telling you what your next one should be on. And I know that Justin gets a lot of recommendations like, yo, make one about Lonely Girl, make one about whatever. Like you have a back catalog of viewer suggested ideas going forever.
Oh yeah, that's one thing like from a I guess if you want to say like from a business perspective, a lot of times I'll like panic, be like I'm out of fuck, even though I have like the whole notepad full of ideas for videos, none of them will really be doing it for me at the moment. So I'll be like, shit, I guess this is the end of me. I got no more videos. But if I really was like under the gun to get something else, I could just go through those suggestions.
And also, it's like if you had a day, and that's kind of a part of the question, is how much time do you allow yourself to just be a regular guy sitting around on the internet just searching for shit? Because I feel like if I fuck around on the internet for 8 hours, I'm bored, I'm waiting for a plane or some shit, my shit gets delayed, then I'm gonna fucking land on a whole bunch of shit I'm interested in. I'm gonna start coming up with ideas, but it's like you sort of need that boredom to get there. But when you're constantly pushing out as many videos as you possibly can, you don't get that boredom time.
It's honestly, it's something that like I've been like struggling to manage, I realized, because like I don't have any kind of organization. Like I was like listening to her say, well, I'm gonna spend like like 4 days on this and 4 days on that. I'm like, like I just do it as it comes.
Yeah.
But then the problem when you have that kind of situation is that then I'm at home where I work, but I also live here. So if I'm not getting work done now, I can't just chill. Like I should be working.
Right. And did you have that big dream of being a YouTuber though? Where you like, I want to earn enough money from this to not have to have a regular job?
Definitely not. Like
okay.
It was something I just wanted to do for like a long amount of time. And at the same time, for like maybe like the 10 years prior to that, most of my income had just been like a patchwork of different side hustles all coming together. So YouTube was kind of something that like it figured itself into that world. I never would have expected it to like be my main thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like you're clearly probably making more. How is the band thing a significant part of your life?
It is. Like it's not something that like honestly obviously I've been able to like monetize as effectively. But the band thing is like that was my main thing for like most of my life. Like I was just a guy in a band, going on a lot of tours, just trying to make something happen with music.
Low level tours. It's like a metal band that you're in, right?
Yeah, like band I'm in right now, it's called Jinx. It's kind of like got like kind of like a new metal vibe.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm playing lots of ones and O's.
Shout out to some black guy, by the way, who just commented, "What up, Wang?"
What up, some black guy?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Derek. We're not singling out a black guy in the audience. It's our dude Derek.
That's awkward.
Yeah,
but
his name always like needs that kind of explanation.
Right.
Yeah, when I thought that's who it was, and I was meeting him at VidCon for the first time, you don't want to ask, "Are you some black guy?"
Yeah.
Because if he's not, that's a really rude question.
Yeah, but I mean it's technically correct.
Yeah. Good friend of mine, Black Dave. I always feel kind of weird when I like accidentally say like, "Oh, this is Black Dave," and like, you know, it's like, am I just really like labeling this innocent Dave Black Dave, like just sort of doing that to him? And it's like, no, that's like his Instagram and shit. Like that's what he wants you to call him.
Is anyone ever like, why do you call him Black Dave?
Well, realistically, that was his name before. You know, if I made it up, then that would be a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was just me.
Like you had like another Dave, and that was the only way you could think to distinguish them. But here's the black one.
There's such a precedent for that on the internet now too, because everybody's an Andy, Asian Andy, Mexican Andy.
Yeah, there's what happened. I was like thinking about Arab Andy the other day, the guy who he had the text to speech IRL stream setup, went into a college, and then someone did like a bomb countdown. And then, like, it very easily could have gotten a lot worse than it did, but he did get arrested for that.
The Andy thing is, like, exclusively from the Ice Poseidon community, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about covering that? Is that too new? How long does it take before something's too new? Or before it's new enough?
It depends. You know what it is? I worry more about, like, completeness. Like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta have a story that doesn't have a satisfying conclusion, like the secret hard drive video that I did, where it's like, it's turned out to be some kids fucking around. But sometimes, if it's something that's like an ongoing developing thing, even then I'm not gonna say I don't cover it, because I guess like the most mysterious song on the internet, that video where people found this old German radio recording, and it's a really good post-punk song, but nobody knows who made it. That's kind of like an ongoing thing where people will find new leads and stuff like that. I don't know. It's gonna sound like some dumb like hippie shit, but I guess it's just whatever video I make is like what feels right for me to make at the moment.
Right, whatever you're interested in. If you don't do what you're interested in, it's got to start really feeling like work at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find like with your kind of videos and shit, a lot of times it's watching a lot of pretty bad content to find the absolute worst moments so that you can drill in on that shit and really call attention to how bad it is. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of people don't have it in them.
It sounds completely accurate.
A lot of people don't have it in them to watch that much bad shit.
There's some
as
level
a commentary
of
channel or whatever. That's kind of.
There's some level of masochism there. Like I don't jump out of bed in the morning excited to watch 300 hours of Jake Paul content and then timestamp things that are like ridiculous. But once you get that done, you start compiling that, sorting it into themes. It gets a little more fun there.
Yeah, see, I started to I thought about doing one where I was watching the videos on the Ignite energy channel or whatever, Dan Bilzerian's weed company, where he just housed this big warehouse, and it's like super awkward like live stream uploads of him just in the house with like all these like hot ass models, but they're like smoking weed, and it just seems so sad and lame, and it's crazy because it's like super hot chicks, super nice house. It just seems so boring. And I sat there for an hour and a half watching this shit, trying to find, like, writing down the timestamps of the stuff that I thought that was the most cringy. And it put me in such a fucking bad mood by the end of a couple hours of it that I just couldn't really bring myself to want to continue to put this together, and realizing how I was either going to have to tell one of my employees to do it and really not know what the fuck it was going to end up like, or I was going to have to do it all myself, and that was going to be painful.
I mean, that's something
It'd be hard to delegate something that, you know, that much of a crappy task, because then, you know, maybe they're cutting corners, and because it sucks so much.
Yeah, they're gonna not drill in and really try to get to the bad shit.
We have some researchers, I should say, shout out to them, like Demina and Ryan. They'll help me pound through, you know, the hundreds of hours of whatever topic we're doing. And
really,
if we have like I'll watch a bunch of the content and get sort of a general idea of what we're looking for. But then sometimes you just let the content lead you towards like, oh, I had no idea they were doing this. So why don't we, you know, follow that and pull on that string and see what happens.
Yeah, that's really, you know, Andy Milonakis is in the chat as well. Saw him commenting, saying,
no, he heard
Andy.
He heard Andy.
Probably because he's
Greek
like,
Andy.
I wonder, but he's not the original Andy in the CX trajectory of that.
The inventor of memes, Andy Milonakis.
You think he was the inventor of memes?
No, yeah, I remember him saying that at some point, and I was like, all right, Andy.
I was listening to Sam Harris interview Richard Dawkins, and he was trying to get Richard Dawkins to basically like comment on memes, because he like pioneered the term before they were talking about memes. And Richard Dawkins really didn't seem very eager to like latch on to the spreading of like text and image things.
In the early days of meme, it wasn't. No one was sure whether it was May or meme.
Yeah,
Remember?
I remember.
GIF first GIF. It's settled on meme now, but I think back then, Richard Dawkins even called it a May, didn't he? Or a May?
I knew people, like, I know a guy who's like somewhat of a celebrity, and there's like an old clip of him talking about a meme and calling it a meme. And it's just like the fucking funniest thing to us in the world. Like, it's so hard to imagine a world in which a grown man didn't know that it was called a meme.
That pronunciation didn't win out, but it was up in the air for a bit.
That's actually how I would have thought it would have been pronounced, because I was thinking like memetics, like having that kind of like origin of the word. But then I remember it was, do you remember when Tom Green had that call-in show like way, like after MTV, but it was an online thing?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
There was an ongoing 4chan raid of his show, just like having him like whatever fucking like meme phrases they can get him to say. It was. I think it was like "do a barrel" was the one at the time that they kept on trying to get him to say, and then finally he caught on and he said, "Oh, these guys are trying to get me to say internet memes," and I was like, that was the first time I heard it pronounced memes, and I was like, "Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I guess it's memes now."
You remember one of them was gentleman. They wanted him to do the gentleman meme, so he got all the pencils and filled his mouth. Gentleman. He probably did that better than anyone.
You know what's a weird thing to think about when I think about Tom Green or Howard Stern is that Howard Stern was thriving on censorship for all those years. The fact that he couldn't just do the shit that he wanted to do because of the FCC and the rules that they had upon him, where he couldn't, you know, use swear words, and he couldn't necessarily have these porn stars come on and queef on camera and stuff like that. And then he moves over to Sirius, and he thinks like, oh, this is the best thing in the world because I'm finally going to be free. And then he realizes that once everything is allowed, all of a sudden all the shock value shit doesn't really work anymore. And a lot of times I think about that when I look at old content like Jackass and Tom Green and stuff like that, is that like that shit doesn't really seem like it would do anything on YouTube these days, because it's sort of too easy to do the gross out shit or to do just, you know, offensive shit. Like that shit doesn't seem like it works in this modern age because everyone can do whatever they want on YouTube for the most part.
One of the hard questions I asked myself about the Paul brothers when I was going through that content is like, why do I respect Jackass? Like, why did I like that and then not like any of this? Isn't it kind of similar?
Your age is definitely a big part of it. Let's be honest. Like when you were 13, when I was 13, seeing Jackass for the first time, I was very impressed.
I watch that shit now though. It's still funny to me. I mean, here's the thing though. Which one is it that throws the fucking plates? Is it Jake or Logan?
Logan.
There is there was one night where I was like, all right, let me see what this Logan Paul guy is all about. And I sat down and I found the supercut of him breaking the plates at people all the time.
That montage is funny.
I was like, yo, this is actually, I don't want to admit it, but I'm finding Logan Paul really fucking funny right now.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I've had that same moment, and I've showed that to people before. Like, undeniably, like there's a couple chuckles in this.
Yeah, and thinking about it though, that very much is a thing they would have done on Jackass.
Scaring people. With
Yeah,
plates.
maybe at some point, like Steve-O would have had to like burn himself in the process of it, but more or less.
I mean, Tom Green and them, they got by with a lot of pranks. That was a very, very big part of it, is pranking your mom and dad. Same thing with Jackass, just sort of torturing your mom and stuff. And if you really look at it, like, what was Mick Juggernuggets doing besides torturing his fucking parents? That was really the name of the game, and that's basically a Jackass Tom Green thing.
That Tom Green Slutmobile skit is still an all-time favorite for me. Painted the hood of his parents' car with
I remember that one now.
Lesbians eating each other out.
My favorite one was the Undercutters. Do you remember that? It was like
He almost got killed with that one. The guy chased him with a hammer. Do you remember Undercutters Pizza? He would follow a pizza delivery guy around and then try to sell a pizza for cheaper while figuring out what the toppings were at the door.
Right.
He would undercut the price, and that really angered one customer, and he chased him off the property.
He's
with
like
a hammer.
yelling at him about like these are hardworking Americans and blah blah blah. And I think they threw the pizza stuff at him.
That's such a weird thing to think about, how kids these days, like, kids will always have to go through this phase where the most offensive things are the funniest things. Like, to me, when I was like 14, I thought anal cum was the funniest thing in the fucking world because their song titles were just so fucking offensive. And it's just like, now I feel bad when I see a 16-year-old kid get in trouble because he said some offensive shit on Twitter, because it's like, that is the most 16-year-old boy thing on earth, is to just go on Twitter and say the most offensive thing that you can think of. And I think that we need to, as a society, have room for that kind of shit to happen. As much as you also want to warn kids, like, yo, don't be stupid on Twitter because it's going to come back to get you and you're not going to get into Harvard.
When I first started watching YouTube, like, really regularly to try and understand the community, it was a period where almost all of the big names, all the funny people were doing references to Nazi stuff and Hitler jokes, because that was the new forbidden thing that suddenly people felt just comfortable enough to make fun of, because like it was really the first generation to have not had grandparents to where this was personal to, or like, that there was nothing for them to make them afraid to talk about that boogeyman, but they were still taught in school, the ultimate boogeyman is Adolf Hitler.
Right.
And don't, that's the worst guy possible, so we'll use him as an example of the worst things. And so suddenly kids were, they didn't have a grandparent to tell them like, hey, this was serious, and, I sacrificed my life to go make sure that this evil didn't come upon the world. Like, there were kids suddenly existed on the internet who hadn't gotten that speech and were only reading about it in the history books as a boogeyman.
Right.
So they used that as like edgy humor. And man, did we get off track with where the Hitler stuff has gone since then. Like PewDiePie eventually being accused of being dog whistling the alt-right, and that's totally not what he was doing.
And that's like a mainstream opinion that it's very easy to meet people who, but that's what I like about PewDiePie too, is that he is a repudiation of the way that the left wants to paint all of our society. Like, him being the biggest YouTuber is proof that you don't need to be this mega woke dickhead in order to have a big fan base on the internet in 2019.
Well, I think the thing about cancel culture and in general, I think it's that it comes down to what people's perception of you is. Like, if you haven't like built yourself up to be this big woke guy, then when you have those kinds of indiscretions, there's nothing to like turn back in your face. And that's kind of how the mob builds itself up.
Hypocrisy is like the big gotcha thing, especially with YouTube. It's like, have you said something that's directly the opposite of what you're saying now, and is it on video?
Right.
When you have those moments, someone's going to throw it back in your face.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because when you have PewDiePie as the biggest YouTuber, and like last year, 6ix9ine was like the biggest rapper, and like, these are people who have basically been completely deemed to be inappropriate to be involved with any sort of like high level like media discourse. It's like, it's obvious that the media hates PewDiePie and Trump and 6ix9ine and stuff, but they all continue to be extremely popular. And it's like, I don't think of 6ix9ine as like a right wing icon.
But the fact that he was so gladly appreciated by our culture almost kind of feels like that, right?
6ix9ine
I mean, I
is
liked his
going to be in a
music.
Pepsi ad in like a year and a half. You know, because
yeah.
think
I think of a lot of good reasons why not.
Well, think about where Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, like the NWA guys, the gangster rap were when that was happening. Like they had the government investigating them, and then eventually, you know, Snoop Dogg is completely commercially marketable or
But
whatever.
the thing is,
like
is that 30 years will erase your murder charge that you beat if you're Snoop Dogg. But I don't know how much time needs to go by before 6ix9ine, before everybody can forget about like the child sex charge, the snitching, the shooting at people, like all that stuff. I don't know. That's a pretty high bar for Pepsi to get past, in my opinion. Like Pepsi fucking with Cardi B when she used to be a stripper and she like says fuck a lot is that is kind of like, wow, like. They've come a long way.
That's kind of a perfect example. You know?
That the walls are being broken down over time. But I mean,
I think what we think of though is like a squeaky clean, like what is brand acceptable and what's not brand acceptable. What brands will find acceptable will ultimately be where the audience is. So if the audience says like we don't give a fuck if this or that guy is offensive, or even if he has like, you know, a really bad history, if we're still interested in what he's putting out there, then at the end of the day, the brand's job isn't to promote any kind of morality in the world. It's to sell you whatever the fucking bullshit they want you to buy is. So if regular people don't care about that shit, then brands will have to follow.
have you thought about the fact that your channel could be targeted and like basically wouldn't be too shocking if like a large percentage of your videos got demonetized or like deleted and shit because you touch on a lot of edgy shit?
I'm honestly we've had this conversation before. I'm surprised at how much of my shit actually gets monetized.
Right.
2 Girls 1 Cup video monetized, confirmed by manual review. The Reddit cum box.
And you don't really avoid much of the language, right?
No, I feel like a pussy. Like if it's probably not the best financial decision, but I feel like a pussy. Like if I censor myself in those kinds of ways.
Like I was watching Drama and Keem wouldn't say dildo.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what, I mean, dildo, man.
What I did do, so the Reddit cum box video, I was like, well, this is gonna get hit by like the demonetization bot immediately.
Just cum. That word alone, it's supposed to get demonetized.
I figured out if I make cum box one word instead of 2, the AI is not gonna know what a cum box is. So it sat there monetized for a few days, and then eventually it got dinged, and then it passed the review.
Somehow passed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I guess
that's one of the really frustrating things about YouTube is not knowing like the mystery of is this word like dildo okay to say?
Yeah.
And making a video live and then having it immediately get demonetized just feels like the most cruel, like intolerable policy imaginable. Because if YouTube were to just say, okay, Adam, every single video that you upload needs to be requested for monetization before it can go live. It might take 2 or 3 days, but once it's approved, then it can just go out and you'll be able to whatever. And like, you know, obviously we're going to try multiple times to get videos through review, and sometimes that's going to help. But that I would be very okay with, is having to wait 2 or 3 days to find out if my videos are monetizable. What I really fucking hate is that like last night I put out my vlog from going to the KSI Logan fight, and that it's now gotten 250,000 views, and that it went orange the second that I made it live, and that.
Yeah.
The reason that
What
I
am I
think
gonna
that'll
do?
never happen is YouTube can't insert themselves as the middleman without taking responsibility for what you've published. They become the publisher. So it's like the safe harbor provisions of the DMCA require that that you are not sitting in the middle determining whether this violates copyright or not. Like you have to basically say that I'm so overwhelmed. We as a platform are so overwhelmed with uploads that we can't realistically be checking all of these. So we basically have to be a service that allows people to publish wildly.
Right.
And that's obviously getting YouTube in trouble with advertisers through the media giving them negative attention when they can get a gotcha moment of a racist video paired with a Coca-Cola ad, you know. So then YouTube kind of has to play this game where they're using AI to be that middleman, but pretending there's nothing there.
Right.
So the AI sucks at that, and they'll let something through that flaggers, you know, like when you set something live, your viewers then can hit report if they think there's something inappropriate there.
Right.
And now suddenly you're getting a human reviewer where before you didn't.
Right.
So it goes from like machine learning said it's okay, and now let's see what a person thinks. And you'll fail the person, but be good with the robot. You know, they can't put that person in the middle.
That's interesting.
And it's so fucked up too because like for a while it seemed like it was working really good that I would take my videos, put the word sex in the title, boom, it triggers the request. I request. But then now if I take that word sex out, boom, it's green again. And then I make it live and it turns orange immediately. So I can't even like trigger that review of my own video unless I leave that term in the title, which itself is probably going to make sure that, yeah. It's really
I think they do actually factor in, like, when it comes to those kinds of things, like having sex in the title, I think when it comes to those things, they'll, like, factor in the context more than they would if, like, something more specifically relating to the subject matter.
Right, because in the past
video.
few days, I've had, interview clips. Like, Mod Sun talks about getting addicted to cocaine the first time he tried it, and Mod Sun talks about getting addicted to lean. And both of those were triggered, but then they got monetized, which I was kind of almost shocked because I'm like, God, fine. Like, because, any idiot could see those titles and think, oh, this is clearly content that's like positive for society, that this is something that, like, why wouldn't an advertiser want to be associated with somebody talking about getting off of drugs?
Yeah.
It's like...
There's a weird double standard, too. Like, if you look at TV and the kind of stuff that's getting advertisements on TV, or sometimes even the advertisements themselves, they're stuff that wouldn't pass the monetization review on YouTube.
Right.
But they're paying a lot more money to have those ads on TV and say, like, I don't know, like The Walking Dead or something, where people are just getting ripped the fuck apart all the time.
And it's weird to think about, YouTube Red really is the best thing that fans of YouTube videos can do, because when you think about, I go to Netflix and I'm watching Big Mouth and it's got like cartoons of like children masturbating and shit. Have you seen Big Mouth?
I have not.
Oh my God, it's so fucking funny. What I just said sounds terrible, but it's so fucking funny and so inappropriate, and it's so awesome. But it's content that would even as a cartoon would never go on YouTube, because it's like it's all about like kids going through puberty and shit. So it's like, and they show insane animated shit that I don't even know how they could justify it to a certain extent. But that idea of like a YouTube type platform where everybody can pay $10 a month and you're able to watch as much content as you want, and there is no laws. I mean, that almost is what YouTube is like, because if you pay that $10 a month, yeah, your content's not going to get promoted that well, but you are going to like make significantly more money. Like when we all look at our YouTube income, the amount that comes from YouTube Red is fucking crazy.
I've stopped even counting on getting any AdSense at all. I just assume that I won't.
Really?
Yeah,
because it's that bad?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll run strings of demonetized videos of like 5, 6 in a row.
Wow.
And won't know why.
That's like a year for you too.
And the last video, YouTube rated it X. I got an X rating.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. It's rare. It's worse than MA. It's CeeLo did the math on like what percentage of videos were rated X when he was looking through the data, and it's something like 0.15% of videos are rated X. So someone from YouTube rated that to try and suppress it.
What was it?
It was the YouTube's biggest lie.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary shit right there.
Yeah. I'm pretty upset about that rating. I feel like that's a really underhanded way to suppress the video.
Yeah.
Because usually an X rating would be paired with an age restriction. So like if something, and an X rating would normally be triggered by like puke, nudity, or gore, not just for saying the word gay in the beginning of the video.
That's crazy.
And we had the Dire Straits song in there that had used the F word, but an F word at most might get you an MA rating.
Right.
It wouldn't get you an X rating.
I uploaded a vlog where we went to our weed grow operations. Everybody go ask for no jumper weed in your local dispensary. And that thing was immediately age restricted. And that to me was a little shocking, because I'm like, we're not even smoking the plant. We're just in a room full of plants. Like what is, like, I know that you watching it as YouTube, as a company, maybe you can tell that this is marijuana, but I mean, it's just a plant. Nobody's smoking it, and it was age restricted from just being around the plant. I was particularly offended by that.
That sucks. I can see them doing that though.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's very inconsistent, like what they do and don't age restrict. Well, I guess that's everything with YouTube. It's just inconsistent. So like we constantly have to play these games and like guess what they're gonna do before they do it, so we don't wind up like fucking ourselves for months.
Right.
You might go ahead and build a whole channel around you taking, crazy hits off your bong, and then they just nuke all content like that, like what happened to the weed community.
The gun channels.
Gun channels,
Basically
pot channels.
shut down. Yeah. But that's what's weird too, is that on here or on Joe Rogan, he can sit there and smoke weed. We can sit here and smoke weed. The content is not about us smoking weed, so we're not really getting hit. But by people who just maybe titled their shit differently, or have the camera closer to them when they're smoking weed or whatever, it feels more like it's like directly about weed. Yeah. Those are the channels that are getting totally fucked, which is it's kind of a thin line there.
Yeah, I guess that came down to a judgment call, someone at YouTube deciding whether the weed was incidental to the content or the focus of the content. But no one knew that weed was even going to be a prohibited topic because where those people live, they're following the laws of their state.
And what about in a year or two if it's federally legal, then they're just going to go back into all those videos and back to all those content creators and say like,
can we turn their channels back on?
Yeah, Custom Grow 420, boom, you're back.
Well, there are rules about alcohol, I think, right?
Is there?
I don't know. I know like Twitch has, and that's not like a law thing for Twitch. I think it's just like a content guideline where it's like, I think you can drink, but you can't drink in excess or you get a ban or suspension or something.
I mean, Twitch they go through weird shit too, where it's like everything that anyone could possibly do ends up just being sort of exploited to the point that they have to do something about it. Like they can't just like let girls have cleavage showing on stream without becoming a huge thing of these titty streamers. It's like you can't just let people drink because then you're going to have people like someone is going to drink themselves to death by taking donations to drink on Twitch, and then they're going to have to institute a policy that you can't drink yourself to death.
Chad did that. Anything for views would drink to the point of vomiting and then keep drinking on Twitch.
Did he get in trouble for it?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
I think you guys know Tipster.
No.
He had like one stream. I think it was like a New Year's stream.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like one of my favorite screen caps of all time. And he took the shot, but like it looked like the image looks like he threw up, but apparently like it went down like the wrong pipe and he coughed it back up.
It's pretty funny.
But there's like this amazing shot of like the mixture of liquids just falling out of his mouth on Twitch, and I think he did get a suspension for that, like a 1 day or something.
That's crazy. Do you think Twitch is over?
No, I don't.
No?
I think it's still got a lot way to grow.
This is wishful thinking on my part because they seem like such a bunch of social justice warrior fucks.
Yeah.
Do you think puke genre is over? Because Vomit Cake just got deleted.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, what is that?
The Filthy Frank video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like I feel like Filthy Frank videos in a lot of ways are probably the canary in the coal mine for YouTube getting real fucking clean. So this could be the end of it now.
I'm almost surprised that he hasn't just like put that entire channel on private because it so sort of contradicts like the brand he's building as a musician. Yeah,
like one day, like I don't know how. There definitely is like a big part of his audience that just knows him as Joji and like doesn't know.
Yeah. Which is crazy. You never would have thought that the Filthy Frank thing would be able to become an afternote.
Yeah, because like that was like such a fucking iconic thing to begin with.
For us as YouTubers, but now the music fans, and they don't give a fuck.
Well, what's gonna happen is now, like some of these new fans are gonna go back and they're gonna find Filthy Frank and they're gonna be like, this guy, we gotta cancel this guy.
Oh yeah.
Like they're just not gonna know Filthy Frank.
Have they tried to cancel him yet? I mean, like the Filthy Frank show is so offensive that it's almost like how could they possibly not get the joke?
Yeah, I went back recently.
Never underestimate people's ability to not get a joke.
Yeah.
That's like half my fucking mentions on Twitter all day long is people not getting jokes.
Yeah. That's always the hard thing to decide on Twitter, though, is like, do you want to go for the sort of obscure reference that you actually think is funny and like the 20 people that you talk to would think is funny, or do you want to go for the super obvious joke that's going to get hella retweets?
Sometimes I feel like there's a kind of line you can tread where it's like when people like kind of get like a subtle joke, it makes them like feel like they're like smart and special and like a part of the in-group. And if you can do it like so it's just subtle enough that enough people will find it, will understand it, but feel like it was hard for them to understand it and they got it. I feel like that's like a good spot to get in, to have a tweet do well.
Because it's a slippery slope because like just two examples. Leon Lush, who was supposed to be here, but he was, I don't know, his kid is on fire or something. He said it was an emergency with his family or something where he couldn't come. So not like it's an emergency, but he had to do something. But I mean, like Jake Paul said something about kids on their phones or something, and then Leon quoted it and said,
that was good.
You better be glad kids are on their phones because if they didn't, then you'd be out of a job. Such an easy joke, such an obvious joke. Jake Paul has young fans. We all know it. But 100,000 retweets because it's just such an easy bow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the simple ones just like they hit really good like that.
It's always the jokes that you almost think about not making because they're so obvious.
Yeah.
I just got 200,000 likes on a tweet and I think 60,000 retweets because Complex put out like a graphic of Kanye with a quote that he put out that may or may not have actually even been said or be accurate, where he was talking about like, you know, some bullshit about there being 3 different elements and now we're all on our iPhones or some bullshit. I quote tweet, I wrote, what the fuck does that mean? 280,000 likes.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
I don't even know why the fuck I tweeted that. It seems so stupid and easy and obvious.
It's always the tweets that you don't think are gonna hit that hard that wind up blowing the fuck up.
Twitter works in this weird way where like you're almost, I think, like you have a threshold of how many likes you can get compared to your following. So it's something like someone about my size, I feel like I can get about 20,000 likes before it's either gonna hit a wall or then suddenly get into the next phase. I think what happens at Twitter is they curate to some degree the what jumps from one basket into the next one. So it's like you'll hit that 20,000 likes wall, and then maybe that's the first moment that a human curator from Twitter looks at your tweet and says like, is this something we want to push to all timelines and people who are like followers of you? And if you pass that, then you go to the next. And then it's like, and then you can get the 100,000 like tweets, you know. But haven't you noticed you hit a wall of something around 20,000, 30,000?
Yeah, and it's weird shit too, where like the other day I tweeted out I think a link to an article about Emma Chamberlain, and Emma Chamberlain liked the tweet, and it fucking exploded from her just liking that tweet. Like,
Power like.
Oh my god! And I guess maybe she doesn't like that much shit on Twitter, and I know she's huge. But Jesus fucking Christ, like that just somehow like it set off the algorithm in a way that I know that I don't have that effect when I like something. Although sometimes I will like a random compliment from a fan that is sort of funny or something, and then I'll end up seeing that tweet again, and it's like even though they added it at me and they have no fucking followers, it's still me liking it made 500 more people like it, which is a strange thing.
The likes are funny because not everything you like shows up on everyone's feed, but sometimes you just get that like where it's like, it's got to be some kind of momentum based thing in the way that YouTube has, where if you get a burst of views, all of a sudden it puts you up. Twitter, I mean, it's got to be a lot about that. What do they call it? What you might have missed, that thing when you open up Twitter the first time, like that's got to be like key for that.
If you get nominated for that, then for sure that's going to help a ton.
What's weird though too is sometimes like you get those tweets where it's like, nobody liked it, nobody retweeted it, but it'll be like, oh, this and that person that you follows this person, so here's their tweet. And a lot of times I'll get those, but there's no interaction or anything. It'll be a brand new tweet that they just decided I should see.
Right.
If Donald Trump says something that's like particularly humorous or like a well-crafted tweet, and I like begrudgingly like it, I hear about that. You know, people will be like, "Why did you throw this in my timeline? I hate Donald Trump." You know,
Right.
You got to be careful what you like, or you end up fighting about it.
I've really learned my lesson about liking porn because I know all these porn girls, and I've really learned my lesson. Like, do not like anything that they do because I will actually lose hundreds of followers if I like something that's like really sexual and gross.
They've got a real uphill battle with Twitter. Like, they can post more explicit stuff on Twitter than they can on Instagram, but then no one wants to publicly have a record of what they've liked. Like, you can like a racy image on Instagram, and someone you're like a little less likely to get called out on it. Someone would have to go into the like liked by, what's the tab?
They got rid of that, I think.
Did they get rid of that?
Yeah, you can't even see who liked what anymore.
That activity tab, but in general, like if I were to go to your Instagram right now, I can't go look at a list of everything that you liked. Although I could create a burner. Well, no, but that with that tab gone now, it doesn't matter. But that used to be what girls would do. I would hear about is they would make a burner account, only follow the guy that they're dating, and then their entire feed of activity would be everything that guy does, and boom, they're able
see who
to
he's creeping
keep
on.
tabs on him really, really good. Which I've never really had to deal with it. I never really had time to look at that shit.
So like the porn stars and models will post like a phenomenally engaging photo, but then it's getting no engagement relative to a normal joke or something because people don't want to be busted pressing like on it.
But it's shocking too how fast porn stars get followers. It's insane. how fast porn stars blow up on there, and they can be totally irrelevant ass porn chicks that have 200, 300,000 followers.
So like
because
high followers, low engagement. Though,
exactly,
right?
because so many dudes, that's their way of view, and also so many dudes who probably don't mind liking shit because they're just operating on burner accounts anyway. They make burner accounts just to follow porn stars. Probably.
Wait, should I not be doing this on my main account?
I mean, hey,
I constantly I'll do that, and then I'll have I'll like some random picture that like some cam girl or something will have posted, because I'll just, if I'm gonna do it, I want you to see me doing it, because it kind of like it's amusing to me. But then people will be like, "Oh, Wang's horny on main again."
right?
So,
Horny on main.
but it kind of like immunizes yourself against that. Like I feel like because the people who follow me on Twitter are just, they know they're gonna see like they don't know what the fuck they're gonna see today. So it kind of, I build up their tolerance that way. So if I were to do something crazy, I'm not gonna lose 100 followers like you might.
Right.
It's not like Ted Cruz or Philip DeFranco suddenly liking it.
The
you know,
Ted
like,
Cruz one is the best one.
Yeah.
What was it like the MILF porn or something he liked from his Twitter?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, though, was there just a salty ass employee who decided to like that because he thought it was funny that?
That's what Ted said.
Very, very possible.
That was his alibi. He said it was a staffer.
Well,
But I can't see him like sitting on his phone and like actually using his own Twitter.
You know, I saw this article come out today, and I haven't even got around to actually reading it yet. But the story, yep, here we go. A radio station called its host a gay slur on Twitter. Now he's been fired and accused of posting the tweet himself. So this guy, Seth Dunlap, who was a radio host on WWL New Orleans, a tweet went out from the WWL New Orleans account that I'm not sure exactly what the word was. I'm going to guess it was the FAGGOT word or something along those lines. But basically, that tweet went out from that organization about him, and then they ended up doing some forensics and figured out that he tweeted it himself from his phone about himself to apparently get some sympathy.
Yeah. Okay.
A hate crime hoax.
What
like
an
Jesse,
idiot.
like Juicy Smollett.
Yeah. Juicy J. Smollett.
Wait, so how do you wind up getting found though?
I don't know, but I assume that anytime that if there's a big corporate Twitter account, that they probably have some sort of way to figure out where the tweet came from, right? They're going to find the IP address. They're going to figure out it was from your phone. If he was halfway smart, he would have gone to a fucking internet cafe and logged in and did it.
Yeah.
But even that, it's like they're going to have fucking cameras in the internet cafe probably too, right?
Mm-hmm. But then I feel like that might not be a thing though, where they even like went through all the avenues they would have to get the footage and like find out that that was where the tweet came from.
But if they search for the IP addresses that the tweet could have came from and they find one that directly associated with your phone, then that should be pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating.
Do you remember when I remember this because we passed by. I accidentally threw my shoulder into her last night at the boxing event.
Wait, what?
When Amanda Cerny's was having things deleted on Instagram and YouTube, and it turned out to be Lele Pons was doing it from her phone.
Right. That's a good story too. Yeah, that's why they stopped being friends.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Lele Pons' deal? I just know she's super popular, but I don't really know anything about her.
She does like that Instagram style of comedy where it's like, look how wacky and goof I am.
That shit needs to just stop. I read a whole article about her, and I still don't feel like I know anything about her. Maybe there's just not that much that's really all that interesting.
It's weird to me, like that kind of humor. Like, I mean, I guess humor is subjective. I obviously I don't find it funny at all. But then you look and it's like they'll have like those videos that have like tens of millions of views, tons of shares from people who fucking like this is like the funniest thing they've ever seen in their fucking lives. So I don't get it.
I'm on Facebook now. That's all I know. I'm making a real play to get some shit going on Facebook. I've been off the platform for like 3-4 years, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I had one conversation with one dude who told me he made $700 off one video on Facebook, and he said that basically if you make content that people are watching for over a minute, that you have a decent chance of your content doing decently on Facebook.
I feel like a lot of YouTubers don't give Facebook a fair shake.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, I did try uploading a few Tales from the Internet episodes to Facebook to see, like, if I can kind of get into, they have their own partner program and things like that now, so I was kind of seeing if I can make that work. And I really haven't really made an inroads there. But just, like, posting out videos, content relevant, like, I have, like, this Facebook group now where if someone posts some funny shit there, I'll share it from there or from other meme pages. And it all does really well. And then the amount of traffic that I wind up getting to my videos from Facebook winds up being, in some cases, even though my Twitter following is a lot bigger, I'll have more views coming in from Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all sort of
Facebook
take
really-
it for granted.
Facebook made enemies out of the creator community by
Oh, yeah.
by basically charging us to reach our own audience instead of paying us to entertain our audience. Like they took the opposite approach from YouTube. Like we're gonna charge you money instead of pay you money. So like that made people abandon it.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if YouTube regrets that they ever allowed creators to make money off of their content, because in some ways that was like that's the thing that made their shit so controversial. Like when I look at Facebook, I wonder if they ever really if they regret making news such an explicit part of the business, because that's really what got them in so much trouble in regards to so much shit.
I think for YouTube it was a masterstroke, realizing that that they should share revenue with self-published content. I think that's a brilliant idea.
But what we can tell now is that if they had not done it, there's no telling that anybody else would have, because nobody else is jumping on that. Facebook allows you to monetize a little bit, but they don't exactly make it easy. It's not like
it's really difficult.
You
to
can't just
improve.
sign up for Facebook and start making money. You have to build something significant before they partner you into that, which I guess is sort of true for YouTube now. But YouTube, their value proposition early on was, we're going to basically let anyone in the world make money off of their YouTube videos. They don't really put it out there like that anymore.
No. I was thinking the other day, like, what does it feel like to be one of the few thousand people who work for YouTube? It's not that many people that do. It's only a couple thousand, I think. Now, imagine that you're a genius. Like, you've gone to Ivy League. That's where most of Google employees come from. Is they'll come from really good schools, and they're geniuses. They're smart enough to get into Harvard, get into Yale, or whatever. So you're incredibly intelligent. You get recruited, or you pass that very difficult application to become a Google employee. And I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like a crazy intelligence test. It's a 3-part interview, and Google's this fantastic company to work for. So you end up working for Google. You're very smart. You're very well educated, and now suddenly you have the power to, with a press of a button in one way or another, take a person who you might feel is an idiot and turn them into a millionaire or ruin their career with very little oversight. I think you make a fan at YouTube who's in charge of the trending page in a particular country, they can make you.
There's clearly people who have done that, who have exercised that. I need to meet some people like that.
I've had people float the idea that like the reason why I get such like dumb shit demonetized that like seems like it shouldn't be monetized. I mean, rather I get stuff monetized that seems like it shouldn't be monetized. Like someone there who's making decisions might be like, all right, this is like on my list of like what's acceptable, this channel.
Right.
So say you're that YouTube employee and you're making and breaking people, like, you make a Jake Paul or you make a Lele Pons, and then they turn out to be these scumbags and you wish you hadn't done that. Like, don't you think you would start to, and also think about how much they're making. They're probably making low 6 figures working at YouTube.
Right.
I'm sure they have some stock incentives and the benefits are great, but they're not millionaires, but they're making millionaires. So like what does that do to the way you would view these people? Like, I wonder if YouTube thinks of us as like stupid cattle that are just benefiting from this, this crazy system that they're helping us set up.
I mean, when you're looking at it being Google, they're not appreciative of the fact that, these people are earning huge amounts of money for the company, or like they seem huge to them. Like, to me, it's still so unthinkable that somebody, let's just use an example, Phil DeFranco is creating like extremely adult content on the platform and doesn't have any sort of like direct pipeline to be able to just consistently get his videos monetized, or that doesn't seem like a priority to them at all.
I think part of it is that Susan comes from the AdWords background, so she's used to looking at these massive demographics and populations as data. And so instead of like taking the human approach and looking at it from the other direction, where you sympathize with the creator and it's like, what do creators need? What are we doing to make things harder? Like, they look at it like, how do we steer the data towards the result that we want? And they just let creators bump into the walls to find where those walls are. Right. And that's what drives us crazy, is we don't know where the walls are. Like, we don't know what words we can use. We don't know what topics are off limits. And they could tell us those things, but they would rather, because it avoids controversy, because it avoids like legal repercussions, they would rather have us basically run into the electric fence over and over and then teach each other where not to go than just tell us, don't do this, we don't want this, or we want more of this type of thing. We want more content where you're in a van talking about sustainable living. Like, they can't say that, but what they can do is just basically make that person into a 10 million subscriber star overnight, and then everybody copies that.
I saw a guy who's been getting millions of views just by running a laundromat, just because he keeps making videos with titles like
does a laundromat really make money? How much did my laundromat really make this week? And it's like 15 minutes of him literally just like sloshing around buckets of coins and counting it up. Oh, I made $50. What the fuck? It's like,
Is it really nicely produced?
no, it's
No?
just the most basic. If you were to go into a laundromat right now and make a video about how much money the laundromat made, if you just had the keys for some reason, this is exactly what it would look like. It's just the most basic shit ever. But they choose certain channels. And who was the fucking girl, the black girl who went mega viral over the past like 6 months or whatever, and her channel exploded?
Janelle Iliana.
Yeah, I mean there's got to be a level of curation, and if you're somebody who works at YouTube and you're in charge of like creator relationships, and you have this very like hip, cool, funny, woke person of color that wants to come in and make a splash on your platform, and you know that that's exactly what your platform fucking wants when you have Nazis like PewDiePie sort of dominating, of course you're going to extend the olive branch and be like, sure, we'll fucking flash the algorithm on you for a while and give you a couple million subscribers and you can figure out what to do with it. I mean, it's easy for them to do that.
I hate things like that because, I mean, that undermines one of the things that's so cool about YouTube is that it's this democratic process, of thumbs up, thumbs down. Can you build an audience? Do you entertain people? And algorithmically, like, at least math can be fair and unbiased. But if you start inserting, like, we've got a checklist of particularly types of demographics that we want to boost. Like maybe we want more African Americans using YouTube, or there are not enough women using YouTube. So we're going to now boost people that appeal to those audiences. Like that's just so, I hate that could be the reality.
That they're going to engineer a more equal society through the algorithm. Like it's like affirmative action type shit.
I like it better when YouTube is a completely unbiased referee, like they're.
But that's an illusion. The extent to which we ever felt like that was accurate has probably always been an illusion. Well, but to a certain extent, and it can just be so easily gamed because, like I was scrolling through somebody's Facebook page earlier, looking at what shit that they were posting was doing well, and there's just like one article that just sort of incited rage in the audience. Like it was just the kind of thing that would make an engaged audience member angry. And it has so many more likes and comments than anything else. But we take that for granted that that's just how the internet works. And I mean, there's definitely like the algorithm. It's so easy to fuck with the algorithm that it's kind of weird to assume that that's normal and that's natural. But I mean, shit, if it's, it's just a weird concept to think that like you could just kind of go to YouTube and ask them like, help my channel blow up.
What's wonderful about YouTube is that you're getting rid of those tastemakers that were built into the old ways of become famous. Mm-hmm. Like if you wanted to be, like you're hyper aware of the difference now in self-made music stars versus ones that went through a record label. Mm. The record label was sitting in between your very small core audience that you built in your hometown and then you going national or international. You needed to impress a tastemaker at a record industry. And I hate the idea that YouTube would become the record industry. Mm. I want them to sit not in between going international, I was in a meeting with somebody the other day who was talking about this artist who's like a rapper that to the public it would seem he has had a very organic come up and that it wasn't really like a label produced thing or anything. And this guy just told me, he's like, yeah, like I juiced his streaming stats big time before he really got pop on YouTube. Same thing, like we bought shitloads of views on that stuff and it helped him get onto streaming, like onto the charts and the playlists and stuff like that. And he's telling me this as if it would be absurd for anyone to have any sort of moral obligation to look down upon this thing, which to me, this is scummy shit. Yeah. But it's also a weird thing. It's almost like how fucking Lance Armstrong probably was when he was in that environment where he had to do steroids in order to compete. It's like me in that moment realizing like, oh, you just do this like it's no big deal and you're saying that everybody else does it too? Like shit, I guess if I'm in that position at some point, maybe I'm gonna have to do that. No one likes to think that a musician had an unfair leg up. Like if you think back on like in the 90s and 80s, there were a lot of acts where the rumor was, or maybe it was true, that they were like a record producer's daughter or son, like I think Rockwell, who had that song with Michael Jackson in it, Somebody's Watching Me, that was like, was that Quincy Jones' son? Something like that?
Did he, that was his only big song, right?
Yeah. And then Wilson Phillips, I think that group, the three of those girls were all like tied to the record industry. The same with Haim. I think Haim more recently, those are all like rich girls that had like connections in the industry. Allegedly, at least I think.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're sort of in a position where we can like more easily see behind the veil. But I mean, that was the big thing with Limp Bizkit is that they were paying. You said you were in a new metal band. I actually haven't listened to your band. I'm totally honest, but I mean,
you like it.
I will play it on stream after this.
Hell
We're
yeah.
doing donations for $100. Donate down below. Streamlabs.com/nojumper. No, but for real, like Limp Bizkit, they were paying radio stations to play the music to get a head start, which is literally exactly the same thing as what this dude was saying that he did with streaming services to get on a certain playlist and shit. And
Well, that was like everyone back in the day, I think.
yeah, I remember that it was a particular controversy for Limp Bizkit.
The term that you guys have for that now is industry plant, right?
Yes.
So it's like if somebody has fake organic growth, then they're an industry plant.
But what's weird though is that, and like I look at like my biggest success with an interview was XXXTentacion, rest in peace. But when I did the interview with him, it was like he was completely raw. He was a teenager. He was coming out of like the slums. No label had discovered him yet, and he was able to actually start building up this fan base. And he had maybe even got to like 20,000 followers, I think it was, on SoundCloud, and he hadn't had labels really approaching him trying to sign him yet. That doesn't exist anymore because now anyone like X who had like a clear seed of talent based on, and it was clearly working, that people were actually fucking with it. That kind of thing is, the labels are so all over every up and coming rapper. I will have a conversation with a label and they will start telling me about some artist that they found who has like 4,000 plays on his songs, but their research, which is like literally an algorithm that they're running songs through that tells them how authentic their stats are. And, it could be stuff just like the percentage of likes versus the plays, or, is the audience, maybe the song has 5,000 plays, but maybe a huge percentage of the people who are listening to that song listen to it 3 or 4 times a day, every day. And then the label is able to sort of look at those details and say, okay, this thing, like they're able to identify shit before even like a human being would be able to just hear it and say, oh, that's dope. So it's like that whole idea, like there's a lot of artists now that people talk about like they're industry plants. But the truth is that all these artists that you love, like X or Lil Peep or whatever, who were able to have real underground careers, nowadays would be scooped up so early on, and the product would start to be commodified if the labels or whatever were able to do what they wanted. And to the extent that there's a lot of artists that you probably like that don't feel like that, well, they're doing a better job hiding it.
Why did they sign? I think we talked about this a little bit in a group chat. Like, why would an up-and-coming person who's built their own buzz and could potentially own 100% of all their revenue on these platforms, why would they move that to 20%?
Well, when you have an artist who really is able to build up a shitload before they sign, then those end up being the artists who are able to, basically get better contracts, better terms, more money up front, etc. But then like a lot of artists, they end up signing early on, and they don't just sign to like labels. Like they sign deals with the labels basically going to like turn them into a bigger star than they could ever become on their own, is the idea.
That reminds me of MCNs, like what MCNs did to YouTubers early on, and YouTubers learned like, I don't need you, and you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, that's weird because it's like I think that the labels really are what the MCNs were pretending to be. Because,
they're more effective.
Because like they'll like a good deal, like they'll invest some amount of money into you, actually promote you in ways that it's like they're still out of reach as an independent artist. MCNs don't really like, they'll tell you we'll give you all kinds of like great collabs and shit like that, but you just wind up getting nothing.
But the labels can really help facilitate you going from nothing to something, or like if your content is actually hitting with the audience. But what I see happen constantly is I'll see an artist come out and they're going through this upward trajectory of their career where maybe they're getting to 30, 40, 50,000 followers, and they've got one song that's got a couple million on YouTube or whatever, and then they sign some crappy fucking $50,000 deal with the label because they really believe that the label is going to make them bigger. But then meanwhile, like this shit is so fickle that the heat starts cooling off on that artist, and all of a sudden it's like 6 months have gone by. And a lot of times, just to get the label deal done, the nature of the business, it might take a couple months to get the label deal done and shit. And then by that point, the hype is kind of gone already. And then that artist is just giving up a huge percentage of their ownership of their work. And the label is basically disinterested, because if the label is really helping you put out singles or put out videos and they're not catching on, the label doesn't give a fuck. They're not going to invest money into making your video go more viral unless that video clearly has a seed of virality in the first place, you know?
So it's like it always was. The labels are still over-signing more than they can actually promote and make famous.
Big time, because it's so cheap to sign an artist. If you can sign an artist for 20, 30, 40 grand, I mean, that artist, if they become Juice WRLD, is worth so many tens or hundreds of millions of dollars that the 50 grand from the 20 artists that don't do anything is nothing, you know?
But what do labels offer anymore? Because radio play, you would think the younger generation would realize, like, that's not really something I want anymore. It's not.
You know, that's not that big a part of it. It's the streaming stuff. It's getting, like, they literally have these massive networks of thousands of different, like, influencers and stuff. I was interviewing an Instagram model girl the other day, and she's like, straight up, like, yeah, I have a deal with Atlantic Records. Like, they'll pay me X amount of dollars, and they'll give me, like, 50 songs, and then I have to make different pieces of content, like, with those songs over the course of the month. And I'm like, wow, that's so funny that you're just sitting there admitting that, because I've been on the other side of that, and I know that they don't really want you talking about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was like that they set up plans like him for that amount, for that much.
There will be, like, if you're looking at Instagram and you find some funny, like, meme page that has a couple 100,000 followers, there's a very good chance that that meme page is part of a network that some guy owns that has hundreds of different meme pages, and then they will get a deal from Atlantic that says, okay, we need you to get 50 million views on this song, and then they'll add that song to different, like, viral clips and put it on all these different Instagram accounts, and then all of a sudden they.
It kind of sucks. I mean, I guess it was inevitable in some way, but it kind of sucks to see how, like, this internet culture kind of all these things that came from, like, this organic thing of just, like, kids on the internet fucking around became so commodified that you have record labels being like, oh, make us a meme.
Yeah, and that you, like, the internet that we came from was an internet in which it seemed like the wild, wild west, and, like, everything that was happening was just whatever. It was just madness. And then, like even the changes we've seen is that everything has become political and everything has become about business. Like, there used to be, like, the hacking community, and they just wanted to raise hell, and now it's like hacking happens for political reasons or for profit. Yeah. So we're all fucked. Dude, I gotta piss so bad. Yeah. It was dope talking to you guys. Think this is good?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
We were just on stream for almost 4 hours, so it feels pretty good.
You put in a good session with those guys.
We'll cut out this chunk, and this will be the Nerd City and Justin Wang podcast.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
That's me and you interviewing Wang, really.
Really? That's good, though. I think we learned a lot. I'm going to be on stream, guys. I'll be back on in like 10 minutes once I eat the salad. I'll be playing all you guys' donations and everything. I'm about to go explode my urethra all over the bathroom. Appreciate everybody watch this.
We're not turning off the stream, though, right?
Yeah, turn it off.
Turn it off.
Appreciate y'all. Peace. Oh, shit.